We are going live now. Three, two, one. We are live. Welcome back to another live stream, everybody. You're not going to be able to see my camera on your end unless you open YouTube because I can only keep it open through the streaming app or on Discord. But give us a little bit of introduction about yourself and how you feel about politics and your history. It goes as far as voting and supporting certain candidates.
Well, I've got a pretty interesting background. I grew up in a super conservative family. So, uh, actually, as far as my aunt moved to Israel because she's very Christian. I grew up in like a super Christian household. And I just found that I didn't really relate to any of that. And um, as I grew older, I kind of grew out of it and I just sort of looked for the evidence and I started seeing what was actually happening in the world, and I decided that I want to have empathy for people, and I want basic human needs met for people, and so I ended up taking a more progressive stance, and that's why I'm really on the progressive side, and I'm really on the Zoran Mamdani and all of the three candidates that he just endorsed that all won their primaries just now. I'm all really on their side. I'm you could say like DSA.
Why are you on their side? How do you think they're going to help America?
They are for basic human decency.
What's like
They're
what?
for basic.
What is their policies that
Uh,
you like?
some policies I would say abolishing ICE,
So no one should
universal
get
health
deported?
care. No, that's not what I said.
Well, then how are we
So
going to deport people
I
without
don't want
ICE?
you. I don't want you to take abolishing ICE and then put words into my mouth.
Okay,
I
so
said
what do
about.
you think about?
Do you understand? Do you understand that ICE didn't always exist, right?
Yeah, but do you understand that ICE
Do
catches?
you think that there were no deportations before ICE?
No, there was deportations, but they were not on a mass
Okay,
scale. There wasn't mass deportations on this scale or this level. But did you know ICE
right, but
captures more
did there need to be
pedophiles and
mass
more human
deportations?
traffickers than any other policing organization in this
Okay, so we're
country?
gonna go.
Would you like to look
Okay,
that up?
we're gonna go down. So we're gonna go down the route of deportations. Okay,
Well,
so
I'm just letting you know.
uh,
Why would you want to get rid of a? I'm just asking, so don't come at me hostile or anything. Why would you, if
no,
you knew a
you're fine.
policing organization gets rid of more PDF files, more criminals, more rapists, more women abusers, more people that sexually harass than any other policing organization, why would you want to abolish ICE instead of reforming ICE or changing them, even after you know all the good that they
Can I
do?
ask you
Because
a
I just
question?
told you, they catch more human traffickers than local police, than the federal
Right.
government, than any other
Yeah.
police or state police or any government police you can think
Can
of.
I ask you a question? Can I
Yeah,
ask you a
sure.
question? What so since Donald Trump militarized ICE to start these mass deportations, what percentage of people who were deported were convicted criminals? Do you know?
Well, I don't really care if they're convicted or not. They broke into
No,
this
no,
country illegal. They're
no. You were just
criminals.
talking
They're
about
criminals. Yes, they're all
no.
criminals. Every
You were
single one of
just
them is a
talking.
criminal.
You just
Every
said
single one of them
you
is a
just
criminal.
brother. You
I've
just
lived
said
in three different
you
countries
were just
outside the
talking
United
about
States,
rapist.
and
You
I've
were
done it
just talking
legally
about rapist.
every single time.
Wait, no, you were just talking about criminals.
Yeah, they're all
When you
criminals.
were
When you
talking
come
about
into a
mass
country
deportations,
illegally,
you were
that's a
saying,
crime.
"Oh
I've
my
never
gosh,
done
they're
that.
deporting all these
I've lived
criminals."
in three
But
different
what is the
countries legally. I
percentage?
filled out visas. I
You
got
don't
their
know the
residency
answer.
card.
You
Huh?
don't know the answer to that question.
I do know the
Just
answer.
say you don't know the
It's
answer
all
to
of
that
them.
question.
It's all of them. All of them are criminals. They
No, it's
wouldn't be
not,
deported if they weren't criminals.
brother.
All of them
Okay,
are criminals.
let me ask you this because I don't even think you know the answer to this question. Do you think
Are
that
you asking me
being
how much of
in
them are violent criminals or how much of them are
no, how
rapists?
many of them were ever convicted of any crime?
Well, that's why they have to get rounded up and they have to get deported. Before they get deported, they're going to go to court. So I don't know what the
Are you
point
going to
is.
answer the question?
No, they have
What
pending criminal
percentage?
charges on them. How many of them are pending criminals or are criminals? Every single one of them are either pending criminals, they're pending criminal investigation, they have to get arrested and
You are
get
lost,
deported.
bro. You are completely
You're
lost.
lost. Would you like to break down the numbers?
One,
Because each illegal alien immigrant cost us eight
this is
thousand six
publicly
hundred
available
seventy-seven dollars a
information.
year.
You're lost on an order of magnitude of like 95%. literally,
So
since the
you don't think
Mexico,
they're criminals when
I'll,
someone
I'll,
jumps over the
yeah,
border?
I'll give it
What kind of
three.
what kind of criminal charge does one get if they jump over the border?
None.
That is a federal misdemeanor. In some cases,
No,
it's a federal felony.
no, it is,
To jump the
brother.
border, it's a felony.
You decided to come on a call with me and tell me that coming into the country illegally is a misdemeanor when it's
Yes.
not. So you haven't
Google
even
search it.
done the
Here, I'll go ahead and Google search it on my phone and show it on
It
screen.
is a civil infraction.
No, it's not. A civil
It
infraction
is
is
a
over.
civil
A civil
infraction, brother.
infraction is when you overstay your visa. If you overstay your visa, that's a civil
That's
infraction.
the same thing as
If you
coming
jump
over
over
the.
the border, that's a misdemeanor. You have
Okay,
a
okay,
computer in
okay,
front of you.
okay.
You're streaming from your
It is.
computer. Just
Oh,
Google search it.
just
We can
Google
end
it,
this
dude.
debate with a
The
Google
internet is
search.
at your
We can end this
fingertips.
debate with a Google search. Just debate. Just look it up, please. If I'm wrong, I'll
Brother,
admit to it.
okay, well, dude, I'm not the one. I'm not the one
I've been
streaming the
debating
debate. So
immigration
no,
for
I'm
like
not the
years
one
and years
streaming
and
the
years and
debate.
years.
I
So I think I know basic immigration law.
brother,
Jumping over the
apparently
border
you
is a
don't.
misdemeanor the first time, and the second
You
time it's
do
a
not.
felony. The second time it's a
Oh my
felony.
god, this
Here,
is.
I'll
I
Google
guarantee you,
search it. I'll
I
send you a
will love
screenshot.
if you post this on
Is
YouTube.
jumping over the border a misdemeanor? Let's see. Quick Google search. Yes, under federal law, crossing the U.S. border without authorization, called jumping the border or entering between designated ports of entry, is a crime. A first time offense is categorized as a federal misdemeanor. And this is straight from American immigration law. I don't know if you're watching the stream, but I'm going to put it on camera. I'll send you the screenshot, though, in the Discord so you can see it.
Sure.
But even for the people that came here and their visas expired, yes, it's a civil citation. But
Okay,
don't
okay, okay.
doesn't everyone have to
Okay. So,
pay the cost or the fine or the repercussions of the civil infraction? Because if I get a speeding ticket, I have to pay it. But if they do a civil infraction, you're saying we should just let them stay in the country? So you're having double
no, no.
standards. You're allowing illegal
So
alien
no,
immigrants
I'm
to
not.
break the law, but when I
Okay,
break a law
wait,
and I have the same kind of crime, a
wait,
civil
witness.
infraction, I don't get to sneak out of it or say, "Oh, I'm poor, so you can't do it to me. I deserve to not have a speeding ticket for a civil infraction."
Uh, I'm not saying that that should be the case, man. I'm for holding everybody accountable to their actions.
Okay,
But
so
let
then
me
we should
ask you this.
deport them, right? Because they
What,
jumped over the border illegally. That's a criminal activity. I would never do that. I think that's disgusting. I've lived in multiple countries. Spain, I lived there for 2 years. I came there legally. I applied for the visa. I went through the entire
so do
process.
you think do you think Melania should be deported?
No, because she came here legally, just like I went to everywhere legally.
No, no, she did not come here
What
legally.
evidence do you have? Present it. Where's your source?
Okay.
I just gave you a source for the fact that jumping over the border is a misdemeanor. I mean, I sent it to you. Do you not see that? Are you still not, admitting to it? That's the federal law.
Okay.
It's a very common misconception though when I'm in these debates. Like at least 50% of the time, the other person is saying jumping over the border isn't a
Yeah.
misdemeanor, but it is a
Yeah.
misdemeanor.
Okay.
And you
That's
can just
fair.
say it's
I'll
a
give.
misdemeanor, but a
Okay. No,
misdemeanor you
that's
can get
fine.
a
That's
year in
fine. That's fine.
prison. You can get
I'll
a
give you that.
year.
Let's. Brother. I will give you that. Let's go to the bigger immigration debate then,
Okay, sure. You
because
want to talk
what?
about the numbers then?
No. Well, I want. This is what I want to talk about. Let's say you're somebody who's having a really rough time in Mexico, right? You're just a normal person that has a really rough time and you can't make your way in Mexico and you want to live the American dream. Put yourself in that person's shoes. What would you do?
I would, well, depends on what kind of person I am, what my interests are, what my work is, and what my education
Well,
is. But
you're somebody in
if
this
I'm
case,
just
you're somebody
assuming
that
I'm the
wants to
average
live the
person with
American
a high
dream.
school degree or without a high school degree, I would probably look for a farm in America. I would look online and see if there's any major farmers that need any help. And then I would go to the border between Mexico and America and I would get a NAFTA visa, which can be applied for the same
And
day,
how
and the
long does
same
that take?
day you can be applied and accepted into the United States of America
No,
through NAFTA.
how long does it take to be a
One day.
U.S. citizen?
A citizen, it should take years and years and years, but to get a visa and to live in the United States as a Mexican, you can come in here in one single day. One single day. It's called you know what NAFTA
Right,
is,
but
right? The
that's
North
not gonna
American
last.
Trade
That's not
Agreement,
gonna last long. That's
huh?
not gonna last long enough for you to be able to stay.
Yeah, it's just a temporary. It's a work visa. As long as you're working, you can stay.
Brother, there's no shot that that's the case.
It is. Look it
Because
up.
okay,
Look up the NAFTA visas. And there's other types of visas that you can get too that are more long term, and those only take about 30 days to apply for. So what is your excuse? You can come in as a worker. The longest it'll take you to come in as a worker legally is maybe a month or two if you're coming from Mexico.
if you're
So
coming from you're
I
okay,
can I can
okay.
list you visa after visa after visa if you want because I have a whole huge list of them and there's a bunch of different visas Mexicans can get to come into America legally. It's not as hard for them as it is someone from Europe or someone from the Middle East or someone from Africa. It's easier for Mexicans and Canadians and anyone from North America to come because Mexico is a
Let's
part of
talk about
North
this.
America, huh?
Okay, so you would say that there is a problem with undocumented people in this country, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you propose that we do about that? You would say like mass deportation, correct?
Yeah, if we do mass deportations, and then if we do that and let the people that want to stay here illegally, if we get rid of all the bad people, that's going to save up millions of spots. Like that could maybe get rid of 5 to 10 million people. And then once we get rid of at least half of the illegal alien immigrants, we can start speeding up the process for the people that are applying for the visas to come in. But we have to get a lot of these illegals gone because it's causing an overcongestion of the system because there's too many people applying
What do
for
you mean
asylum
over
and
the system?
because there's millions of asylum seekers, there's millions of people that are just trying to come in and apply for a visa that are here illegally, and there's just an overcongestion.
And what okay, yeah,
It
there's
takes
an
20
overcongestion.
years to get a. It can take between 10 and 20 years to get a citizenship, and part of that reason is because the
Because
waiting
there's a
time
ton of
because there's so many
bureaucracy.
illegal criminals and
And
asylum
you're
seekers that are
telling me
fake in this
so
country.
you're telling
It
me
takes a long, long time, huh?
it can take between 10 to 20 years to become a
Well,
naturalized
it's supposed to take
United
10
States
years,
citizen.
but yeah, but it can take over 10
Okay,
years.
so I think that you and I both agree that the bureaucracy involved in becoming a United States
No, a
citizen
citizenship shouldn't be handed out. People pay a lot of money to buy
I,
citizenships, collect nationalities.
right, but
Citizenship
it
shouldn't
shouldn't
be
take
handed
10
out.
years.
After
It
5
shouldn't
to
take
10 years, I
20
think that's
years.
fair. If you marry someone, they can get citizenship, I think, in 3 to 4
Not
years.
everybody wants,
In
not
three to
everybody,
four
dude.
years. So, yeah, it should take quite a bit
Why
of
should
time.
marriage have anything to do with
Well, I'm
how
just saying, if
fast
you
you're able
marry
to
someone
come to
that's on a
the United
visa, they
States
can
and be
come here
naturalized?
and live here. Well, naturalization should take 10 years. I agree. That's how other
That
countries
is,
do it. And Spain, if you want to become a
brother,
citizen
there
through
are plenty of
naturalization, it takes 10
illegal
years.
immigrants
Huh?
who are more well versed in United States politics than you are.
Okay, so then why don't they have enough value to bring where they can get a citizenship? If they have value,
You,
then they should have money,
Many of
right?
them do. It's the bureaucracy that stops
No,
them.
if they're
You just said
valuable,
that it takes 10 to
if they
20
have a
years to
quarter
be
million
naturalized.
dollars or $1 million, they can buy their way into citizenship just like you can in any other country on earth.
Let me ask you this. So we continue this deportation process. What effect do you think that that's going to have on the economy?
Well, what effect do you think when illegal alien immigrants move into a neighborhood, when 40,000
Just
people move
answer
into
the
a
question
small
I
city, what
asked.
effect do you think that has in the rental
Just
market?
answer the question
No,
that
I'm
I
asking you,
asked.
what effect do you think it has to a small town near the border when 50,000 new people come in there? What do you think it does to the grocery prices? Does it go up or does it
Uh,
go down?
I'm talking about on the federal level. What I'm talking about mass deportations in general because we're not. I didn't just talk about the border. I asked about mass deportations. We have situations going on where ICE is going into large cities. Magically, they all happen to be blue states. What a coincidence! But they
Yeah, because blue states have the better
we're
welfare system. They offer more.
okay, well, yeah, that puts aside the fact that blue states subsidize all the red
Well, we
states
can go over that
and,
too. I mean,
and
California is
pay
the
them.
highest debt
But
state in the entire country. They have
yeah,
1.3
okay,
trillion
well, it
dollars in
also
debt.
has the
They have the
largest
highest
economy in
poverty
the
per
country.
capita. They
It
don't
also has the
subsidize anyone.
largest
They're a net.
employment
They're not a
rate in
surplus state
general.
anymore. They haven't been a surplus state for 3 or 4 years.
We're talking about immigration. And I asked you a
Well,
specific
you're
question.
talking about
What
how blue states are, surplus states. What blue state? Not New York,
I'm
not
responding to
California,
you in
not
stay
Oregon,
on.
not
You got okay.
Minnesota.
You gotta be
Where?
able to stay on topic. You gotta
Well,
be
you're the
able to stay
one
on
that
topic.
talked about something else.
No, okay. Well, I would encourage you to watch the conversation back because I'm just replying to what you're saying.
I didn't
But
mention anything about surplus states. That was you.
I specifically asked you a question. What what do you think is the economic impact of mass deportation
It's beneficial because each of these illegal
on
alien
a federal
immigrants,
level?
on
I'm
a
not talking
federal
about
level, it
individual.
saves
I'm
us
talking
eight
about on a
thousand
federal
seven
level.
hundred seventy-seven dollars per illegal alien immigrant.
There's a cost to deport everybody,
Yep.
and you
And
understand
I've calculated the
that
cost. It actually
the
saves us a lot of
undocumented
money.
immigrants
It saves us a
taxes,
lot
right?
of money to deport them. I've wondered if it's going to be bad for us. No, it saves us a lot of money. And you know what?
How,
Even if it didn't save
how
us
do
a
you,
lot of money, it saves a lot of
what
lives.
metric? They're literally paying into the federal tax
Well,
system.
did you? I asked you multiple times if you wanted me to break down the numbers and give you the sources and give you the
Go ahead.
statistics.
Okay,
Oh, well,
go ahead
well,
and break
I'm not
down.
gonna. I'm
Go
not
ahead and
gonna.
break
I'm
down.
gonna give
Go ahead and
a
break down
neutral
how
perspective.
several million people paying into the federal tax system is a
Well,
negative
less than half of them
on
pay federal
it,
taxes.
and
Some
they
some sources say less than
they
20% of them pay
100%
federal
did.
taxes. But we'll talk about the taxes they pay first. Okay, federal and
Okay,
state taxes combined, the highest estimates say they pay about $98 billion dollars a year. Some lower estimates say they pay around 12 to
that's a
36
fucking
billion dollars.
massive amount
Yeah,
of
it is. I
money,
agree. It's a
brother.
massive amount of money, but
Okay,
the
so
only problem with that the
I asked
only
you about what the
problem with that
economic
is they
impact
cost
would
us
be,
$450
and
billion dollars a
you
year. That's
started
the
out
only
with the
problem.
98
The only
billion
problem with
dollars.
that is they cost us between 160 billion and 450 billion dollars a year. You want to know how? You want the breakdown? I'm going to send you the source here in a second. The breakdown is this. You got to think of it like this. Each illegal alien immigrant's child, every child in the public school system, those children weren't supposed to be born here because their parents entered illegally. So for them to be born here, their parents committed a crime that should have never occurred. And even if their children are legal, they should have never been here. But some of them are. We have about, I think, over a million illegal children in the school system. I have a source for that. But either way,
Okay, so I
each of these
asked you for
children
any cost.
cost $18,500 a year in the public school system per child. So for them to
And
be a
you think
net
that every
positive to the
single
taxpayer system,
you think
when they
that
have
every
on
single
average
undocumented person in
2.6
the
children,
country
can I finish?
has somebody going
Can I
through
finish?
school?
Huh?
You
Yeah.
think that every single undocumented person in this country has somebody going through school?
The majority of them do. The majority of undocumented children in this country are in schools in the school system.
The majority of undocumented people in the United States are in school. Is that what you just
No,
said?
the children. Obviously, you have to be a child.
Okay, no, but you're saying the majority of undocumented people in this country have children who are going to school.
Yeah. You can look at the birth rates. The average amount of children an illegal alien immigrant has in the U.S. is higher than American citizens. It's about
Did I do
2.6.
that one
It's
fact
about
checking? Is that
2.6 kids on average. So they're having more children and they're bringing more children in. So yes,
okay?
and those children cost $18,500 per child every single year. They don't pay $20,000 a year in taxes. So how are they a net positive? And that's not even including the food stamps they get because some of their children have social security numbers because they're born here, so they get food stamps for the family. That doesn't include the state health care that they get, and certain blue states they get full health care, dental, regular health care, everything they need. So that's not including any of that money. It's not including
Yeah,
the free housing states like New York are giving, or the free housing that Massachusetts is. Massachusetts spent $1.6 billion last year on housing undocumented immigrants. So this is costing us billions and billions and billions of dollars. But it's probably best you
but
just take a look over this article, and I'll go ahead and send it to you. But uh, you know, it will break down the numbers from you. And this is you can say that our DHS is corrupt because you don't like Trump, because this is the numbers that they're using. But these numbers are not from our government. These numbers are actually from a third party source. But it just happens that a lot of our government officials actually do use these numbers. But I'll go ahead and send it to you in a moment.
yeah, send it to me.
But yeah, these are the
It looks
DHS
like
numbers,
it
huh?
looks like it's about 15 to 17,000 dollars per child. There is no um, there is no statistic on how many undocumented children, or whether they're naturalized or not, are going through the school system.
Well, if you're a parent in the school and your kids don't go to school, isn't it illegal? That's truancy. That's a crime. So obviously they're gonna have to go to school.
Wait. Say that again.
There's truancy laws and whatnot, isn't there? So that's gonna cause a lot of them to go to school probably.
I'm talking about children
Yeah, there's
who,
truancy laws.
yeah,
If they don't go to school, like if there's a roll call and they don't show up, they can get like their parents can get sent to court. There can be all kinds of issues like that for their parents if they enrolled in
well,
the
yeah.
school
I mean,
system at one
I'm
point
not
at
saying they
least.
shouldn't be going to school. I'm saying there is no
No, they
statistic
shouldn't be
on
going to
how
school. They
many
should get
of those
deported.
children are going through our school system.
Well, yeah, there is a
You're saying
statistic. There's
those
a whole
children should be
budget for it.
deported?
I'll send it to you right now, but I sent
Wait,
you the first
did you
article.
just say that those children should be deported?
The whole family should be deported together.
The whole family should be deported together.
Well, I mean, it can be up to them. For right now, technically, those children can stay here, but the parents would have to leave. But they can be deported
Oh,
together if
okay.
they prefer
So,
that.
so okay.
They can.
Wait, which is it?
It's
Which is
either
it?
one. They can either
Should
stay
just
here
the
or they can get deported together. It's up to the
parents
parents.
be
Huh?
deported, or should they all be deported together?
Well, legally, what's going on in this country? Legally, they can either stay or they can get deported all together as a family. But I think that birthright citizenship, if you're trying to ask me about that, I think that the 14th Amendment was made for, the children of the slaves
Let me,
because they were
okay,
never
let me
granted
ask,
citizenship in this country. And back then, there was no illegal, mass migration.
yeah. Well, let's get into that then. So let me ask you this. Obviously, Trump is pushing toward ending birthright citizenship in general. What do you think about that?
I think that's fantastic. I've lived in several countries where they don't have birthright citizenship.
Okay. Um, okay. So, are you pro Constitution or anti
I'm
Constitution?
pro Constitution. Are you pro Constitution? What do you think about the
I'm,
Second
I'm,
Amendment?
I'm, well, no.
So,
I
no,
want to talk about,
you're not a
no,
constitutionalist?
I'm pro Second Amendment, but I want to ask you specifically about birthright citizenship
But you're not
because
a
birthright citizenship,
constitutionalist with the Second Amendment. You don't want open carry and no background checks and all that kind of
uh,
stuff.
brother, you're trying to sidetrack the
No, I'm
conversation
not
I'm
trying to
asking you
sidetrack.
about.
You're trying to paint me
I'm
as I'm
asking
an
you about,
unconstitutionalist person, and I know for a fact you are not a constitutionalist. You do not follow the Constitution if we get down to the nitty and gritty. You couldn't even get fast.
I'm
You
asking
couldn't
you
even
about
get
something
past the First
specific,
and
and you're
Second
trying
Amendment.
to dodge because you
No,
know
I'm not
damn
trying to
straight where I'm
dodge.
going.
You want to read the
No, you
14th
know damn
Amendment? What's
straight
the
where I'm
14th
going, and you
Amendment?
don't want to fucking talk about it.
What's the 14th Amendment? You don't want to talk about the Second Amendment because you're not a constitutionalist. No Democrat is. But sure, we'll
I am
talk
a
about
hundred
birthright
percent.
citizenship.
I am 100% for the right to bear arms. So let's talk
But
about
you're
what I
not.
want to
You
talk
would you
about,
would
which
make
is
me take a
birth.
background check.
I would make you take a. Let me ask you, dude. Okay, let's get into that. Let's get into that in a bit. But let me just ask the question that I want to ask.
Go ahead.
Okay, we were talking about birthright citizenship. Birthright citizenship is spelled out directly in the Constitution. So
No, it's not.
why
What's the
do
14th
why
Amendment?
what?
What's the 14th Amendment? Yeah, you can look it up.
I mean, no,
But
yeah. Well,
I'm
we're gonna
looking it
look
up
this
too.
up.
I want to read it verbatim for you. I see an overview, but I want to read it right from congress.gov.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay, 14th Amendment.
All
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 person
persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and the state wherein they reside. There is no exception in the Constitution for somebody whose parents
So you didn't even read it. You read the
were
first
not
sentence
born
and
in the United
you
States.
didn't read past section 1. This is a 5-section article.
Give me the part of the Constitution that creates an exception
Well, are you going
for
to read the
somebody who
Constitution
is
or just
born
read
in
the
the
first
United
sentence
States
of it?
who has parents that were not born in the United States.
Well, first off, you didn't read the full thing. I would like to go ahead and read the full
Give me
thing.
give me the
You have
part
to
of the
let me read
Constitution.
it. If you want me to tell you where it says
Okay,
that, then
good.
you have to let me read it.
Take your time.
This is literally a 5-section.
You got
The
all the
14th
time in the
Amendment
world,
has
brother.
5 sections to it. You didn't even get past the first sentence of the first section. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States where they reside in. No state shall make or enforce any law shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any person deprive any person of life, liberty, property without due process, nor deny any person with its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. That's section 1. Section 2 is a representative shall be appointed among the several states according to the representative numbers, counting the whole number of persons in each state. Okay, that's not too important. But the legislation and the words and the section 1 that says, where is it here? It says the jurisdiction thereof. They were never in the jurisdiction thereof. They weren't born in the
The
jurisdiction of
jurisdiction there, dude,
thereof.
that is not talking about. That's talking
That
about.
jurisdiction thereof means that you're under the government's jurisdiction when your children were born.
Yes, yeah,
They
yeah. If
weren't
you
because
are
they
in
were
the
here
United States,
illegally.
you are in
You
the
can't be you
jurisdiction
can't be
thereof
under a
of the
you
United
can't be
States.
you no a you're not under a country's law unless they know you're there. If they don't know you're there, how do they even know you're breaking the law?
If you're born in the United States, you get a birth certificate. They damn straight are gonna know that you're there.
Not everyone, and not unless you're born in a hospital.
What
Some
the fuck?
I mean, I don't know where
What are you
illegal alien
talking
immigrants are.
about,
Maybe
bro?
illegal alien immigrants are having natural births.
Most people that are born in the United States, even to illegal immigrants, are gonna have United States birth certificates.
But it also talks about in the 14th Amendment that I'm trying to find the part. It talks about how both parents have to be
I'm still
citizens.
waiting for the part of the Constitution that creates an exception for
It says
birthright
both
stuff.
parents have to be citizens.
Where?
It says the parents have to be under the jurisdiction thereof, and they're not.
No, it does not say that the parents have to
It
be
does. I'm
under the
trying to find the
jurisdiction
part of
there.
it because there's 5 different
No,
parts of
it
it.
does not.
It
Bro, this
does.
is good.
It
I hope you
does.
post this. I hope you fucking post this.
Why do you think they're going to the Supreme Court? Do you think there's just nothing to argue about?
Dude,
Huh?
Donald Trump
You
puts
realize this
every
has been in the
report.
Supreme Court
He
multiple
went
times before
460
throughout
times
history, right?
over the election results, bro, and he lost every
It's
single
one
time.
parent. One parent has to be a citizen for it to qualify.
Show me where.
I told you where. What is the word therefore of the jurisdiction thereof?
Where
What
does
does
it
that
say
mean?
parent? Where
What
does
does
it say
that mean?
parent? Where does it say parent?
Well, if you actually read the whole thing instead of saying the first sentence, we could have got into that. But I'm trying to
Where does
find
it say parent?
the exact part.
You're still trying to find it. Bro,
But it says
what are
therefore
you doing? Dude,
jurisdiction
you're
thereof.
dying on a hill that's
Huh?
fucking crazy.
Yeah, well, they brought this multiple times in the Supreme Court. But how about we talk about how you're against the First Amendment and the Second Amendment? Oh, here, someone dropped something. Let's see. What did this guy say? Uh, Caller, the parents by definition aren't citizens because they aren't born here or naturalized. I think it would be worse separating the child from the parents and having our government take care of them. That's what he's saying
We're
to you, I
having
guess.
okay, chatter. Yeah, that has nothing to do with the Constitution. We're talking about whether or not we're going to abide by the Constitution.
Are you going to abide by the Constitution?
Yeah, I will
Then why aren't
100%.
you
Yeah,
advocating to get
unlike
rid of
you,
background
because
checks?
because
Why aren't
I
you
won't
advocating for Second
be
Amendments? Why do you want to take
anti-constitutional
away my
because
Second
bro,
Amendment right?
what?
What about the First Amendment? What about
What about
Democrats
the First
constantly
Amendment? I mean,
silencing people on social media? What
Donald Trump
about
is
Mark
silencing.
Zuckerberg coming out saying
Why
that
is Stephen
the Joe
Colbert?
Biden administration has him working for him to silence people?
Brother,
So
you
are you
think that
for or
Donald
against
Trump?
background
Do you
checks?
let
Are
me
you
ask you this?
for or
Do you
against
think
background checks?
background checks for
The purchase of
firearms?
firearm.
For the purchase of firearms?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I am for the.
Okay, then you're not
I'm
a
for background checks.
constitutionalist. You want to break the
No, okay,
Constitution.
well, so we
Shall
just
not infringe. It's
interpreted
clear as day. Shall not infringe.
I'm
You
just
want me to follow the Constitution, but you won't follow it. So what part of that do you not understand? And we can even
brother.
dig deep in the First Amendment. What do you think about that? Do you think there's any
The Second
times where
Amendment
people's
isn't even. It's not even my. It's so fucking gone over.
Do you know
Everybody
what the
knows
Bill
my
of
stance
Rights
on the
is?
Second
Do you know
Amendment
what the
now.
Bill of Rights is?
Brother, everybody fucking knows what the Bill of Rights is. Okay, you don't have to like.
Okay, so it's
you
the first 10 it's the first 10 constitutional amendments, and these are supposed to be your rights, right? These are never supposed to be changed under any
right,
circumstance, no
right.
matter what. But the rest of the Constitution can be interpreted, it can be changed, like we did for slavery, like we did with the 19th Amendment.
Right, like we did with the 19th Amendment.
So then we agree it can even be changed. Really, the only thing that's not supposed to be changed is your Bill of Rights, the very thing that you're trying to change.
The
So
Bill
when
of Rights
people
is
go around
you
and say, "Oh, you're
understand, brother. You
unconstitutional,"
understand that
at some point,
the
freeing
Bill
the
of Rights has
slaves was
already been changed.
unconstitutional. At some point,
There's
freeing the
already
slaves was
been
unconstitutional.
amendments to
So
it.
even if you were right saying that that birthright citizenship is in the Constitution, so was slavery at some point. It doesn't mean that you're automatically right. Birthright citizenship is not helping our
Right,
country at all. It's
right.
crazy.
Just like you could change that, you could change the Second Amendment. But
No, you can't though, because the Bill of Rights, the whole purpose of
I'm
the Bill
asking
of
you about the
Rights,
Constitution as it stands.
huh?
I'm asking you about the Constitution as it stands.
I'm asking you about it too. It can be changed. I'm asking you about the Bill of Rights because the Bill of Rights are the only constitutional amendments that aren't supposed to be changed.
Okay, so you just disagree. Okay, so your position is
No, I
that
don't
you just
disagree.
don't think
I interpret it differently.
you no, you
I
just
interpret it
disagree with
differently.
the way that the Constitution is
No,
currently
I
written.
don't disagree with it. I disagree with how this one specific amendment is being interpreted. There's a reason there's been at least two or three court cases specifically about the 14th Amendment and birthright citizenship in the past, but it's never been really clarified that much. That's why it has to
No, it
go
has. It's
to the
not that it
Supreme
hasn't been
Court.
clarified. It's that you've been ruled against because the
We've never
Constitution is
been ruled
clear.
against yet. It's still in court. Or maybe it has been
The
ruled against. I don't
Constitution
know.
is clear on this. I literally gave you every opportunity to show me the exception to birthright citizenship, and you weren't able to do it.
Huh?
I gave
I
you
told
every
you and I read it
opportunity
to you.
to.
I told it to you and you read it to you and you just told
It
me you
doesn't
disagreed.
say anything about parents.
Huh? And why are
It
you,
doesn't say anything about parents.
it does. But let me ask you this. Who is the person that who wrote the Constitution? I bet you can't even tell me one of the writers of the Constitution. Go ahead. 20 seconds.
Fucking, I don't know, like George Washington, John Adams, like fucking any of those guys.
Okay, you got two.
Like, yeah. So, brother, like, dude, the trivia is fucking lame,
The
brother.
trivia is
Like, I could
lame. If
ask
you
you,
care about the Constitution, you should be
what the
educating
three
yourself.
branches of
Who's the
government
one
are, and
that wrote the foundation framework
that
of the
shit is fucking
Constitution?
lame,
Who wrote the foundation framework of the Constitution? Who's the one that basically, wrote the whole framework for what our, country was built
This
on?
dumb, dude, this fucking
James
dumbass, brother.
Madison. It's
Like,
not dumb. If you care about our
oh,
country and you're so patriotic,
fantastic,
then
dude.
why don't you
Fantastic, dude.
you
You
can't
should
even
play
show
Jeopardy.
support for the people that wrote our Constitution. Why you don't even care
I
about it?
have an immense respect for the people that founded this country because I have a lot of faith in this country. And the reason that I have a lot of faith in this country is mostly because of the movement that we've had toward actually taking care of people, right? You see the things that have been
Why can't we
happening in the
teach people to
country
take care of themselves?
as far as like look at the movement that we've seen in New York, 100,000 potholes filled, K through 12 paid for, fucking
So you're fixing your roads and paying your education just like every other state in the country does, and you think that's a good job?
a
I mean,
hundred thousand potholes. How many
we
other
don't
states
have we
are
don't
doing a
have a
hundred
hundred
thousand?
thousand potholes in Florida, so we don't
How
have
many
that
people in
problem
the
because we
chat?
take care of our roads to begin
How many
with.
people in the chat know roads that they can go down where there's potholes?
And there's people in my chat right
Dude,
now that are
you
still in
think
New
that
York that
the
still complain about
infrastructure
the
in
New
the
York
United
roads to
States is
this
good?
day. Huh?
You think that the infrastructure in the United States is good where it is now, or
I've
what?
been to 20 countries. I would say it's one of the best in the world.
Okay, well, I think that your bar is set a little bit low.
How? Well, compared to what country?
Compared to what country? There is no country to compare it to. We're the wealthiest nation on the
Okay,
planet.
so we have the best infrastructure, but you said our bar is too
No, we
low?
fucking don't. Dude,
So name a
further
country with
important.
better infrastructure then. That's what I just asked you.
Wait, Japan?
Based on what? Internet? Internet speeds maybe. Other than that, no. Our highway system is better.
Brother, in Japan, the streets are cleaner, the
Depends on what
restaurants are
city.
nicer. Like,
And
Tokyo?
cleanness, city cleanness is not infrastructure. Picking up
What, dude,
trash is not infrastructure.
dude,
We're talking about
look at the difference between
they have good
Tokyo
high-speed
and
railways though, but they have better.
Tokyo and Austin, Texas.
Okay, Austin, Texas
Look at
has a
the
giant highway
difference in
system.
infrastructure.
Tokyo doesn't. Austin,
What?
Texas has the better highway system, but Tokyo has the better subway system. They have good infrastructure. I'm not gonna lie on that, but they don't have a better infrastructure than us. But they have a pretty good one. But we're
Okay.
definitely up there. You struggle to find someone. But here's someone from New York that dropped. Oh, here's a couple things here. Time on my side dropped a super chat. He said the 14th Amendment is so disingenuous. We all know that it was intended solely to allow slaves to be citizens. You find loopholes and think that's okay.
The 14th Amendment was intended to make slaves out of citizens.
There wasn't illegal alien immigrants back then, but there were slaves that didn't have citizenship, and then they passed this so they could all get citizenship. Yes, this was passed when they were giving citizenship to slavery because they either needed to send them back to Africa or give them citizenship because but they decided on giving them citizenship. So yeah,
Okay. I,
that's the
I'm
history of
not,
it.
yeah, I'm
Here's
not
another
even.
one. Oh wait, hold on.
It's fucking crazy.
Birthright citizenship has nothing to do with parents. Break down the word itself, caller. Don't get me started on New York. That's what he said. He's in New York City, by the
I
way.
agree with the
He's a
chatter.
union
Yeah,
worker,
birthright citizenship does have nothing to do with parents. I 100% agree with him.
well, I disagree,
Okay, well, your
obviously.
chat apparently disagrees with you.
Well, he's not a Trump fan. I mean, yeah, sure. There's people out there that disagree that have their own opinions. Time on my side says guarantees citizenship to all persons. It uses the words persons, and illegal alien immigrants are not persons. They're defined under our federal law as illegal aliens. That's not a racial term or a discriminatory term. That's a legal framework under federal law of their classification of an
I don't
undocumented
care what
immigrant.
you. I don't care. I couldn't care whether you call them undocumented immigrants or illegal
Okay.
aliens. I genuinely don't give two shits because the outcomes are the same. The only thing that I care about is human suffering. That's the only fucking thing that I care
Well,
about.
the
I care
easiest,
about
the
making
thing that
sure
saved, the thing that's
that
caused.
humans
Go
have the
ahead.
best outcomes possible.
Go ahead. Well, the thing that's caused the most human suffering probably in the last 100 or 200 years is socialism and communism with the over 100 million
What do
people
you think
that it killed.
socialism is?
What do you think
What do you think
socialism is? Because
I am I want to make sure that you under
well, there's many different types of socialism,
because
but there's no private
I'm the one
businesses.
that's DSA. So
Well,
I already know
Sweden,
what my
Finland, and
definition of
Norway are
socialism
not
is.
socialist. Do you recognize that?
Uh, I think that they have some democratic socialist policies.
They are a democratic social country. That's what they're
Yeah,
classified as.
yeah, and I think that that
They're not
is
socialist though.
so. Yeah, so in the same way that they are, neither is Mamdani.
Well, I mean, I agree with you. Mandami's not socialist because he hasn't implemented any socialist policies yet, but he claims that he's a
Okay.
socialist.
He
He,
claims he's a democratic socialist in the
yeah, that's a
vein of
socialist.
Sweden.
Huh?
Sweden, the Nordic countries, most of Europe.
They
In
don't,
fact,
no.
in fact,
Sweden
almost
does not
every
even
first
consider
world
themselves
country
a
other than the
socialist
United
country.
States.
Google it. Google it yourself right
What?
now. Sweden, Finland, Denmark, they don't consider themselves socialist. And none of
Yeah,
Europe considers
because they
themselves
aren't.
socialist
Yeah,
either.
because they aren't.
Okay, so then they're not socialist then. But you really think do you like socialism or are you against it? I'm just kind of confused.
I'm against the kind of socialism that the right portrays.
So you're against true socialism then.
I'm
You're wanting
against
kind of a
I'm
fantasy.
against historic boogeyman socialism.
I think what you're really liking is a democratic social system. I don't think you really like
Yes,
socialism, to be honest with you.
I am for uh, universal health care. I'm for making sure that everybody can get through college.
Okay,
I'm
but none of that's
for making
socialist.
I'm for
Are you for
making
taking
sure
away
that
the means of
housing
productions?
is affordable.
Yeah,
What?
of course. But none of that is socialist. Are you pro
No, it's not
business? Are you
socialist.
okay for businesses to have their ownership? Like, can a CEO own a business, or do you want to get rid of that? You want to take the means of production
No, a
away?
CEO absolutely can own a business. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't want to you don't want to seize the means of
No, I'm
productions.
pro capitalism.
Okay, so then you're not really a socialist. I mean,
No, I
social.
am a socialist. That's okay. So perfect,
I'm talking about
perfect.
market,
I'm
huh?
so glad you said that because
Why?
now I understand. You
What
misunderstand.
socialism?
You mis.
Define socialism. I can define it really close. Seizing the means
Do
of
you
production,
do you want
collective.
me to
I'll
do you
give you
want me
the
to
I'll give you
do,
the Wikipedia definition real quick. I'll
no.
give you it. You asked
Because we're
me.
not because no both you and I are not boogeyman socialists,
No,
right?
we're
We
not. But
can both
socialism
agree
has a
that the
definition, right?
historical term of socialism, right, where workers control the means of production, that is
But
not what we're
words
talking
have
about.
definitions, don't they? I mean,
Yes, and democratic socialist has a definition.
and what is it? It's socialism with a democracy, allowing to vote in whatever
No.
socialist you
It has
want.
nothing to. Okay, demo, when we say socialism, what we mean in terms of democratic socialism is implementing social policies that help society, right? So even something as basic as taxpayer dollars going toward funding police
That's
departments.
not socialism.
That is a okay, but it is under democratic socialism.
It's not though. But here, let me finish. I have two more chats I forgot to read, and then I'll jump
Okay.
back into that.
Okay, he just said it's not and then just went on. But
No,
okay, go ahead.
I'll tell you why it's not in a second. I forgot to read the rest of this.
I'm the
I got
one that has this
ADHD and I
view, and you're
forgot to
trying to tell me
finish
what
what I
my
was
view
reading.
is.
Huh?
Okay. You're the one trying to tell me what my view is.
Well, I'm
But
not
okay.
telling you your view. I'm telling you what socialism is. But let me jump back into it in a quick second. There's a couple chatters that dropped. Guarantees citizenship to all persons born in the USA, subject to a jurisdiction. Therefore, everyone misses the portion. This shows you need to be born to receive citizenship. Okay, that was the rest of them. Here's the next one. In New York, we shouldn't be putting illegal alien immigrants in Hilton hotels and giving them the ability to benefit from the taxpayer system. I pay into it and they don't. That's what he said.
Well, your chatter is wrong, according to both you and I, because we both know that they do pay into it.
Most illegal alien immigrants don't pay taxes.
They 100% do.
No, they don't. Why would they?
Okay.
I can send you multiple. I mean, they pay. I'll give it to you. They pay if you mean if you're including all taxes, yeah. But most
Yeah,
of them don't pay federal
they're
income
paying
tax.
tens of
Yeah,
billions of
most of
dollars
them
into
don't
the
pay.
federal
Yeah,
taxes
that's less
system.
than 50% of them. That's like 20% of the illegal alien immigrant population,
It is a
and they
massive
cost
amount of
way
money.
more than they spend. And those illegal
And then
alien
we
immigrants
take that
staying in those
massive amount
hotels
of
don't
money
pay
and
taxes
we
either.
waste it on fucking munitions going to places like Israel and
Well, here we
fucking
go,
Yemen.
pivoting again. Are we gonna stay on a topic? Because
No,
you're kind of giving
I'm making a point.
you're well. We can jump back into Israel, but let's jump back into socialism for a second.
Yeah,
Um,
no,
what do you
that's
think
what I'd like to say.
socialism is? Define socialism.
Socialism is a so you're talking about like the Wikipedia definition of socialism.
No,
Socialism
words have
is
definitions, do they not? I'm not
yeah,
talking
yeah.
Webster dictionary, any actual dictionary.
Yeah. So socialism is a state is a system where the workers control the means of production.
Well, also the government can control the means of production. So you think that's beneficial? You think people with those types of ideologies, and you think foreign-born people, people that are born in Palestine, and people born in Iraq, and people born in all these countries where America has intervened, and you know, fought their terrorists in their countries. Do you think it's good for those people to be coming over to American cities and running for mayor and running for all these different political positions? You're fine with foreigners coming into our country and gaining political influence, even
I'm not sure what that has to do with socialism, but yes, I
because two of
do.
those three socialists that were
Based
elected
on.
were foreign
Yeah, look,
born.
you just asked me a question. I just want to answer the question.
Go ahead.
So yeah, I do think that it's a good idea based on the outcomes that we've seen in places like New York, where
What
I mean, you see
outcomes? Where's
all
the city
that
ran grocery store? Where's the free subways? Where's the free
there is.
buses?
Okay,
Where's
well,
any
there
of his
are.
promises? He lied to you. There's nothing.
Brother, wait, just relax. Okay, so as far as the city-run grocery stores, there's already two that are on the books ready to go,
But they're not
and that's
open.
and
On the books, they're not open.
he's dude. You couldn't
They're
even
not gonna
build a
open.
grocery
Even if
store
they
that
do
fast.
open,
What
they're
the
gonna
fuck
go out
are
of
you talking
business.
about? You understand that shit
Do you
takes
want to
time.
know how I
But
know they're gonna go out of
we're talking about
business?
dude. It's already in the budget.
No, it's
There's
not.
two city-run grocery stores that are already in the budget.
No, it's not.
I
They
don't
don't
know if
have
you
the
just
budget for
missed.
that. They're in debt.
They 100% do. Also, they balanced the budget
Yeah,
for
because
the
they took
first
money
time
from
in New
another
York in
city.
a
They
very,
took money
very
from
long
the
time.
other cities, from the government, from the state government, to go to their city
Did
because
they
they weren't
balance
making
the
enough
budget
money
or
to
did
cover
they
their
not
budget.
balance?
Huh?
Did they balance the budget or did they not balance the
They
budget?
stole money from another city and covered their expenses.
They just took it
Yeah.
from another.
Yeah, that's where do you think the money came from? Where do you think the money comes from? They just magically just got handed $1 billion?
Yeah, so that tells me,
Do you know
dude,
where the
if
money
that was
came from? Do you know
that
how they wiped down their debt?
If that was
You don't
Trump
know how they
running
paid down
if
their
that was
debt.
Trump running New York City and he got a bunch of money from somewhere else, you'd be like, "Oh wow,
No,
what a
that's a
fantastic
horrible
feeling.
fucking
This
idea.
guy
You
just
don't
made
cover
such a
your debt
fucking great
by
deal. It doesn't
borrowing and
matter where he
stealing
got the
and
money
getting
from.
money loaned. No, that's not how you pay
Balance the
down
budget.
debt.
Who cares? The only thing that matters is the results.
No, it's not the only thing that matters. The consequences matter too. The consequences
Okay,
are
well,
other cities in New
so
York are going to have less budget and less money now. So it affects the entire state.
you think that that's the only way that they
They haven't
balance the budget?
generated any money, so how
There's
are they going to pay down their debt? What income did they
they
create?
made a bunch of other cuts.
What income did
Do
they
you know
create?
what are some of the other ways? What are some of the other ways that he helped balance the budget? Do you know?
By stealing other people's money and paying for your
No, okay,
incompetency?
so
By
you don't know.
stealing other
So
people's
you
money
just
and paying for
don't
your
know.
bills because of your
What,
incompetency?
so you just don't know.
That's the only way. You either generate money or you steal money.
That's the only way. So
Yeah.
you just don't know any of his other policies. What are some of the other policies that he implemented that helped balance the budget?
His taxes that are stealing people's money?
What taxes?
The millionaire tax or whatever, the billionaire tax or whatever it is.
It's a pied-à-terre tax.
But he got none of that money because all those millionaires or billionaires are now leaving.
Okay,
So
no, that
so what
100% helps
when
balance
has
the
he
budget.
brought any money? No, it doesn't because literally thousands of millionaires, at least a couple hundred
Do you
millionaires
even
have left New
know
York
what
City to
that?
move to
Do you
Florida.
even know what that tax is?
Huh?
Do you even know what that tax is?
It's a tax to live in New York or whatever. It's kind of irrelevant. All
No, it's
tax is
not.
just theft. Kind of just theft. I'm not
No,
gonna
it's
pay you
not.
tax for nothing. Huh?
Brother, so you're telling me that he didn't get any of that tax money, but you don't even know what
Of
the
course he
tax
didn't get
is.
any of the tax money. He just got
Well,
in
you know what the
office.
tax is, but you're telling me
Yeah,
that
because the tax didn't
apparently
even
you didn't get
pass
any of
for the
that.
next tax year.
What?
If there's a new tax in 2026, you don't pay it until 2027. Do you know how taxes work?
Do you understand how budget projections work?
Budget projections are made up fucking numbers. That's how they work. All those millionaires and all those billionaires are going to
So
leave New York and they're not paying a dollar.
he just didn't balance
And
the
why are
budget
you
because
super hyper obsessed with New York? You don't live in New York.
there was a because I
How
am
are
a
they helping
democratic
people? Have they
socialist,
changed
and you
anyone's
were asking
lives?
me
Have they
about
pulled
democratic
anyone out of
socialism,
poverty?
and now I'm talking
Has
about the
Zohan
biggest
Mandami
democratic.
pulled anyone out of poverty?
Huh?
Has Zohan Mandami, has socialism, have any of these welfare programs ever pulled anyone out of poverty? Do they help poverty or do they increase poverty or do they decrease poverty?
I would say that he has helped people in their financial situations. Yeah.
Well, it's helped them in their financial situations, but not in the long term.
What do you mean?
You're not
Helping
encouraging people to
people.
work. First off, if you're receiving welfare, you can only work so many hours a week.
What do you mean? What is the difference between helping someone's financial situation and helping them out of poverty?
Because giving them money isn't gonna get them out of poverty. If I give you
Look,
$50,000 tomorrow, if I
if
give
you
a
give me
poor person
50,000,
$50,000
okay,
tomorrow, nothing is gonna change. They're gonna be poor again very, very soon. It's not gonna help their
right,
financial
but there
situation.
are who just need a helping hand, and you give
No,
them that
people
one
don't just
helping
need a
hand,
helping hand.
and they
Giving someone money is not gonna help them.
do you think that in the richest country in the world, there should be anybody who is out on the street?
Probably not. But giving them money isn't
Okay,
gonna
then
help
why
them.
is that? Why
Giving them
is
money
that?
isn't gonna help them.
No, I'm asking you, like, should we meet the basic needs of everybody in the richest country in the
Should we
world?
give everyone free housing? No. Absolutely not.
I'm
That's
not
a
saying free,
horrible idea.
I'm not saying free
Well,
housing.
you
I'm saying
said
housing
basic
assistance.
necessities.
I'm
Okay, basic
saying,
necessity. What is that? Food, water,
like,
shelter.
Zoran rent freeze in New York. Do you think that was a good thing?
He rent froze at one of the highest rents in New York history, so no, that was a horrible idea.
Do you think that the rents were going to go up or down from there? Do you really
Well,
think
he's
that the
telling
rents
us
were going
that they're going to go down and he's going to make housing more affordable. So if that's true, why would you freeze them at the highest prices in the last
to? You said, okay,
500 years?
uh,
Forever.
freeze
250 years,
in
huh?
stone. A freeze is not written in stone, brother.
Well, it has an expiration date on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
So
does.
probably it's going to be
So
frozen until
if he
2030 or
is
something like
successful
that.
in bringing rent prices down, then
It's
that's
it's
going to
going to go
help.
until
But it is going
2030
to
though.
stop rent
Huh?
prices from going up.
What'd you say?
It is going to stop rent prices from going up in the short term.
Yeah, but it doesn't bring rent prices
So
down. Rent
I've
prices
given
were
you
already
childcare.
going down because the mass
I've given you
exodus. The
childcare. I've
max
given
the
you
mass
housing
exodus. What happens
affordability.
when 5
I've
million
given
people leave
you
New York in
the
5
budget,
years?
and you're telling me that all of these things that this democratic socialist has done that has been great for the economic
What has been
situation
great?
for people in New York is just nothing.
What has been great?
I just gave you 3 examples.
What examples?
Okay, let me list them out for you again because apparently you just want to hear yourself talk. Childcare from the age of 2.
No one has received
Uh,
that. No one got that. Just like the free
Brother,
buses and the
incredible.
free subways, nobody
You are
got that.
literally, you are
You
trying
can't be
so fucking hard.
celebrating these wins when they don't even happen, when they haven't even happened, when he hasn't done anything. You can't just walk up in
Okay,
here and say, look at all these major wins that he does. These are just promises. These are empty
what do you mean it didn't
promises.
happen? It quite literally was signed into law.
But it's not happening right now, is it?
Show me that it's not happening.
Show me it is
It was
happening.
signed
You're the
in,
one making a
it was
claim,
signed
back
into
it.
law.
If you make a
When
claim and
you
someone questions it, you have to provide sources and evidence.
I have to provide sources beyond the fact that the bill was signed into law.
And either
What do you
way,
want me
why
to
should
do?
I be
Like,
paying for?
call
That's horrible.
somebody in
Either
New
way,
York and
why would
be
I
like,
want to pay for your kids?
like,
Why would I want to pay
guy
for your
doesn't
kids?
believe that
I wouldn't
doesn't
ask you to
believe that
pay for
you're
my
actually
kids.
getting
Why would
childcare.
I
Like,
want you to? Why would I
can you
want
put
to
your
pay for
finger
your
on the
kids?
line so that I can
Why would I
fucking
want to pay
talk
for
to
your
them?
kids?
So now it's that you don't want to pay for somebody else's kids.
No,
It's
I don't
not the
want to
fact
pay
that
for
you
someone
didn't.
else's kids, housing, food, water, shelter, none of that. That's not my responsibility. My responsibility is taking care of my friends and my family and my community. And
You
this
have
isn't
to
my
pay.
community, this isn't my friends,
Should
and
you
this
have to
isn't my
pay when I call
family.
911 when somebody breaks into my house?
Huh?
Should you have to pay for when I call the police when somebody breaks
I'm
into my
not going to
house?
call the police, so you don't got to worry about that.
No, I'm asking you if you should have to pay when somebody
That's a public
breaks into my
service.
house
That's
and I call
that's a
911.
public
Yes,
service.
and that's what I'm saying is that it's a public service, and so
It's
should
not a public
childcare be,
service to
and
give you
so
all
should
my money so
healthcare
you
be.
can live for free.
Why is this the only country in the world where medical bankruptcy is a terminology?
Why is this the only country in the world where becoming a millionaire is so damn easy?
Because we're the
Why is
richest
this the
country in the
only
world.
country in the world where
Because
you
we're
can
the
work
richest
any
country in the
job
world.
in the freaking
Fantastic
world
thing.
and make
I already
$50,000,
told you I'm
$60,000 a
pro-capitalism.
year?
I already told you I'm pro-capitalism, man. I don't have a
Okay, so
problem with
then what
people
are you
making money.
complaining for? like
Well,
a very high percentage of the country has, is doing pretty decently compared to other countries.
wait, say that again.
A very high percentage of people in this country are doing very, very, very well compared to the rest of the world.
So let's explore that a little bit because that's not true.
It is true.
So,
If
so
our
it's
country's not
not as
doing well, then
no.
why
So
does
let
60%
me
of
ask
the
you this. Let
country
me
own
ask you this.
stocks?
Was the economic situation for the middle class better in the 1970s or is it better in 2026?
I wasn't alive in the 1970s, so I don't know.
Okay, so you didn't bother to do the
But you can
research on
make it's
this.
easier to make money now. Social mobility is easier than ever. There's a million more jobs
You
there's more
really think
jobs
that the
today
economic
than there ever
situation
was.
for the
Huh?
middle class,
Yes.
you think that the situation for the middle class is better in
Yes, more and more
2026
people are
than
pulling
1970?
themselves out of poverty than ever
You
before.
are out of your
Yes,
freaking minds.
more and more people are pulling themselves out of poverty than ever before. We
Do
have
you
more
want a home?
millionaires right
Do you,
now than
do
we've
you,
ever had in history.
do you want a home?
Why is that relevant? Do you own a home? Do you own
Because I'm
stocks? Do
talking
you own
about
cars?
because I'm talking about the overall economic situation for people.
My economic situation's
In
fine. My bills are paid.
Hey, your bills are paid, so I'm assuming you're renting, and the reason you're renting is because you don't live in 1970 anymore.
I could
We're
buy pretty
fucked.
much any house in my local area that I wanted today.
Okay,
I'm not saying
that's
I own or I
fantastic.
rent,
That
but
is you are in the
huh?
very like
I'm
small
moving into a new
minority.
house. Actually, this coming next month.
I'm really happy for you. You are in
Yeah.
a very
So,
small minority.
hmm?
Almost everybody in your
It's
chat will
not the
agree
small
with me that
minority.
almost
Everyone working hard is doing well right now.
almost nobody can afford to buy a house, but
That's because they're not working hard. That's because my generation
everybody's
and the
boomer
millennials are
grandfather
lazier than
able to
ever.
go to home.
I'll go ahead and agree with you. It was probably easier for home ownership in the 1950s, but also your grandpappy in the 1950s was working a lot harder than this generation is. That's for sure.
House up.
Because I know they are. I see people just sitting around,
You know they
smoking
are.
weed, goofing off.
Because trust me, bro.
No, because I see it every single day. I mean, we can look it up.
You see
We can look at.
working
We
in the
can. Huh?
1950s every single day.
What?
You see people working in the 1950s every single
No,
day.
I just know people worked harder back then.
Oh,
I see them.
okay, so
I
you see
see the
let's say
people that
how
are
hard they were
50 and
working.
60 years old, and I see how
Grandpappy
they're
told me he
working.
was
I
working
see how they're
20
working
years.
at
They were
50 or 60 years old. They're working harder than 20-year-olds. You're telling me you don't think there's a laziness problem out there? You don't think there's an entitlement problem? That's one of the reasons people like you
So
want
you're
Zohan
telling me
Mandami because you think you're
that the
entitled because you live in the United States of America because everyone has
so
money because our country has money. You
if
think you're
only people
entitled to free
today if
shit.
only
You think
people
you're
today
entitled
were
to a free
working
house. You think you're
the
entitled to
economic
free
situation
groceries, but you're not. No,
has
no
nothing
one
to do
owes
with
you
the fact
anything.
that a
If
lot
you
of
want anything in this life, you have to go
entrepreneurs
and get it. Never,
who
ever
can't
expect the
afford
government to
to
give you
pay their
something and fix
bills,
your
much
situation.
less buy a freaking home,
Huh?
man. Like
What?
dude, you are so lost. You are so
How am I
lost.
lost? I'm
You're
preaching the
lost because
truth.
you're pretending that the fact that most of your own chat can't buy a home is because they aren't working hard enough.
It's true. What else do you
Your
want me to
chat
tell them? It's
would
the
be would
government's
agree with
fault
you
and they
on
should
this, man.
complain to them?
What?
The average person working 80, 60 to 80 hours a week 100% can't afford a home. Even if you're working a minimum wage job, if you're working 60 to 80 hours a week, you can afford a
How much
home.
is 60 hours a week
Times
on minimum wage
$15,
on federal
that's,
minimum?
huh?
How much is 60 hours a week on federal minimum wage?
On federal minimum wage, there's no jobs out there that name one job that pays $7 an hour. I'll wait. What state, what job?
Uh,
I've already had this
Taco Bell
discussion
and
before, it doesn't
Taco
really
Bell and
exist.
all that.
Huh?
Let's say $10 an okay. Well, let's say $10 an hour then.
Okay, work 80 hours a week. You're making $800 a week.
No, well, let's say no, ain't nobody working 80 hours a week. So
Yeah, there
let's say
is
realistic.
me.
Okay, fantastic. So you think that okay, well, yeah, but you are in the minority. Most people are not
That's a
wanting to
choice
work
then.
80 hours a week.
If you can't
And
get
by the
80
way,
hours at McDonald's, go
and by
to
the
another
way,
job. And by the way, you can find jobs
your
easily
granddad
paying
wasn't working
15 to
80 hours a
$20
fucking
an
week
hour
either.
with no
He was
education. You don't
buying
even need a high school
brother,
education. You can make
your granddad
$20 an
was
hour.
buying a house in a part-time fucking job.
Huh?
What do you fucking you talking
What are you
about?
talking about? What'd you say?
You said you're working 80 hours a week, and that's what we should be basing this off of. The
No,
people in
I'm
the
saying
1950s and
anyone
the
working 80
1960s and the
hours a week can
1970s, they were
afford.
not working that many
Huh?
hours.
Okay, that's their fault then. If they can't afford something, they don't want
No,
to
it
work
has
hard
nothing to
for
do
it,
with their fault.
that's
They
their
were able to
fault.
buy a
How is that
house.
my problem?
It's not your problem. I'm saying it's a problem with society.
It's not a problem with society, it's a problem with
It is
laziness.
100% problem with society when
There's a
people
high,
are
high
when
rate of
people in the
low,
1950s were able to work
productiveness.
20 hours a week and then buy a house, and the
You
only
shouldn't be
people
able,
who
you
can buy
don't
a house
deserve
today
to buy a
are
house if
able
you're
to
working
work
20
80 hours.
hours a week.
What?
You don't deserve to buy a house if you work 20 hours a week.
Tell that to your granddad
My
because he
granddad didn't
did.
buy a house working 20 hours a
Okay, I'm
week.
talking about. I'm
He
talking
bought
about.
four houses working
I'm
80 hours
speaking
a week.
in generalities. I don't know if you know what that means, but I'm talking about the people in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. They were able to buy houses on part-time jobs, and there is
Yeah, do you want
nobody
to know
in the
why that is?
26.
Because we
Yeah,
went
no,
from.
it's not because they worked harder. It's
No, it's
because the
not. There's
social
another reason.
it's
No, it's
because the
not.
socioeconomic conditions are different now
Yeah, I
than
agree.
they
You want
were
to
in
know
the
why that is? It has nothing to do with taxes or any of that bullshit. It's because we went from a one income household to a two income household. Do you know what happened when we introduced women to the workplace market? The average
there was
salaries
more
for men started to go down. And they became more and more stagnant, and more money got brought into the family. Now the government had, instead of one person getting taxed, they had two people getting taxed. So the family had less money, jobs started going down, inflation
yeah,
started going
okay,
up,
okay.
home prices started going up because women were buying stuff. So the prices
So
for
if
everything
only
started going up. That's a
if
small,
only
small part
women
of it,
weren't
though. That's just
contributing to the
probably about
economy,
20% of
then
it.
everybody would be able to afford a home
Huh?
on 20 hours a week.
What'd you say?
If only women weren't contributing to the economy, then
No, that's
people
not what
would
I'm
be.
saying. I'm just letting you know what happened.
That's quite literally what you
I
just
just
said.
explained what happened. I just explained
You
something
just
historical that
said
happened. I wasn't advocating for
you
anything. I
just said
explained you a
that
historical background on what happened in the 1950s.
you quite literally just said that the reason
That
for the
it, yes,
socioeconomic
that
conditions
is
in
one of the reasons
2026
for rising
is because
prices. That's part of
is
the
because
reason
of
that
women
men are getting married now today can't take care of their families
I-
because the society is so used to a two income household. Yes, that is correct.
brother, a two-income household is more than a one-income household. That only makes your point worse.
What is
There's
it?
more income coming into the home, and still people can't afford one.
They can afford it if they work hard. If you're married, it's even easier to buy a house. Then
Not
you
the
really
way that
don't.
it was
Then you really
before.
don't have an excuse why
How
you didn't
many
buy a house.
how many billionaires are there in the United States today?
Why do billionaires matter? Why are you so jealous of other people making
I'm
more
talking
money than
about
you?
concentration of wealth.
Huh? They don't owe you
I'm talking
anything.
about
They earn their money.
I'm not talking about whether or
Do
not
you
they
believe you
earn
can make
they
yourself
owe
a
me.
millionaire if you really wanted
Ask
to?
the question. Can you answer the question or not? It's
Because
3,400. I'll just give you the answer.
there's not
It's around
3,400 billionaires in the
it's
U.S. You're
around
wrong.
3,400.
There's about 900. There's only about 800 to 900 in the U.S. It's not 3,400 billionaires in the U.S. I don't even have to look it up to tell you you're wrong. There's not even 3,400 billionaires in the world. Not that I think.
Oh, yeah. So in the world, around 3,400,
Okay, in the
900 in
world,
the
but in the U.S. there's about 900.
so 900. How many do you think there were in the 50s, 60s, and 70s?
Well, if you adjust for inflation, a lot of the millionaires would have been in billionaires if you adjust for inflation.
No, I even adjusted for inflation.
If you adjust for inflation, you know who Rockefeller was? He would be a trillionaire in today's money. He would be worth more than Elon Musk today. If you adjust for inflation comparatively, that money
What was
back then was worth $1 trillion in today's dollars.
that's actually a really interesting statistic I've not heard
Yeah,
that
that's
before.
right. John Rockefeller was the richest man in history, in American history. Even today, if you count for inflation, he's still richer than everyone that's living today.
Yeah. So are you disputing the fact that there's been a concentration of wealth since the 50s, 60s, and 70s?
What do you mean a concentration of wealth?
I mean, the middle and lower class shrinking, and the upper class gaining most of the money.
Well, yeah, that's because you're stealing all the money from the middle class and redistributing it to the poor. That's what
What?
socialism is.
You just completely misunderstood what I
I'm
was asking
telling
you.
you what's happening. You ask me a question and I give
You,
you an answer. It's
you
because you're
no, no,
stealing
no.
money,
I
you're
asked you.
overtaxing the middle class, taking their tax money and giving it to poor people that don't want to work.
So you think that we're overtaxing the middle class? I agree.
If yeah, they shouldn't be taxed at all. We don't need to steal money from billionaires. People that are making
From
under
the
a
point
hundred
of view,
grand a year
you are
shouldn't be paying
socialist as fuck.
taxes. Huh?
You are socialist as fuck, bro.
I'm not socialist. What did I say that was
You're
socialist?
100% socialist. You're saying that
I
the middle
want more
class
free
should.
market. I want to get rid of taxation. That way corporations can make more money.
Well, okay, getting rid of taxation completely is a wild take. But do you think that the upper class, like the top 5 or 1%, should be taxed?
No.
So you just don't think that there should be any
We can have
taxes?
sales tax like we did when our country was originally founded. We didn't have any federal income tax.
Okay. And what do you think that sales tax should be?
I don't know, around the same as it is now.
Okay. And how much money do you think that that's going to bring in?
Not enough, so we're going to have to bring in money through other methods.
Like what other methods?
Charging countries to do business with us, tariffs, charging. We could charge tourists to come visit America because we don't really need tourists to come in here anyway. We have enough
Okay.
economy and enough services and resources to boom. So we could charge them like I don't know,
So,
two hundred
so
dollars
just
for a visa.
just so everybody is aware, this guy's policy, if he was
I
made
don't have
president of the
policy. These are just theoretical suggestions.
No,
You're asking
okay,
me how
well
we can
you're
raise
just
money.
shooting off
Tariffs
it.
are a great
That's
option. We could
convenient for
actually be
you to
covered all by
shoot
tariffs. It
off the
once was
budget
before.
on a budget that is absolutely batshit insane.
On what budget? I mean, everything would have to be changed. If you really want me to get into it, literally everything would have to be changed. But we got 234 people in here, guys. Get the likes up there a bit. We're up to 74 likes. So we can get to 100 at least.
You quite literally just said that there should be no income tax.
Yeah, there should be no income tax.
Just
That's
so that
theft.
everybody in chat is clear.
That's
This guy
theft.
thinks that there should be no taxes except for he said sales tax.
Yeah,
And
I
you
took
think that
I took a massive tax runoff this year.
what is
Why? Because I don't want to give you fuckers any of my money. I pay the least amount of taxes every year physically
what is the annual
possible
federal
because
budget? What is
taxation
the
is
annual
theft. And I don't think you people out there that are saying that you want free shit deserve my money. In fact, I know you don't deserve my money.
What is the annual federal budget?
The annual federal budget it's in the trillions.
Yes.
1.6 trillion or something like that. 1.3 trillion.
Not even fucking close.
That's the
It's
military
7
budget, actually. That's 1.6 trillion is the military budget.
the
Yeah, I
US
understand the
annual
budget's big, but we could get rid of if we have to eliminate
budget
welfare
around
altogether. No
7%
more food stamps,
people.
no more free housing. You sink or you starve.
That is not even going to get you anywhere near.
It will because sick
It's
like
not gonna get, where are you
34% of
getting
our budget is so how much of our
$7.4
budget is social security? How much of our budget is social security? If we wipe that out altogether, we could do it.
Really? Social Security
We don't even have to. We
annual
don't even have to steal. All we have to do is this. Okay, everyone in Social
annual
Security
cost.
that's still getting
Yeah,
it can get
so,
it.
so it's
We could save a lot of
so
money just
the
by
annual
offering
budget
people to make it conditional if they want to get Social Security or not. Like you
the
shouldn't
annual
be
budget
forced to get Social Security. Would you agree with a policy like that or no?
what was the policy?
Not forcing people like instead of paying 6% in the Social Security or whatever, you can keep that 6% money yourself and invest it instead of giving it to the government for Social Security. Like you don't have to opt into the program.
Um
You don't have to pay into it, and you don't have to receive it if you don't want to.
as far as what I think that Social Security is fine, but I think there are better ways to do it, for sure.
So you would agree that maybe someone could opt out, that they shouldn't be forced to pay into it?
If I had to redesign the system, I would I it wouldn't be Social Security as it is today.
Well, I
But I
agree
think that
there.
Social Security, I think that Social Security, the way that it is today, is helping a lot of people,
I also
and it's
agree.
why lot of people, even a lot of conservatives, especially a lot of older conservatives who are benefiting from Social Security,
No, if I
uh,
got rid of Social
don't.
Security, I wouldn't steal anyone's money. I would make sure that they got everything they paid into it, and that's that. Because I don't, I do want to get rid of it, but I don't think it's right to steal people's money because they've been paying in for that for their whole life, and some of them are living off of it. I have family that live off of Social Security, so yeah, it's definitely
Yeah,
uh, it's definitely something
we
that
already.
they should have. But for the younger generations that don't want to get it, if they just want to save that money from their paycheck, they should be able to.
Yeah, so we already agree on that. So that's not even the point of the debate. But I want to get back to this idea of like no income tax. Like you're
Well,
gonna
there's
have to
already
describe
countries out there with no income tax, so we know it's possible. It's not really just some theoretical bullshit idea.
name a first world country that has no income
The
tax.
UAE is not a first world country. Monaco is not a first world country. One of the richest
Exactly.
countries in the world. Some of the richest countries in the world are tax free, and you're telling me that they're not first world?
Uh, the U the UA you're comparing the UAE, the
Yeah, it's
fucking
first world.
United Arab
Yeah,
Emirates to the
it's
United
obviously
States
a
of
way
America.
different. Like I'm not even gonna argue it, but it's
It is not
possible.
even it's not even in the same ballpark,
I know
man.
it's a lot smaller, but it shows you it's possible, doesn't it?
Yeah, maybe on like a microscopic scale.
It could be done at a large scale.
That doesn't translate to a
It could be done
country
in a large
with
scale. I don't think it's ever going to
with
happen, but it
hundreds
could be
of
done in a
millions of
large
people.
scale. It's
Brother,
been done in Monaco
where are you
too.
getting 7.4 where are you getting $7.4 trillion from?
What do you mean $7.4 trillion of what?
That is the budget.
Huh? Sorry?
That's the US annual budget. Where are you getting seven point
I
four
didn't say
trillion
seven
dollars
point
from?
four trillion dollars. I didn't give
I
you.
said I said $7.4 trillion because that is the
Oh, okay.
US
So you're
annual
asking me where
budget.
you're going to get that money from? I don't know.
Yeah.
From doing business. Trump bought in $20 trillion in just a single year.
No, where is the government getting that
Well,
money
the
from?
government got it from trade agreements. We made $20 trillion in one year. We received $10 trillion last year in our bank account.
Brother, that has nothing to do with the
Well, you're
annual
asking me
budget
where we're
that
getting
you're
the
getting
money from, and
paid
I just told
on
you we
for
made $10
social
trillion,
for
dollars, which is more than our annual budget last year in trade deals.
that's not going if that's the case, which I don't even know about that, but if that's the case, that's not going toward the 7.4 trillion that we get from taxpayers
Well,
to
Trump paid
fund
down our
social.
debt, the first president to pay more than just the interest payment in like 20 years.
What?
Trump is the first president to pay more than just the interest payment on our annual debt in like 20 years.
Fantastic.
So I think it's possible through tariffs. If a country will the countries will pay trillions of dollars to do business with us. That's just a fact. Obviously, I don't think either one of us is smart enough to sit here and pretend like we're smart enough to fix the entire system. I never claimed I could engineer
No,
some
but
tax
different
structure. I
than
just
you
have
need
some
is
basic
you're
ideas,
to know
and I see how other countries do it.
you're not going to make a budget based on no taxes and
Well, yeah,
only a
you
sales
can. It's
tax.
possible. Other
I,
countries do
one
it.
of us
If other
living in the
countries
realm of
do it, why
reality
can't we
that
do
are
it? It's possible.
connected.
It's technically theoretically possible.
It's
I don't have
technically
any
theoretically possible
because it's
to
been
have
done
a
multiple
United
times, huh?
with only a sales tax.
Yeah.
And you're saying that the sales tax should be the same as it is now. So we should just decrease the amount of taxes that we're taking in, but still make the same amount of money. Okay,
Yeah, we should spend
sure.
less money too. We should cut a lot of our programs. Here we go.
That's
Here's
not
what
going to get
Beatles
you
says. Here's the guy from.
an income tax.
Sorry?
That's not going to get you anywhere near 7.4
It can
trillion
though,
without
because
an
the
income.
majority of our budget is Social Security. If we just fix that, that could save us a lot of money.
It's
Most of our budget
1.58.
is Social Security and
It's
military.
1.58 trillion for Social Security.
Huh?
That is like 20%.
Huh? I think it's bigger than that.
Social Security is like 20%.
Well, that's still a pretty big percentage. But okay, we have
You
a
still have
chat.
80% to go.
We have a chat from this man in New York. He was the one before. He dropped a super chat. He said, "When I lost everything, there wasn't a system or a person who helped me. Why should I be obligated to pay for another person's mistakes? I don't think I should be legally obligated to pay for handouts."
Okay, so what I would say to the chatter is, you know, there are a lot of people in this country who um, wind up in really unfortunate situations due to no fault of their own, right? So when I hear or talk to somebody on the street and they tell me like, "Hey, I was diagnosed with cancer," or "I like have diabetes and I can't afford insulin because insulin costs are going up," um, or whatever the healthcare issue might be that has nothing to do with the way that they're taking care of themselves. As a person, I just want to help them, right? And I think that we should all feel the same way.
Well, no
That's
one wanted to help him. No one did help him. So why should we all feel the same way when no one was there to help him, including the
when
government?
so if that person feels like no one was there to help them,
I know multiple people personally
I
that
think
went
that's awful.
homeless.
I think that's awful, and I feel bad for that. I feel bad for them.
I know
I
multiple
feel bad
people
for them,
that lived
honestly.
out of their car
I
and
think
have been
that's something,
homeless, and
and
every single one of them says the government did
that's
nothing for
exactly
them but
the thing.
stand in their way.
And the person between me and you who is more willing to fight for that chatter is me, because the policies that I want to implement would be the helping hand that that person would have wanted to have in that moment. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but
Like
do you understand it's still not
I'm the one that
equal, though?
wants
It's
to
still not
be
going to
part
mean.
of the
That's
system.
why people
I want
don't
to
like
help them.
socialism because it never helps everyone equally. Even if I got helped one time by the taxpayer system, you expect me to help everyone for the rest of my life? I'd rather just never get helped in the first place. If that's what it takes,
Uh,
if I get help one time, say, I need $1,000 and the government helps me with $1,000, and but I have to help everyone else with $1,000. I don't want
no,
to be a
you don't
part of
have
that
to help
system.
everyone else with 1,000. No, but that's not how taxes work, man. It's a pool. You
That
understand
pretty
that,
much
right?
is
Like
how
it
it
works.
works. You add a little
No,
bit into the
listen,
pool, and there's always another guy that's pulling all
it
the
works.
resources while you
It
barely
works
pull
the
anything at
same
all, and you
way
don't
as
get your fair
direct
share.
insurance
That's
companies.
exactly
It
what's
works
wrong
the
with a pool. You have a pool of
it
money,
works the
there's always one guy pulling all the money, and the other guy's getting nothing and not getting
do
any
you
of
have
those
health insurance?
sources.
Do you have
Huh?
health insurance? Do you have health insurance?
Yeah.
Why?
Why? What do you mean,
Yeah.
why?
Why? Well, it's a pool. And you just said that pools don't work.
Well, that's a private business, and it doesn't really work because that's why the insurance system is fucked up itself because it doesn't work.
Right, but
That's why premiums are so
you
high
you
because it doesn't
okay,
work.
so you and I are both against insurance companies or
Yeah,
like
but we're just
privatized health.
we're you want to socialize and you want everyone to pay for it.
Right, but you
I want to make
understand
it
you
more
understand
corporate. I want to open up more corporate businesses and I want to lower the prices through competition.
how that
You want to
system
lower
works.
the prices through socializing the system. I want to bring the prices down by
Once
capitalizing the system. Do you see the difference? Because
once
I've seen
somebody
them try
gets
to make
cancer, they
socialized
don't
healthcare
die to
systems and it
medical
fails.
bankruptcy.
Huh?
That's what I want if somebody gets diagnosed with cancer, they don't die to medical bankruptcy. They can go to the hospital just like they could anywhere else
Well,
and
you
get
can go to the
free care
hospital.
24/7.
Everyone goes to the hospital. It's free. You can get free emergency Medicare. If you make under 60 grand a year, you can get it.
Yeah, but not under the age of Medicare.
Huh?
Not under the age that you would need to qualify for Medicare.
This is emergency Medicare. Anyone can get it.
Cancer is not an emergency.
If you're dying from
Diabetes
cancer,
is
it's
not
an
an
emergency.
emergency.
There's literally a
Many of
law.
things
If you
that
Do you know there's
there,
a
you think
federal
that
law if you show
emergencies
up
are
to
the
the
only
hospital
thing to
sick, they have to
happen
treat you?
in the medical
Do you
field?
know there's a federal law if you show up to the hospital sick, it doesn't matter what disease you have, they have to treat you. It's a law. Do you know anything about the
But
medical
you're
system?
still gonna have to pay. Do you think that these
They
people are
don't
just not
have to.
paying? That they're just
They don't have to pay. They're gonna get sent a bill. They're probably gonna get sent a bill, or there's forms they can fill out while they're at the hospital to
yeah,
get it for
and
free.
they
There's forms
medical
at the
debt and
hospital they can fill out to
medical
get for
bankruptcy.
free for emergency
You end up
Medicare.
with medical debt and medical bankruptcy.
Well, it is
which is
true that does
which is
happen a lot,
the
but
only
there's also ways to get it for free. And we both agree the system's messed up. But here's another chatter. He says, "How many Democrats does it take to fix a problem? We don't know. It's never been done."
that's a super cool meme. He really got me with that one.
Here's what he said: If I decide to smash my car into a tree, should you be obligated to pay my bills for me?
No,
Then how is it any other difference when you decide you don't want to work? Why should I pay your bills for you then?
but when I
If
decide
I
to work,
decide to smash my car into a tree and you think you shouldn't pay for it, then why, when I decide to quit my job, you think you should pay for it?
so the thing
What's the
isn't
difference?
whether
Both are decisions you made that affected your life.
no. So the difference between somebody smashing their car into a tree and somebody being unemployed is there is a potential that that person is doing their damnedest to find a job. And because of the
How do you know they're
societal
doing their
condition,
damnedest to find the job just because they quit their
a
job?
lot of people a lot of people are, and we're not going to check one by one through hundreds of millions of,
So we shouldn't worry about.
potentially.
So you're saying we shouldn't worry if someone takes advantage of the system, basically.
Uh,
You
we
said we
should
shouldn't
worry
check
about.
them case by
No,
case to make sure
no,
that they're working and that they're filing for jobs and that they're
we
doing the
already
right
do that.
thing.
We already do like
Well,
basic
yeah,
checks
Trump
for that.
Trump passed a new law for that because there was a law previously that said you had a file for employment, but states weren't doing that. They weren't checking to make sure people were filing for employment while they were receiving benefits.
I have no problem with checking to make sure that people are being honest. But what I'm saying is that people should have basic dignity, and we shouldn't use the outliers and the assholes of society as an excuse to treat people that are trying without dignity.
But do you
We
agree
should
that there
make
are
sure
people on
that
the
people
welfare
that are
system that need
trying,
to be taken
like
off?
imagine you're that person that's like doing their damnedest, and you're trying to find a job, and just like life is hitting you super hard, and you're 2 weeks from being out on the street because you can't make rent, but you've done everything you fucking can, and
Yeah, I understand that can be
and
frustrating,
there's
but
somebody out there that's saying, well, you shouldn't get assistance despite the fact that you're a really hard worker because you might be a fraudster.
well, I wouldn't get rid of employment completely. I just wouldn't give it for as long as they give it, and I wouldn't give as much money as they give. In New York City, how is it any?
So you
How
are
is
for
it? How
some unemployment benefits.
if you get fired from your job and you need like a month or two worth? If you need like a month's worth of, unemployment benefits, sure, but not for a year, not for 6 months, not for 8 months, not for years and years and
Turning
years.
him
But can you tell me how is this encouraging for someone to get a job? If the government will pay you $1,000 a week to stay home for unemployment for months and months and months, how is that going to encourage anyone in New York City to go out and get a job when they're getting $900 from employment a week? $900 is
question.
the unemployment in the state of New York. In Florida, you only
Question.
get $275 a
Can
week.
I so let me ask you this. If you were in a totally different situation and you were unemployed and you were looking for a job, um, but you started getting, you know, handouts, as you would call them, to be able to find a job in the meantime, would you just stop working entirely because you were getting
If I was a
unemployment?
person that liked to drink a lot of alcohol and smoke a lot of weed and sit on the
I'm
couch
talking
and
about
play
you.
video games, probably. But I like to
I'm talking about
work.
you. I'm talking about you in particular. Would you do that?
You're talking about someone that's like very motivated. So the answer is
Like
no. But
most people. Like,
just
okay, so
most
yeah,
people
and
would. Most people would.
most people are like that.
No, they aren't. Most people don't want to work more than
Okay,
40
so I
hours a
think
week.
that the difference between you
Most
and
people
I
don't want to
is
work more than
I
40
am more
hours a week.
pessimistic about who you are, and you just think that most people in the United States are fucking lazy, entitled pieces of shit.
Well, you guys say that
So
all the
I mean,
time about white people. You say
now
white people are too lazy to do construction and agriculture, so we need more illegal alien immigrants to pick our crops. Isn't that right?
what?
You
Wait, what?
Democrats are saying we need illegal alien immigrants in this country because who's going to pick our crops? Just like when y'all were saying, why are you getting rid of slavery? Who's going to pick our crops? Remember when the Democrat Party did that?
You
Sound a little
completely
bit familiar?
misunderstood. You've completely misunderstood my position. I don't think that we need illegal immigrants in this country.
Well, I know, but you're saying I'm calling people lazy. Yeah, I do think people are lazy. I do agree with people out there saying that, you know, people are too lazy to pick crops. But if we stop giving out all these benefits, then people won't be so lazy. It'll encourage people to get. If we start deporting these illegals and these farms, there's going to be a job shortage. There's going to be a labor shortage. And when there's a labor shortage, the wages go up. So when the wages go up, it's going to motivate more people to go out and get that specific job because it's a lot of people need it because people need food, so there's going to be a high demand, which is going to raise the salaries and the prices for the business to pay the employees more money as well.
What do you think costs more, mass deportation or just fixing the U.S. immigration system so that people can actually move here without having to
Well, we
jump the
should do
border?
both. We should have mass deportations, and we should fix the they go hand in hand. The only way to fix it is to deport people because if we open the border and let everyone come in here illegally, then our
But
system's going to be over congested again.
the people that are already here, I mean, so I think I mentioned this to you earlier in the call, but 95% of the people that have been deported by
They're all
Trump
criminals.
are, aside from the fact that they jumped to the border,
That's a
they
crime. That
are
makes them a criminal. You mean they're
okay.
non-violent criminals?
No, no,
I'll agree
I'm
with
talking
you
about,
that most of them are probably non-violent criminals,
yeah,
but it doesn't change the fact
95%
that I want them deported, though.
now, and we can compare that to say the amounts of people that were deported under Obama.
What?
80% of them were actual criminals.
No, they weren't. I can pull up the article right now. He deported 5 million people. Most of them were just turnaways at the border. The majority of them were not criminals. The majority of them were actually women and children that were innocent. Look it up yourself. There's never been a president in history that's only deported violent criminals. That's never existed. Obama wouldn't just let somebody go because he found out they jumped the border. Oh, you just jumped the border. Where no, this man literally had
Uh,
he had Tom Homan at the
59%.
border.
So under Trump, it's 5%. Under Obama, it was around 60%.
No, it wasn't. Show me the source.
Pew Research. You can look it
Okay,
up
just send
through
it to
Pew
me. I
Research.
sent you my sources, and they're all criminals. It's probably a skewed statistics. How did they find that analysis? What was the study? What was the method they used to get to that conclusion?
I'm not going to do the fact check with you in real time because that's going to be super boring for chat. We're going to sit
Okay,
here
fair
quietly
enough.
while.
This guy says jobs aren't hard to find, man. If you're a man, join a trade. Haven't heard of construction company with too many men. Yeah, haven't heard of a construction company with too many men. Yep. Right on, brother. We have the legal immigration system in place. The problem is they are here illegally, and we shouldn't be legally obligated to pay for them. And I also agree we shouldn't be legally obligated to pay for other people's welfare. Like, if you want to have a welfare system in America, it should be privately funded by people that want to pay into it. And then we're going to see how many people really want to pay for other people's bills. If this is such a great system, actually, this is a great point. If this is such a great system where it's actually benefiting our country more than it's hurting us, then there should be lots of people that have once received unemployment, right? But now,
So
wait, wait, let me let me
let's
talk for
take
another minute, really quick, really quick.
sure,
So,
and I'll make my point
go
because I
ahead.
got a good point to make.
Okay, so if all these people, everyone that's ever received unemployment, if unemployment really helps them, that means they should have got back on their feet. They should be doing good now. They have a job. That means if they really think the unemployment system was good, that means there should be enough people in a private business to keep the funding. If it's really a positive for our society, that means there'd be enough people to keep it funding by itself. But since it's such a negative, since most people that are on the government benefits for over a year probably never get off of it. I'm sure I could find you statistics that show people that have been on government aid for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years probably almost never get off of it unless they're kicked off of it. But if it's such a good system, it should be able to operate on itself independently without the government's need. Because if it's so good, then why do you have to force people to give this specific social service money? then people should just be wanting to pay into it since it works so well, right? I think a lot of people would still pay into Social Security if it wasn't mandated. I think a lot of people would
Mhm.
still pay into taxes for their roads if it wasn't mandated. I think a lot of people would still pay into even for foreign wars. We would probably have more people putting in their own money to pay for foreign wars than we would have people putting their money in to pay for welfare. But I don't know. But I know for a certain some of these social services would be continuing funding if it was a choice from the taxpayers. But the ones that are like welfare systems, like food stamps and all that shit. No, that shit would go under in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I think you're completely lost, man. So I think the idea that you could just say, if you want to, you can just pick and choose which social programs are something that you believe in is absolutely ridiculous. Number one, because there are certain budgets. Imagine a budget fluctuating depending on what people's beliefs are.
Well, if
You
people don't
could
believe it, that would be perfect.
literally the
That would be
budget.
the ideal budget, wouldn't
I just
it?
let you.
Because
I
if
just
that's how
completely
the
let you talk.
that's
I
how
completely let
okay,
you
I'll
talk
let you
for a
talk. Go ahead.
very long
I'll
time.
let you talk. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. So imagine you have a tax system where people just get to pick and choose
Mm-hmm.
what social programs they want to be a part of, and and the budget for police or the budget for the military or the budget for healthcare just fluctuates depending on what the political climate is. That's absolutely ridiculous. So maybe in 2026 I call 911 and there's enough money for a police officer to come up to my door, and in 2027, well, people are anti-police, so there's not enough money, so I don't get a police officer and I die. Or we have to go to war, but there's not enough money because people don't want to chip in to the military budget. That is an absolutely absurd system. You cannot just say, oh, every, the entire reason for taxation is that it creates a pool of money where we can take an amount of money and distribute it toward things that we think are worth having as a society. Currently we spend too much money on the military. That's an entirely different point. But um, you have to have a fixed amount of money so that you can forecast for the needs of society. If you just let people pick and choose, there's no telling. There's absolutely no telling what's going to happen.
Well, in Switzerland, you're done, right? I don't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, yeah.
In Switzerland, they live in a direct democracy. So anytime they want to do anything, they say, "Oh, are we going to give food stamps?" Then they need 60. They need more than 50% of the population to agree on paying into these programs. All this they have a direct democracy. So say they were passing a food stamps program tomorrow, unless the majority of the country voted for food stamps, they're not going to get it. And just like if they've never been in a war before, but I'm sure if they did go to war or they did attack a country, the majority of the country would probably have to vote on it. So there are countries that already work like that. I do agree with the military thing. We probably shouldn't leave, especially offensive military options, up to public voting because sometimes we can get attacked and we need the government to respond and we don't have time to
So
vote
what
on it.
things should be up to public voting?
Probably anything that's not military. So all the
So
social
police,
services and the taxation should probably be left up to the
police,
public. Huh? Yeah,
police.
police. Most people would pay for the police. If there was a vote
Dude,
tomorrow,
there
if there
are
was a
so
vote
many
tomorrow in
there.
my
By the
city,
way, by the way,
let me.
I know a lot of people on the left get really crazy and they say like all cops are bastards or whatever, and that's some bullshit.
Well, yeah, that's
But
funny that you mentioned that
and
because
by the way,
Zohan,
that's not me. That's not
Zohan
me.
wants to get rid of the funding. What do you think about that? Zohan Mandami wants to defund police. What do you think about that?
Show me that.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I'll show you in a second. These social programs shouldn't be going to non-citizens. They should only go to American citizens living here legally. Do you agree with that or no?
Yes, I agree with that.
So you don't think any illegals should be getting like free healthcare even if it's paid by state taxes?
No.
Okay, then we agree on that. We both think that's horrible. Let's see. Defund the police. Oh, he made a tweet apparently. Oh yeah, here we go. He tweeted literally. This is directly from his Twitter in 2020. He said he's called for it multiple times in the past. He's done hashtag defund the police on Twitter multiple times. But he also said that he's not running for the sole purpose of defunding them. But he has said multiple times on potential plans of
So do you think that defund the police means completely defund them?
well, taking any of their money
Because
away is just stupid.
that's
Well,
never what that's
taking
meant.
away a police force in a city with rising crime comparatively to 10 or 15 or 20 years ago is probably not the best idea. Do you agree on that?
Has he defunded the police since he's
No,
been in
I'll
office?
be honest, he's kind of backed up from some of those
Yeah.
statements in recent times,
Right.
but I wouldn't be surprised
Yeah.
if he did it
Okay. So
again.
politicians ride the wave all the time, man. And like I'm not for that. Like I can accept the fact that that's some bullshit. I'm not really with that. But but what I go off of is what he's done since he's gotten into office. And what got done since he's gotten into office has been great.
He hasn't really done anything because nothing is
I
active.
mean, I've already gone over multiple times what he's
Well,
done.
like I said,
I've given
nothing
you
has
multiple
actually been
examples.
done. Stuff has been quote unquote passed, stuff
You've
has been
said that
promised,
nothing's been done,
stuff
but
has been pushed
I've
up through
already demonstrated
legislation.
to you that
But until it actually happens, can you understand why I would be a little bit curious on how it's going to happen? I mean,
would
do
you
you
be
think
okay?
after New York wiped down their debt, do you think that they're going to end up in more debt in four
So
years, or do you
so
think they're not going to have any more debt? Do you think they're going to add a bunch of debt more, or do you think they're going to stay debt free?
where where?
In New York City, they're going to stay debt free, or do you think they're going to add a fuck ton of debt in the next 4 years?
Uh, I honestly don't know.
If
if
you
they
had to
add a
bet
bunch of
$1,000 tomorrow, would you bet that Zohan Mandami adds a fuck ton of debt, or would you bet money he doesn't add any debt?
um, if I'm being honest, I would say that there's probably going to be some debts in for the cause of some kind of social services, which is the exact same thing that I would do if I was mayor of New York.
So you admit that it's going to cost a
I
lot
would
more and not be
if
really
I was the mayor
fiscal
of New York,
responsible.
I would probably be okay with a balanced budget. I would probably be okay with adding to the debt in service of making sure that people are comfortable in New York and have
You'd be so
affordable
basically
housing.
so
Yeah,
basically you'd
having
be
affordable
willing to
housing,
take
having like
money
being able
from
to
the
take care of your
state.
kids. Yeah,
You'd be willing to take other people's money from different cities and from the state government and then have
I
them
would
pay
do
your
what I needed
debt.
to do for the
And then
people
you
of New
would
York
take
if I was
that
the mayor
money
of
that
New
they
York. Yeah.
paid into you to give more people welfare in New York. So you'd take from another city or you'd take from the rest of the state just to give one concentrated area a bunch of welfare. You think that's
So if
okay?
you were the mayor of New York, that's not what you would do.
No. I would cut
Oh, okay.
all the
Okay. Well,
radical spending. I'd cut
good
all
thing for
the
the people of
free
New York.
housing
You're
for
not
the
the
illegal
mayor.
alien immigrants. I'd cut almost everything, every benefit.
We're just talking about the budget.
Yeah, I'd cut pretty much every benefit unless you can prove that you're working your ass off
I
trying
mean,
to go and get it. Then maybe you can have unemployment, and then maybe you can have some stuff. But other than that, no.
I mean, the I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if he's going to add to the budget. I don't know if he's going to decrease it. The only thing that I know that he's done so far is decrease the budget or balance the budget.
He hasn't decreased it. I'll say balance the budget if you
He's
want.
balanced the budget for the first time in a very long time. And if Cuomo had gotten elected, or if
So let me ask you a
whoever else,
theoretical question. If California became the richest state in the country, like in terms of debt, they had no debt, they had no poverty, none of that stuff, and they were like the average person there was just a billionaire, would you think it's a good idea to just take all of the
the
money
average
that
person,
California has and pay off our debt, our country's debt? Do you think that would be okay? To take
if
money
the
from one state and pay off the entire country's debt just because they have the
if
money
the
and they can
average
do it?
person was a billionaire
Yeah.
in California
Mm-hmm.
and they had no debt, I would think that they should subsidize the rest of the states. Yeah,
Oh,
and I think that the blue, well, I mean, it's already clear the blue states are already doing that.
So you're
The blue
basic.
states
Well, they're
are
not.
the blue states
What blue state?
the blue
What blue
states
state?
are already
Which one?
subsidizing red states.
Which
So
one?
that's happening today.
No, which one?
California,
California
dude,
is a net
California and
negative
New
state.
York,
They
dude,
haven't been a.
those
No,
budgets
Google
subsidize
search it
those
right
budget
now.
subsidized red states. They've been doing
Google
it
search it
for a
right now.
long
They're a
time.
net negative. They're a net negative. They literally have the highest debt. How could explain this to me? If your bank account has $1 million in debt, how are you going to give everyone money if you don't have any money in your bank account?
Um, Say that again.
If my bank account was a negative $1 million, how am I gonna give a bunch of people money? How am I gonna be helping out a bunch of people? How am I gonna be surplusing my family?
Let me put it to you another way. How much of the federal budget comes from blue states and how much of it comes from red
Well, none
states?
of it
What
comes from
percentage?
California because they're taking money from the federal government. They've
No,
had multiple federal
I'm talking about
bailouts.
income tax.
They've
I'm
had
talking
yeah,
about
I'm
income
talking about
tax.
income taxes too. They've had multiple federal bailouts. They are taking more
Brother,
money. They are spending more money than they are
I'm
making.
talking about gross revenue.
Yeah, they are spending more than they're
I'm talking
making.
about gross revenue to the IRS.
They're spending more money than they're making. Isn't that all that matters? Because it doesn't
No, it's
matter if you
not all
make a
that
whole
matters.
bunch of money if
The
you spend
only
it
thing that
all.
matters is the tax money that's going
No,
from
it
the
doesn't.
states
The only
to the
thing that
IRS.
matters is that they're not a surplus state.
That's their own problem that has nothing to
Okay, then
do
stop
with the
saying they're a
federal
surplus
government.
state when they're not. Stop saying that they're feeding red states when they're not.
They 100%.
California is not
Okay,
feeding any red state when they're
you are
a net
completely
negative.
misunderstanding. Just dude, if they can be in debt all they want, that doesn't mean they don't owe the government and pay the government every time tax time comes around.
They paid, yeah, they pay. Every single
They
state
pay the
pays the
government
government.
every time tax
What
time
state
comes
doesn't
around.
pay the government?
No state doesn't pay the government.
Okay,
That's my
so then
point.
all the red states and all the blue states are subsidizing everything because we live in a
Yes,
union.
no,
So we live in a
except there
union.
is a difference between the percentage of federal revenue that comes from blue states and the
If you're
percentage of
saying because
federal revenue that
California
comes from
has the
red states.
largest population, they pay the most taxes, I would agree with you. If
I
that's the
mean,
point you're trying to
blue
make, but if you're
states,
trying to make that they're a surplus state, then that would be false. But
it,
yeah, sure, they
but
pay they have the
whether or
largest
not they're a
population, they
surplus
have
state
the
is
most
completely
taxpayers. Is that the point you're trying to make, that
whether
they
or
have the
not
most
they're a surplus
taxpayers?
state is completely beside the point uh, of how much is going into the IRS from blue states and red states. Blue states make up about 60%
That's
of the
incorrect as well.
money.
There's only one or two there's only, I'll give it to you, there are more blue states that are net positive, but another reason that a lot of these red states are poor, like Mississippi, Alabama, is because of the previous politicians, the Democrats that ruined those states they're still suffering from all
You're quite
those
limited speaking.
laws and all that shit that you did down in the South, 50, 60, 70 years ago.
That we did down in the South.
Yes, because Democrats were in power in Alabama back then and Mississippi. So you fucked up in doing a lot of poor legislation. So that's why a
You
lot of
think
these
that
states were poor because they're still suffering from some of the shit that you did during the
you think that
segregation and
Democrats
prohibition.
you think that in the year of our Lord 2026 that Democrats are responsible for the state of affairs in the southern states?
Well, yeah, I think historically the states that were built up by great leaders like General Lee, you can call him a racist, whatever you want, but he did build up some great states like Florida and Virginia, and he made those states very prosperous. And if you look at the leadership for some of these other red states that are not doing
Those
so
are
well,
red states in
they
2026,
have a
bro.
long history of leadership, of poor Democrat leadership.
They have a long history
And
of being
they have
red
a
for
lot
a
of
very
Democrat
long
cities
time
in
since
them.
2026
Their
going
major
backward,
cities
man.
are all Democrat.
Yeah, the major cities are all Democrat, not those southern states.
In the southern states, they're Democrat.
How's Alabama doing? How's Kansas doing, dude? Those places are fucking slums.
Yeah, and so is
They don't bring in
California.
anything.
So is California.
California is the hub for
If
entertainment,
you're 20 years
for
old right now
technology.
if you're 20 years old right now and you make $50,000 a year online doing some business, would you recommend them to move to California, or would you recommend them to move to Alabama to save their money so they can
I would
continue?
recommend them to move to the slum of Alabama. Yeah,
I not the slums. Alabama's beautiful. I would recommend them to go live in Gulf Shores on the beach. Get
Yeah,
yourself a
yeah,
nice condo
because it's yeah because a
because it's
shitty loaf of
affordable. You
bread
can
is
make a
not
good
going to
money.
cost as much as something that's nice.
California isn't nice. It's a shithole. They have the highest poverty rate, the highest homeless
Yeah,
rate.
hence the amount of people that live there and the
Oh,
amount
over
of
5 million people have left in the last couple
and the amount of
years.
economic concentration that's in
California
California.
has a declining population, brother. You might want to do a little bit of research.
Where does most of the technological innovation in the United States come
All
from?
the big tech companies left California. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Amazon, all these major tech companies all left California. Anyway, we got two
From
other chats that I want to get to. New York is a small part of our state. Kathy Holloway spent $1 billion of our dollars on a new Bills stadium, and she's a Democrat. You think the mayor's
yeah,
good
that's
for spending $1 billion on a stupid fucking stadium?
I'd be interested to see
If
that.
it
But if
makes
she
money,
spent a
maybe. I
billion
don't know.
dollars, yeah. By the way, I'm super consistent. If I think a lot of Democrats are fucking idiots too. But I'm not some fucking like centrist Democrat, you know?
You're not a
Like
centrist. You're just far left, or
no,
how far
no,
left do you can?
Chuck Schumer can fucking go to hell, man.
Well, I don't think I've ever seen a Democrat that liked Chuck Schumer, but I don't even know why. Is it because the amount of times he shut down the government?
Uh, well, no, it's not because of that. It's because he's a paid off shill.
By who?
He's fucking paid off. He's paid off by
By
APAC. He's paid off by a bunch of other corporate super PACs, just like a bunch of Republicans are. I don't
okay, yeah,
think
we
that
can talk
anyone in your
about
chat.
that. But
I
there
don't
was
think
one more.
anyone in your chat. I don't think anyone in your chat wants Republicans to be paid off either.
Well, you don't think
But at
lobbying
least
is
I'm
good?
consistent
You're
about it.
against
I'm
all
honest
lobbying?
when I'm against
I think lobbying should be
almost. I'm against almost.
changed, but it's better
I
than
think
corrupt. It's better
lobbying
than
should
hitting
be.
corruption.
I think the only person who should be able to lobby should be a private citizen who isn't spending a bunch of money.
Yeah, there should be a cap.
You
There
should
should be
just be
like a
able to
thousand
lobby with
dollar
your
cap,
voice and
right?
like $20. Like yeah, like $1,000, maybe like less than that.
Yeah, I can agree with that on some points. I don't know if it would work good, but maybe.
So
But
would you vote to overturn Citizens United?
um, probably yeah.
Oh, damn. You socialist motherfucker. I'm
I
voting
don't
to
know
agree.
too much about them. I mean, if there's something you want to tell me about them, to be honest with you, I don't
Well,
really know too much.
Citizens United is not them. It's a court ruling, and it says that corporations can be treated as people,
No,
which is the reason.
corporations, as far as taxation, or in what way specifically?
So the when people talk about Citizens United, they're talking about the Supreme Court ruling where the Supreme Court said that corporations can be treated as people for tax reasons, which is a large reason why there's so much money in government right now.
Oh, that's a terrible
Because,
thing. Corporate tax rate is stupid. No, we should not have that.
fantastic,
No
man.
corporate tax rates because if you want to tax anyone, I would say if you really wanted to tax them, even if you did want to increase taxes, I think a corporate tax rate is stupid to increase because here's how it works: the corporation has to pay taxes on the money when they first receive it. They would pay corporate
Yeah.
tax. Then that money would
Okay.
go into their bank account, and then they would pay a payroll tax. And then when the payroll received the employees would pay tax on that money as well. So it gets taxed 3 times before it even goes to the employee, and I think that's a huge problem on why maybe our wages are stagnant. Because if the money gets taxed 3 or 4 times before it even gets to the employee, then that could probably hurt wages. That's just an idea. So if you really wanted to tax billionaires and millionaires more, which I'm against, but if you did want to tax them more, the best way to do it would be on a personal income tax basis where if someone makes a
So,
million dollars in personal income, then you can tax that larger. But taxing corporations just hurts the working class worker a lot in a lot of ways too, especially because a lot of people think of the word corporation, they
we're talking
think
about
of like a
taxes.
billion.
We're talking about like Citizens United and money in politics, which is a totally different story.
Yeah, but this is a little bit off
What I'm
topic.
saying is like it seems like you agree that corporations shouldn't be treated as people for the
Well, they
sake
should have the
of
same rights as
being able
people.
to
Corporations
create
should
super
have the
PACs.
corporations should have the same rights as people. They just shouldn't be taxed.
Well, I'm not talking about taxes though. I'm talking about like whether or not you think that corporations should be able to spend millions or hundreds of millions of dollars lobbying senators and House
I think
representatives.
they should be able to if lobbying is legal. If you want to get rid of
No, I'm
lobby,
I'm I'm not asking you if lobbying is legal. I'm saying should it be? I'm saying should corporations be able to spend tons of money buying off politicians to do their bidding in the United States, given the
mm,
current economic climate?
probably not.
Okay, so why does most of the Republican Party not agree with you?
Well, most of the Democrat Party doesn't agree with me either.
Well, right, but the most of the progressive wing of the Democratic Party, such as myself,
No, they
does
don't
agree
agree
with you.
with me either. Otherwise, they'd be.
Well, name me a single Democrat like Zoran or any progressive, Cat
Zohan gets.
Abdul.
He has people that pay him money.
He didn't take any money from corporations.
Any
Neither
money
did
from
Bernie Sanders.
corporations.
Neither did
So where
Cat
did he take money
Abdul.
from?
Neither does Christy Burke.
Where did he take money from? I'm gonna look that up. But we have
Small
a
dollar donations, just
huh?
small dollar donations, just like Bernie Sanders did.
Let's see, Zohan. But we have another chat here. It says, "How does a state spend $16 billion a year on their homeless crisis and make no change? It's proof these programs don't work."
Six. Is he talking about New York?
Huh?
Is he talking about New York?
Yeah, and you're right. Zohan Mandami doesn't get paid from the corporation, but he does get paid from Google employees. He does get paid from Meta employees. He does get paid from Amazon employees.
Right, but not right.
So he's getting
Just
paid
because
through the CEOs and the workers instead of receiving the money. Instead
those
of
are
and
not large dollar
they
donations.
are. These people are millionaires.
What's the largest dollar donation that he received?
I don't know, maybe 122,000. That's a pretty large. Oh wait, maybe that's his total contributions here. Let's see his largest
No.
donation. I mean, what's large and what's small is all kind of perspective. To be fair, it's kind of hard to argue. But what do you think about that last
I don't
chatter?
think that
Okay, the largest donation he received was from a Google employee, $40,000.
that's a really small amount compared to if you look at somebody like Chuck Schumer or
Yeah, I can
a lot
agree,
of
but
people like
to be
anybody that takes
disingenuous,
APAC money, dude, like the people that are taking APAC money right now are getting upwards of 1.5 million to two
that's
million
very
dollars for their
rare.
campaign.
What person received $2 million from APAC? I would like to know.
There's lots of people. I mean, we can look that up, but
But what do you think? You never responded to this super chat that says, "How does a state spend $16 billion on their homeless crisis and have no change? It's proof these programs don't work."
I'm gonna be honest. I don't live like you said. I don't live
That's
in New York,
California,
so I
by
don't.
the way. I think he's referring to.
Oh, I asked you if it was New York, and you said yeah.
Well, maybe it's New
So
York,
California.
but I
How
don't
does
know. He didn't
so how
specify, but I think he's referring to New York, but I don't know.
he means California. Uh, I don't know.
Oh,
I
here's
don't
the.
live
Actually,
in.
know what? I just found a bigger donation. The single largest single donation to an independent group that was backing Zohan Mandami was from a billionaire that donated him $250,000. So how are we gonna really sit here and act like this is gonna be navigating away from the problems? Because the people that work for these large corporations and the
So
CEOs and
what was
billionaires are
the group?
donating to him. What?
What was the group that
It was the
donated the
name of the
$4 billion?
person was Elizabeth Simons. She's a
Oh,
philanthropist, but she's a billionaire.
billionaire philanthropist. Okay, so like modern day Tony Stark.
Well, every
Yeah,
billionaire says that they're a philanthropist just so they can get tax
yeah,
write-offs.
yeah. Uh, so yeah, I don't know who that is, but I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not for that. I'm not for that, and I'm not for anybody being able to donate over $1,000 to any political campaign. And I think that apparently you're okay with corporations buying out politicians.
No, I
Um,
already said I'm not. But
but
I'm saying that
okay,
what
okay.
Zohan is presenting is not solving the problem though. It's just a disingenuous way to act like you're solving the problem, just like everything else he
I mean,
does.
is
And
he
how is
being
that a
funded
small
and
donation? How is a quarter million
is
dollars a
he
small donation? I've
two
never
hundred
had
and
a
fifty
person
thousand
give
dollars?
me,
What was his total campaign cost?
I think a couple
Because
million.
I guarantee you, $250,000 was not enough to get him elected.
Well, yeah, but it was a couple $1 million, and that's a good chunk of it. But how is
I think it was
250K a
more than that.
small donation? The average American salary is only like 40K. I've never had someone give me a small donation of a quarter million dollars
Well, you
just for
haven't
my
run for
political
office.
beliefs.
You haven't. You're so eloquent, man. I'm sure if you ran for office,
Well, I'm a little
you
bit
too.
more eloquent than Zohan Mandami when he was literally
Yeah,
a YouTube
that's why
rapper.
you're the mayor of New York, right?
Well, he's a
And you,
YouTube rapper.
I
I
corrected
never
you
even
on how to
tried
say
to be the
Zoran
mayor of New
Mamdani
York. I could probably move
multiple
to New
times,
York
and
and
you
be the
still can't
mayor
say his
in
name.
10
Eloquent.
years. I could do it if I wanted to.
You could
But
also
also,
pronounce
once
his
again,
name
I'm not a
correctly.
nepo baby like him. I didn't grow up in a multi-million dollar family with my mom knowing
A
Jeffrey
nepo
Epstein
baby
and
immigrant.
huh?
A nepo baby immigrant. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
there's
you
plenty
think
of
that
nepo
you
baby
think that
immigrants.
nepotism is a problem?
Yes, nepotism is a problem for a lot of people in
Damn. Okay,
politics.
well tell that to Trump.
Not everyone, for a lot of
No,
people.
no, yeah,
If you didn't
tell
work
that
for
to
your
Trump,
money,
Mister. I got a small loan of $1 million.
well, he's worked harder than Zohan, hasn't he?
Oh, okay, okay. So now there's an excuse.
No, I said
Now a
some. I
small
never
loan
said
of a
all of
million
them. I said
dollars isn't.
it is some of the
When was the
problems
last
out
time you
there.
got a small loan of $1 million?
Huh?
When was the last time you got a small loan of $1 million?
When was the last time I got $250,000 small donation?
That's a
Apparently.
quarter of what Trump got from his daddy.
Well Zohan got $250,000 from his buddy.
That's a
Zohan got
quarter
way
of
more
what
than that
Trump
in
got from his
campaign
daddy.
donations. Zohan got millions in campaign donations.
Yeah, and a vast dude. You're trying to compare
They
Zoran
are comparable. Why do you think they
people that
like
are
each other?
dude.
Probably because they're both nepo babies. I don't know.
Dude, conservative races are not run on the basis of small dollar donations.
What?
Progressive campaigns are. They are grassroots movements.
They're
You
not
can look this up.
grassroots root movements.
Look up Christy Burke in Tennessee 01. Look up
Who's that?
she lost, but look up
I was gonna
Christy Burke in
say she
Christy
lost. I don't know who that is. I've been to Tennessee
no,
not too long
Christy
ago.
Burke is still running. Christy Burke is still running.
Well, she's gonna lose though. Tennessee's a red state. There's
Well,
no chance of
yeah,
anyone
probably.
blue going there.
No, probably. But that has nothing to do with what I'm saying. What I'm saying is she only takes small dollar donations.
You told me Zohan only takes small donations. That was $250,000. Oh, apparently he
Christy
had to
Burke did not.
return the two
Christy
hundred
Burke
fifty
did not
thousand
take.
dollars. I don't believe that though.
Christy Burke, Kat Abu-Ghazaleh, and you can name any of the three candidates that were just endorsed by Zoran Mamdani that just won their races. None of the majority of their funding come from smaller donations.
What's a small donation? Is that a quarter million dollars?
No, I would say like under 500.
No, none of them won
The
their
majority,
no
by the
one
way,
wins the
the
campaign
majority of
in
Mamdani,
2026 with $500
even with the
donations.
250,000, the majority of his campaign funding was from small dollar donations.
Who was Zohan?
Zoran, Kat,
The
Christie,
majority of his money was from bigger donations, over a thousand
Bernie Sanders,
dollars. Bernie Sanders is a horrible
Bernie
example of a
Sanders is the
socialist.
father of the progressive movement, and most of his fundraising was from small dollar
And do you
donations. In
think it's
fact, like
okay that he
almost all of it.
preaches? Do you think it's okay that he started preaching about how bad millionaires were in the 1980s, and then when he became a millionaire, he started talking about the billionaires?
Well, I mean, you could adjust that for inflation.
That's a great excuse. But we also have another chatter here. Thank you, Spencer, for the super chat. He said, before 1913, there was no income tax, only tariffs and political projects. No one contributed if they didn't want to, and we led the world.
Yeah,
I
because
think
there's
that's a
no difference.
fantastic job. That's exactly what I've been preaching.
Because there's no difference in the socioeconomic conditions from 1913 to
Was the conditions better back
2026.
then or better now?
Things were a lot simpler back then
Were they
because the
better then, or
population was
was it easier to
smaller,
buy
the
a house back
territory was
then?
smaller.
Was it easier to
Like
buy a house back then? I'm gonna play, devil's
it
advocate
was
like you did to me.
100% easier to buy a house back then. And we should probably go back to, but we're not going back to that time by
Okay, so then why
reverting
earlier
tax.
were you telling me we should go back to the 1950s where they
because
taxed people
because
so
the
high?
way of because the way to go back to those times isn't by reverting taxes. It's by making sure that everybody is getting their fair share of the pie. And
No,
right
that's
now, a
socialism.
very
You
small
don't
select
deserve a
portion
piece of
of the
my pie.
population
I'm
is
sorry.
getting an overwhelming amount of the
Why does
pie.
someone deserve a piece of my pie? Why does someone deserve someone else's money that they bled for, that they
No,
cried
I'm
for,
saying no.
that they
I'm saying
suffered
that
for?
you. I'm saying no because I'm not even talking about you. I have no
I
problem with
know, I'm just saying
billionaires.
in
I
general.
have no
In
problem with
general.
people who have tens of millions of dollars. But the people that are in the very upper echelon that you and I and nobody in chat will ever be in, those people have accumulated an amount of wealth that has put everybody else at an unbelievable disadvantage
How
to
is
the point
Elon Musk
where
putting me at a disadvantage?
there is a finite amount of money in the United States. There's a finite amount
There
of
is
money in the
no,
world.
no, you're wrong. Money is unlimited. It's not finite.
No, okay. Well, then
Gold is known as a
you haven't
finite
taken an
resource.
economics class.
Gold, you
You
you need to take an
there's
economics
an
class.
infinite
They
amount of
can
money, so we
print
can just
money
so
from
let's just
thin air.
so
They're
let's just
printing
print
money
let's
right
just
now
print
as we're
all the money
talking.
in the world, and we can
Yeah,
just
money
have
isn't
everybody be
real.
rich.
The only
Okay,
thing
well
that's
then everybody
finite is
everybody can just be a
resources like
trillionaire. According
gold.
to you, like there's an infinite amount of money in the world, so everybody can just be a trillionaire.
Not everyone's supposed to be a trillionaire. Not everyone can be a
Oh,
trillionaire.
so
No.
so that's why we're not printing the money because they just don't deserve it.
Huh?
Do you really think that just
No,
printing
it's
money
because
doesn't
they don't
affect
bring
the
anything to
economy?
society. It's based on what you bring to society.
Do you think that printing money doesn't affect the economy and the value
It
of the economy?
does. That's why we shouldn't give a bunch of
Okay,
people a
so
bunch of
that's
money.
why there is a finite amount of money because you can't just make more
But it's
money
not
without it
finite.
affecting the
Finite
value of the dollar.
means that it can't be created from thin air. There's only a certain amount of it. That's what finite means. It
Yes,
doesn't.
so you
It means you
can't
can't
create
create
more
more of it. You
value.
can create more
Yeah,
money.
you
Money
can
is
create
not
more money, but
finite.
that doesn't mean that it's going to be worth any more,
Yeah, you're right.
regardless
It,
of how
it
much
hurts the
more you make.
value of it, but it's not finite.
Dude, you are grasping at
So
straws
just
here.
because Elon Musk is a
Just because you can
trillionaire
print
doesn't
more
mean
money doesn't mean anybody is going to be better
Elon Musk
off.
created 4,000 millionaires in
There,
one
okay,
day.
let me rephrase it
Elon
then.
Musk created
There's an
4,000
infinite amount
millionaires
of
in one
paper
day. How
dollars
many
that you can
millionaires did
get.
Zohan Mandami create?
There's not an infinite amount of wealth in the world.
Yes, wealthy people create
There's a
wealthy
finite
people. Other
there's a
wealthy people
finite
make other people
there's
wealthy.
a finite amount of assets that exist in the world.
Yeah, Elon Musk created 4,000 millionaires. How many millionaires did Zohan create?
Uh,
Zero.
Zoran's been Zoran's
Zero.
been in Zoran. Well, number one, Zoran works for the government. Okay, so
Okay?
his
Trump has created
his
hundreds of
his
thousands of
job
millionaires.
Zoran's
Hundreds
job
of
is not
thousands
to
of
make
people have
millionaires.
became
Zoran's job
millionaires.
is to work for the middle class and the lower class and make sure people have basic human
Yeah,
dignity.
and Elon's job is to turn people that work hard, that are very intelligent. Most of these people that became millionaires, they were only ever
And he's
making $40,000 or $50,000
yeah,
a
and a
year, and he gave
sure,
them
I agree.
equity.
Well,
He gave them
yeah,
equity, and he turned them into millionaires.
sure.
How
For
is
a
that
few
not
people, when
good?
you work in the public sector in a very large company, some people are going to get rich. Sure. That doesn't mean that people aren't suffering because there's an accumulation of wealth at the top bracket. And it's way higher than what
Okay, so if
that
Elon Musk wasn't making,
the
let
average
me ask you
salary
this:
of
if Elon Musk wasn't making billions of dollars, then who the fuck would? Some poor guy with no education that doesn't want to work hard?
but people would have basic human dignity. People would be able to
They
go
have
about
basic
their
human dignity. You have
go
basic
about
human dignity when you wake up every day, you get to work, and you come home. You have basic human dignity as long as you're working and not living off welfare and the government. If you're living off the
right,
government, you
right.
have no
Except
fucking
if you
human
except if
decency.
you
You threw away all your values and
except
all
if
your
you end
human
up
decency just
and
because you thought you could take out a
suddenly
handout.
your salary isn't covering the cost of living because cost of living keeps going up. Grocery prices are
Okay,
going
so
up
then
on your
why?
phone.
What led you to make poor decisions? Why didn't that person go to college or think of creating a career for themselves when they were younger?
College prices are going up under Trump as well.
Well, college prices have always been going up. That's a whole nother debate that we could get into. Okay, go get a trade. Trade prices are not going up. Trade prices are
Name me
probably
one.
going down because no one wants to get trades right now. Everyone wants a college education. No one wants to be a plumber.
That's I would say the opposite is true. I mean, I took a trade.
I talked to a lot of people. I mean, that's good that you took a trade, but most of the people I'm talking to, especially on the left side, they're all saying to go out there and get 3 or 4 different kind of liberal arts degrees. Most of the people on the right I see are saying, a trade would be a good idea.
That's a dumbass stereotype.
It,
That's just
it's
you
it's it
thinking
is a
that
stereotype, but it is
everybody
kind
on
of
the left is
statistically
broke and just
accurate.
want to be liberal arts. That is a reduction of the left position. That's fucking
It's
sad,
not
I'll
really a
be
it's not
honest.
really a position. It's just more what I've seen on statistically speaking. I'm sure there's exceptions.
Okay, so statistically, most Democrats are taking liberal arts.
No, not liberal arts. I would say that statistically speaking, someone that's more leftist is more likely to get a college degree than someone that's more conservative. They're
Uh,
more likely to go into a traditional education, probably.
right, but that has nothing to do with whether or not most liberals are taking a liberal arts degree.
Well,
There are
fine. We'll
plenty
take
of
liberal arts
there
degree out of
are
the
people
equation.
that, just like
We'll
myself,
take that out of the
you have one
equation.
right
Maybe that
underneath
was a
you.
little bit unfair to specifically say that, but that was just an example.
Okay.
They don't pay income tax. They hold wealth in stock. Wealth and money are different. You can print as much as you want. We have the greatest standard of living throughout all of human history. That's what his super chat said.
The standard of living should increase as we move forward as a society as a whole. So just because the standard of living keeps improving doesn't mean that there aren't classes of people within that standard of living, and we should always help the people that are here. So if this is like the gap of standard of living
So,
in
what do you think the best
the
way to help the middle class is? Just to by handing them a bunch of money?
uh no, but I think that it is making sure that um, they have that they have children, that their children are taken care of. If they get cancer, that they should have access to healthcare. That housing prices
So,
aren't
give them free
absolutely through the
stuff. You think giving the middle class free
no,
stuff is gonna
no,
is
I'm
gonna
talking
improve their
about
life?
creating policies. No, I'm just talking about creating policies that make these things affordable. I'm talking about just making sure that people have a house, like a roof over their
What
head.
about what
Health,
about letting them keep more of their money so things are more affordable, like less taxes so they can keep more of their money, and then we don't have to give them
oh
anything
yeah,
for free.
yeah,
We wouldn't have to give them
middle class,
anything for if you're making 50,000 a year, you're probably
right?
paying
Middle
between
class,
$3,000 to $5,000 a year in taxes. If you keep that money, that's going to be a big help for your family.
you're right. I think the middle class and the lower class should be taxed less.
Okay, then we agree, but I don't agree on taxing the more wealthy people to give people free stuff.
Okay, so then
I
it's
mean,
just going to come from nowhere.
I think we both agree that healthcare is bad in the United States. People die from not having people die or go bankrupt, whatever,
So
right? Huh?
what's the general Republican fix for the healthcare crisis in the United
Well, I
States?
already told you that we need to make it more of a corporatized system where we open more of a free market so we can bring down the prices with a free market system.
We have Aetna,
That's not free market.
we
We
have
need to take rid of the subsidies away. Because if we get rid of the subsidies, then
the
no one's gonna
subsidies
take the $700.
to the health insurance companies, the subsidies to the health insurance companies.
Yeah, we need to get rid of all those.
Okay, and just let them. So you're saying
Because then no one's gonna buy any
stop bailing
insurances,
out the
and
corporations.
the
You're
insurance
saying.
companies will go out of business unless their prices go down. Because
Saying
no one's
stop
gonna
bailing
buy,
out.
huh?
You're saying stop bailing out the corporations.
The corporate bailing out the insurance companies doesn't really raise the prices. But sure, it depends on the corporation as far as bailouts go. If it's like, if it's like the people that I'm drawing a blank right now. But if it's like Mac and Mac, what is it called? The Mac and the Fannie and Mac loans, like that is kind of like I believe it's like a privatized system with the government, but they give out loans. So if they're giving out loans to people to help with affordable housing or something like that, then that's probably a business that we should bail out, right? Because if it's a benefit for our society, but they're also a private business, or what about an airline company? What if there was only three airline companies left because all the other ones
You're getting
went
real
out of business because the government didn't want to help them, and that's going to cause the airline prices to go way up, and that's going to affect a ton of business owners and the country as a whole. So there's certain
you're getting
businesses that have to be backed by the government.
okay, okay. Are the health insurance companies one of those?
No, I just told you we shouldn't back them out at
Okay,
all. No, we
okay,
shouldn't give them bailouts. We shouldn't give them anything. I agree with
okay.
that.
And
But bail
so
but
you think
bailouts
that
also bailouts don't raise prices though.
I'm waiting for the solution to the healthcare crisis in the United States
I'll give you
because
the
all you've
solution if
said,
you want
the
it.
only thing that you've said so
Okay,
far
get
is
rid of
just
all the
stop.
subsidies, get rid of all the subsidies and let the market, dictate the prices. No one you're going to lose probably about, I don't know. This is just a random guess. Maybe at least over 30% of the insurance policies if they're not subsidized through the government. And that's going to make the prices drop. If no one is buying healthcare because now it costs $2,000 a month because there's no more government subsidies, they're going to have to figure out a way to make it cheaper or they're going to go bankrupt. Is that not
So you're
true?
just saying people should.
I'm
You're
saying
saying
let
a
the
bunch
free
of the
market
policies
take
will
care of
drop.
it.
You're
Huh?
talking
I'm
about
saying let the
people
free
going
market take care of it.
uninsured.
Just like before Obama got into office. Healthcare was only
How's
about
people
100.
going uninsured,
Huh?
bro? What do you mean?
Health insurance
That
was cheaper when
you're
Barack Obama.
literally talking about people dropping their policies, and that's going to make things cheaper.
Well,
But
they
they're
don't have to drop
uninsured,
their policies. It'll probably happen pretty quickly if we turn off the.
right? But then, if somebody's uninsured, then what do they do? How does that makes it worse? Not everybody is eligible for Medicaid and Medicare. There are plenty of people that are not at that age. So essentially, bottom line is you have no answer for the dude. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. A corporation, what is a corporation's main incentive? Would you say that a corporation's main incentive is to generate profit?
Hello, hello, hello. Okay, now they can hear me again. Great.
Okay.
So what was the question again?
Uh, do you think that a corporation's main objective is to generate profit?
Depends on the corporation.
They have a legal obligation to their stakeholders
All
to
corporations are not
generate the
publicly held
maximum amount
companies.
of
They don't
profit.
have
You,
shareholders
you and I
unless they're
agree.
a
You and I
publicly
agree that
listed company.
they are
Huh?
legally obligated to generate profit for their
But they
shareholders,
don't
correct?
have shareholders unless they're a publicly listed company. You realize all corporations aren't on the stock market, right? It's only the ones that
Okay,
are publicly listed.
okay, but
If you're asking me
let's
if
say
a company
okay,
on the
let's say
stock market
that doesn't even matter. Let's say you're a CEO of a healthcare company,
and it's
and
on the stock market, then yes, you have a goal and you have to do it for
so
your
you think that
shareholders.
these are just so according to you, these are just benevolent CEOs who don't really care about the money and they're okay with leaving some
No,
money on
if
the
they're on the
table
stock market, if you're talking about insurance companies, no,
as long
those
as
are
some people's
most
healthcare
I
is
believe those are
covered,
publicly
they're
traded
okay with leaving
companies.
some money on the table.
I believe that they're publicly traded companies, so they have to do it for their
I'm not talking about
shareholders.
publicly traded, privately traded. I'm talking about the people that are at the top making the decisions and are making the money from these health insurance companies, like the guy that just got assassinated by Luigi Mannioni. Um, those kinds of people, are they in it for the money, or are they in it
I
to
think
make
they are in
sure
for the
that
money, but I'm not
people,
going to say all
or do they actually
corporations
care
are there to
about their
make money
clients?
because that would be
Are you
untrue.
naive enough to think that they care more about their clients than they do about the
Yes, I
public?
agree. I don't disagree at all with that, but my point is I don't think all
Then
businesses
why
are
do you
trying to
think that
make much
privatization
profits as
and giving those
possible.
people more power is the answer to the healthcare crisis in the United States?
I'm not going to give them more power. I'm going to give them less power because the majority
You're
of their money
saying
comes from the
deregulate
government.
and
The
create more
majority of their money
private
comes from the government, so I'm going to give them
privatized.
less power by taking away a lot of their money that comes from
Because
taxpayers. How would I be
the
giving them
healthcare
more
system,
power?
we're the only first world country, or one of the only first world countries, with a privatized healthcare system. We're the only, like, one of the only first world countries where medical bankruptcy is a terminology, and you're saying, let's just go
And we're one
further
of
in
the
that
only
direction.
countries where you can become a millionaire in 5 years if you put your head down
It
and
has nothing
do
to
what's
do with
right.
the healthcare crisis. I know you can stay on topic.
Okay, so what is your point? I've already agreed with you
I
on all these
asked you,
points.
oh, I'm not talking about, no, you didn't agree with me. I asked you what
Open the
your,
market for a free market system. Health insurance was only $120 before Obamacare. That's a simple fucking fix. It's not difficult.
do you think that the healthcare system wasn't in crisis before Obamacare?
Well, people were saying it was expensive, but it wasn't. It was affordable, but it was expensive.
We still had medical bankruptcy. We still
We
had
had lower medical
pre-existing.
bankruptcy.
We had people being turned down by the same people that I'm talking about
You
because
can't
of
get turned
pre-existing
down
conditions.
for emergency medical treatments, but we have three chats we
You
didn't read.
100. You do you just think that pre-existing condition denials weren't a thing?
That's for insurance. That's not for treatment.
Yeah. And so
And
what
if
do you
they have
think
a
happens
treatment
when
that's not
somebody's
dire, then
treated
they
and
don't
then
get
they're
the
not
health
in?
care, huh?
What do you think happens when somebody's treated and then they're not insured?
They get
They
sent a
go into
bill.
medical bankruptcy and then they
They
wind
don't
up out on the
file
fucking
bankruptcy
streets.
if the debt's not too high. What the fuck are you talking about? People aren't
They
filing
wind up
bankruptcy
out
for
on the
two
street
thousand
because they're not
dollars,
insured.
huh?
They wind up out on the street because they're not insured.
That doesn't really happen too much.
Or if they have a long-term like care program and it turns out that that family
Speaking
can't pay
about
for that
medical debt,
long-term
which
care,
president
that
made
person
it
just ends
so,
up dying.
huh?
Do, do you think that care do you think that there's never been a case where care has been denied to somebody
I already told you there
because
was, but if it's a
of a
life saving
pre-existing
medical
condition denial?
treatment, no. But here, let me read
People
the three chats that we
100%
have,
have been.
huh?
You're okay. Well, then you just need to look into this more because
Look into
people have
what?
died.
Yes,
You
I
need to
just
look
said
into
they
the fact that
did. I'm sure they have. File
that's a
file
problem,
bankruptcy and
and
move
that's not going
on.
to.
File
So
bankruptcy and
if
move
you
on.
drive it in the same direction that it already is, that's
Huh?
not going to fix the
Bankruptcy
issue.
isn't that bad. Most of the people I know today that are making $500,000 a year or $1 million a year, they all filed bankruptcy before. So join the club with them.
Okay,
Anyway,
that's fantastic.
here we go. We have three super chats. Definitely depends. Banks need bailouts to keep our economy afloat. Do you agree with that?
Banks need bailouts to keep our economy afloat. No,
You don't think we need
I
banks to
think that
keep the economy
no, no.
afloat?
I think banks need regulation.
But
I think
what
that
about bank
I
bailouts? Do you
think that
think we should bail out banks or not?
I think that better regulation would stop them from getting
Regulation is
bailouts in the
another
first.
thing, but do you think we should bail out banks?
Uh, so in the short term, I understand the need for bailing out banks. I understand the need, but in the long term, you 100% should be regulating banks, so that shouldn't have to happen going forward.
Well, it does happen, and no economic system
Yeah,
is
it does
perfect.
happen because we don't regulate banks the way that we're supposed to.
Well, we haven't back in 2008 when that last time happened. But we can get into the bank thing if there's more things you have to say about it. But here's another chat. Graham's solution: get rid of all subsidies, allow the unhealthy poor people to expire. They're not going to expire. Literally, this would probably happen. I mean, this would probably happen within a week's time period. If we got rid of all, if we had millions of people canceling their insurance policies tomorrow, you're going to tell me prices aren't going to drop almost instantly?
Prices are going to go up.
No, prices are going to go down. They're probably going
Do
to
you
go
not
up maybe
understand
temporarily, but if they do go up, they're going to eventually come down because no one's going to pay for it. They're going to lose all their business. They're going to lose
if
all their
they
customers. And really, all we
yeah,
need to do is repeal the ACA and just let the market take care of itself.
the ACA isn't even in effect anymore, yeah? The ACA
Chris
was already
says,
allowed to.
Graham,
It
even if
was
they aren't
the
publicly
ACA was
traded,
already
they still
allowed to
have
lie.
stakeholders. Those are, yeah, but not the majority of them. I mean, they have owners. They don't have shareholders, but they have people that own a stake in the company sometimes. That's true. Principally investors, there is a fiduciary duty to investors. I do agree on that, but not all companies have investors. We're not going to sit here and act like every company has an investor.
Yeah, even your chat knows, man.
I
It's
agree with
it's
that, but not all companies have a investor. 2 out of 3 bankruptcy in the USA are medical. I agree. I never denied that. Google it. I'm sure. Never denied it. You can only file bankruptcy once in 7 years. I never heard of that, but that's cool information. What's this other one? Let's see how many Patriots we got in the comments. Spam the USA flag for the 250 years and many great years to come. Much appreciated for
USA
that.
flag in the chat.
All health insurance companies have investors. I already conceded to the argument that I'm pretty sure every single healthcare company is just doing it for the money and they're doing it for their investors.
Yeah,
Like
and
I,
so
I, I don't even deny
you
that.
conceded to the point, and then you said it should be more in the favor of corporations.
No, I'm
It
saying
should be
take
more
away all their the
proof.
majority of their
And
power. They
corporations
have
have
us
the
by
power,
the
let's give more
balls.
power
You
to them.
realize these corporations have us by the balls? There's no way we can ever
Yes,
lower the
exactly.
insurance
Let's not
prices.
do that
It's
anymore. Let's
impossible.
do
It is
something else.
impossible. It's impossible.
Yeah,
For us to
it's
get free
impossible
healthcare,
to have a good
our
healthcare
taxes would have
system
to be
when the
raised about
primary
20%.
motivation to treat people is profit.
Huh?
It's impossible to have a healthy healthcare system when the primary motivation is profit.
Yeah. That's why we
Okay,
have the most medical
okay,
innovations out of any
so
country in the
now
world.
you
We have the best medical equipment. We have the best medical
because we're
care.
the
We
wealthiest
just don't
country in
have the
the
best
world. That
health
has nothing
care.
to do with whether or not we have that
We don't
has
have the
nothing to do
best
with whether
health
or not
care, but we have the
people
best
have
health
access to
system.
that. People go bankrupt getting those treatments.
Sure. I agree. What do you
Sure,
want me to
okay,
say?
right.
Boo
Boo
fucking who?
bankruptcy,
People go
everybody else
bankrupt
does.
every day. You don't care about their family and their livelihoods and their
I'm the
businesses.
one trying to make sure that they have that level of basic dignity.
Basic dignity? What fucking basic
I don't want
dignity?
anybody to go bankrupt for any reason in this country.
Okay? What do you want me to do about it? We don't live in a perfect
Not well.
world. People are going to
I,
go
what I want you
bankrupt.
to do is stop running the government and let people who actually give a shit about the lower and middle class start running the government for
No, I
us.
don't want poor people to steal people's money. No, that's not going to happen and that's
Yeah,
not what's going to
all your
happen.
problems coming from the bottom ends.
Huh?
Not the elites, not the corporations.
No,
It's all
the
brown people.
elites
It's
and the
all poor people.
corporations just make me a fuck
If it
ton of
wasn't for the poor
money.
people, I'd be so much better off.
Huh?
If it wasn't for the poor people and the
I'm
brown
still
people, I'd be so
waiting
much
for you
better
to
off.
tell me how the corporations are hurting me. This computer I'm using right now by $1 billion corporation. This camera, $1 billion corporation. This YouTube platform, $1 billion corporation. This hat, this everything that you see on camera is by $1 billion corporation. Everything in my
Yeah.
house is $1 billion
Okay.
corporation from $1 billion corporation. When I
By
invest
the
in
way,
stocks, I make money with billionaires. How are billionaires bad? How are they hurting me? All because they won't give me their money? All because they make money, I can't make money? Obviously, we see people making money helps other people make money. That's how basic capitalism works.
yeah. Except it's
That's the great thing about the system. When other people make money, more millionaires will be made. How many millionaires
so
were made by Elon Musk on his launch of his stock? 4,000. 4,000
man.
millionaires made, all because one individual decided to give equity to his employees and put
So so
the stock on the publicly traded stock market.
yeah. So you're so close to the point, man. Think about like a company like the one that made your
A company doesn't owe
computer.
me anything.
Well, I, let me make my
If they
point.
don't owe me
So
anything, how are they? How is it bad?
yeah. I just let you make that whole point. Let me make my point. So think about the company that makes your computer, or like you said, your monitor or your cell phone, or the corporation that you go to, Walmart maybe to get your groceries. Um, yeah. So the corporation itself is not the problem. The problem with the corporation is the concentration of wealth. So there are a lot of
No, there's no
people that
problem. If they didn't have concentration
there
of
is a
wealth, they couldn't
there
have
is
made my
absolutely
computer
concentration of
screen.
wealth at the top of that ladder,
So what's wrong with
where
that?
all of the people that are doing all the vast majority of the work are being underpaid and
Like who?
cannot afford a
Like
home,
who?
while the people at the
Who does
top
the vast
are
majority of the
are
work? Give me an
are
example. Give
they're
me an
still
example.
Elon Musk, the Waltons,
The
the
average
Gates,
person working for Elon Musk is making
Mark,
$100,000 a
Mark
year.
Cuban,
So that's a horrible
uh,
example. Try again.
Mr. Brilliant. I just gave you like 8 examples.
All those people you named, the majority of their employees make into the mid six figures. The majority of them, at least six
You
figures
think
a year.
you think the Waltons? You think the Waltons, the majority of Walmart
You can make
employees,
six
make it
hundred
6 figures?
$71,000 a year working as a Walmart
Walmart
regional
employees?
manager, as a manager
Walmart
for
employees
Walmart.
are making 600,000,
No,
six
no, they're
figures a
part-time
year.
employees. There's high school students working there.
Full-time employees, you think they're making 6 figures a year?
Sorry, what?
Walmart employees, you think they're
If they've
making
been
six
working
figures a
there
year?
for 10 or 15 years, they should have moved up the corporate ladder. They should be making six figures a year.
Bro, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the middle and lower class.
So the people that are just working part-time jobs,
No, the people that are working full-time jobs.
do I think they're making.
Do you think that as soon as you start working 40 hours that suddenly you're working at Walmart 40 hours a week and you're making 6 figures suddenly?
No, I said you have to climb up the
Okay,
corporate
well then
ladder. It
what the
takes a
hell are
couple
you talking
years.
about?
You have to climb up the corporate ladder. That's why corporations are so great.
Right, but not there's hundreds of not everybody is
So
going to
basically,
be
let me get this
in
straight.
management.
Because Walmart has a part-time employee that's a high school student that's making
I'm not talking
$15 an
about
hour.
an
They're
employee. I'm
evil.
talking about
They're giving
full-time
people
employees.
jobs. If they didn't like the $30,000 a year salary Walmart
I'm
offered them,
talking
then
about
why don't they
full-time
go into
employees, brother.
IT or why don't they get a degree and go work for another field and make more money? You don't even need a
Actually,
degree. You can make more money doing something else.
a degree to 4-year college costs
I
potentially
said you don't
fifty
even need a
thousand,
degree.
100,000
You don't
in
even
total.
need a degree today to make six figures. You can literally be a truck driver and you can make six figures. Go get your CDL license.
Right, so just nobody should work at grocery stores
No,
because
they should.
the
That's
whole
what I'm saying. Not everyone's supposed to be rich. Not everyone wants to be rich. Some people are okay with the minimum wage.
right, and I don't think no, and I by the way, I agree with you. I agree with you that not everybody needs to be rich, but everybody deserves to be able to pay rent if they're working 40 hours a week, and a lot of people in this country
So
can't.
you think a McDonald's employee in the state of New York
And
or in
McDonald's
the
employees working 40 hours a week should be able to pay rent, and if they have a medical emergency, they should be able to pay for it.
so that means a New York City McDonald's employee is probably going to have to make about, and some areas are more expensive. So would you say you could argue that they would have to make $7,000 to $8,000 a month since they're living in New York City?
Uh, yeah. I mean,
So you think a
yeah,
McDonald's employee should make $87,000 a year? So how much should a truck driver make then?
a lot, but I would
So
say that
everyone's salary should go up. A McDonald's employees should go up. A truck drivers and
I
salary should go
yeah,
up. What's gonna happen to the economy when everyone's salaries goes up at once?
so you're cherry picking a particular state to make a point, and I
It can be
understand
any
why you
state
would
you
do that.
want. What about
Kansas.
California? What about Florida? Okay,
No, Kansas.
should they
Let's do
make
Kansas.
5 grand a month in Florida? Because I would say that's the
So
average
people,
cost of living.
I don't think that there's anybody in Kansas, Alabama, any of the
Should a
southern states,
McDonald's employee make 5 grand a month for working
pick your
40
favorite red
hours a
state. You
week?
can do
Do they
Austin,
deserve
Texas.
that?
People who work 40 hours a week 100% should be able to pay their rent.
So it doesn't matter
Are
if
you
the
saying that that's not the case? Do you think that there are some people, you're saying that there are some people who work 40 hours a week who should not be able to pay their rent?
yes, if you're working at McDonald's, I don't think you deserve five
Okay,
thousand dollars a
you
month.
heard it here first, Cal. 40 hours a week just isn't enough anymore. Even though in the 50s and
No,
60s
working
and
at
70s,
McDonald's, no. Working at
they could
McDonald's,
work
no.
like
That's a
20 hours
job
a
for
week
a
and
high
still go
school
to college and
student.
buy a house.
That's a
Now,
entry
like
level
40 hours
job.
a
That's a
week, you need to
very
pay a
well
college.
known job. That's for people just entering the job market.
It wasn't in the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
It was always an
No,
entry
it
level
wasn't.
job.
They
You
were
could
going to
never
college right
afford to
now.
live off
Plus the
McDonald's. Never
plus the
ever. You
cost of
can look it up
housing, plus the cost
yourself.
of college
You could
taxes.
never afford a house on a McDonald's salary.
You could afford a house in general, and you could afford college in general.
Well, college used to be cheaper, and
That
college
stuff
got
has
expensive
ballooned.
because of all
That
these
has stuff
loans from
has
the federal
ballooned
government. But
because of the concentration of wealth in this country.
what does someone's concentration of wealth have to do with anything? People become millionaires all day, every day.
Yeah, less back then than they are now.
Less, more now. That's what I'm saying. There's more
Yes, more
concentration.
now.
Wait. There is
More
more
now.
concentration of
That's what
wealth.
happens. If there's
Wait.
more millionaires, billionaires, and trillionaires, that means that more
So
of the
more
money,
people are
more of the
getting
wealth, more of
wealthy,
the
and that's
assets
bad
are
to
going
you?
to
More
the
people
top.
making money, that's evil to you? The fact that more people are
No, but
not
I think that
staying middle
more people
class and more
making
people are
less money,
becoming millionaires, that's bad.
more
Is
people are
isn't that
making
isn't that
less money.
good?
You are just not grasping this.
You're just
If
not
if
grasping it.
if
If
there's
more
more
millionaires are
people
made, is
making a
that
ton of
not good?
money, then there is also more people making less money.
No. For someone to make $1 million,
Yes.
it doesn't mean someone has to make less money. Everyone. Wait, let me ask you this: do you think anyone that puts their head down, it might not happen in 5 years, it might take 10 years, it might take 20 years, but do you think anyone in America that wants it enough can be a millionaire?
Yes.
Okay, so then what's the
Yeah.
problem?
Yeah,
No one's
well,
stopping
no,
them.
no,
The
no.
billionaires
I
aren't
would say,
holding them back.
maybe I like in the vast majority of cases, I would say that most people can be a millionaire, but I think there are some people who don't have that opportunity. I think there are some people that we need to help
I would
because they
disagree
are in
because there's
situations
people that come from
that
villages
you
in
and I will
Africa in
never be able to
starving
understand.
conditions that become billionaires. There's people that have done it
Uh,
before.
Sure, yeah, and
So poverty can't keep you down if
is
you
that
really have the
would you say that
willpower.
that's an unusual case? Would you say that that's an unusual case
I would say
for
it's it's
somebody
it's
for
less
somebody to
likely in
be
Africa.
in
Yes, I
poverty,
would say it's
starving
less
conditions
likely to
and
become a
then
millionaire in
become a
Africa.
billionaire?
Huh?
Would you say that it's an unusual case in the United States for somebody to go from poverty to a billionaire?
To a billionaire or a millionaire?
Yeah.
What do you mean unusual?
Un outside of the norm. Statistically unlikely.
Statistically unlikely to be a billionaire?
From poverty.
I mean, it's statistically for something to be statistically unlikely. That means it would have to be like less
Yes.
than 50% chance. So yes, there's less than a 50% chance. I would say
Okay, well, it's probably
a lot smaller,
a
probably like a zero
lot
point zero
lower
zero
than
zero one
50.
percent. But
I think, yeah,
exactly, so
okay.
it's a
Okay.
it's
So we
rare.
don't have to worry about
Hmm?
that. I'm talking about the majority of people who are in those situations.
Okay, 1 out of 10 Americans in the state of Florida
We
are
should take care
millionaires.
of the people that are at the bottom who are in
Why can't they
poverty
take care of
and
themselves? Did you ever think about that?
medical
Did you ever think?
unlike
Did you
you and
have you
I,
ever considered
like I took
maybe
a
the
trade.
best way to help
It seems
people is
like you're
help
trying
them
to do
help
this YouTube thing. That's
themselves?
fantastic. But you and I have privileges of, hopefully you're like I'm healthy, hopefully you're healthy. But you and I have privileges and we don't have this kind of,
I agree. We
cancer
should
or
help the
medical
sick.
bankruptcy where like
We
something
should help people
awful
that are
in our
sick and
lives
that people
happens.
that are disabled. That's why I want to take money away from the lazy and give it to the people that are sick and needy, not the lazy. If the
Right, but
welfare
the
system
way
was
to
up to
do
me,
that
I would kick
is
probably tens
the
of
way
millions
to
of
do
people
that is
off
through
welfare and
social
give it to actual
programs.
poor
You're
veterans that
getting
are
so
sick.
you're getting closer and closer to socialism every
No,
time,
I'm
man.
not socialist at all. The thing, I'm fine with helping people. I'm fine with giving to people as long as we take away from the people that are stealing our money, that are abusing the system, and that are just lazy. But here we go. We have a couple chats here. I personally don't think giving my money to pay for other people's problems is something I can get behind. If you're making a moral argument, then nothing stops you from helping the needy. It shouldn't be a legal obligation. Obligation, sorry.
Uh, I so
I agree, but
every time someone calls 911 and the police responds, you're paying for that. So you're paying for somebody else's problem. And I don't think that that chatter has
we're
ever
paying for our
complained.
community's
I
problems.
don't think that that chatter has ever complained about having to pay for somebody else's 911 call.
I'm gonna just let him respond to that one. But because we have two more chats after that too. Rent is something you have power over. Just move or decrease your standards on where you live. That's what the same
Just
chatter said.
Yeah, just move. Okay. So where maybe you have family in the area, but the rent is too expensive there, so you have to move away from your family. That's a
Well, why can't
fantastic
your family move
system.
with you?
Yeah, because everybody's family is just going to move along with them.
Well, if it's unaffordable and
There's
there's better
hundreds of
living
millions of
somewhere
people.
else.
Everybody's situation is different. We should be able to account for everybody's situation. We should be able to help everybody.
Someone says, "Bro, I know there's some fucking Walmart manager in here eating spam and sweating, roasting socialism." Well, that man would be right. That man would be 100% justified. I mean, I don't like spam personally, but I've seen plenty of wealthy people eat spam before. Japanese
Spam's
people love
actually
spam.
that's pretty good. Spam gets a bad rap, man.
Let's see. Or just live the way you afford. That's not even a super chat. That's just someone in the chat saying that. But don't have enough money, libtard. Just have more. I mean, what else can you do if your bills are too, or if you're complaining about the prices? What else can you do other than just move, make more money, or cut your expenses? I mean, it's so
Uh,
like funny to
create
laugh and say,
the
oh, you're
other
just
thing
gonna
that you
tell
can do is
everyone to make
create
more
social
money.
programs
I'm not even gonna try
the
to say
lower
that, huh?
the other thing that you can do is create social programs that help the lower and middle class, that
Why not
help
just
people
create
with their
programs that educate people on how to make money instead of just giving them a fuck ton of money? Or what about creating, a way to what about creating a program that creates more jobs? Or what about creating a how about this? How about this? Here's a great idea. We'll start this.
I
You know
agree
how
we
they
should
have
invest in education. We
huh?
don't do that enough currently. I agree we should invest in education. We don't do that
Okay,
enough
I have a
currently.
great idea for welfare. We can do your idea, but only on one single condition we can do it. Every single person in all these welfare programs, you want them to have free housing, free food, all
No, I
this
don't.
stuff.
I
Whatever
want them to
basic
have a
necessities you think they deserve, they can get welfare on one single condition. If they apply for welfare, they have to work for the state government to do some kind of job. Like, you know how prisoners shovel and clean up trash off the highway? They
you're
should be
creating a
forced to
straw man.
clean up trash
You're
off the
creating
highway if they're going to receive welfare. You have to make every single one of them
creating a
work.
straw man of my arguments.
No, it's
I
it's an
never said
argument. It's
they
an
should get
argument
free
I'm making.
housing.
I'm not
I never
trying to say you made this argument. I'm saying I'm making this argument, and
Oh,
it's a good
okay.
argument because if you think they should receive all this welfare, I'll be perfectly fine with it. They just have to work 50 hours a week at these state-run facilities.
I mean, so you're saying let's set up a situation where people get free housing and free
No, I'm
healthcare
saying if someone
and
gets fired from their job, instead of just sitting on your ass and receiving unemployment, we'll let you receive unemployment, but we're going to put you at any random job we want to according to your resume, and you're going to have to work there until you're off unemployment and you find a job you like. But until then, you're going to be working at this job while you're
that's fucking
receiving
awesome.
unemployment.
That's awesome, man. I fucking love that shit.
Well, shit, then we can get all these lazy fuckers off of it. We're going to see a lot less people receiving
I
welfare when they
guarantee
find
you,
out
I
they have to
guarantee
work
you, a
for it.
system like that, I guarantee you, a system like that is going to help a lot of people, and it's
We're
you're
going
gonna
to cut
find that
half of all
there's
of
a
our
lot of people
welfare.
that you think are lazy that would actually take you up on that.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are people that would take that offer and that would love it. But
Most of the people that you think are lazy probably are just gonna take you up on that, and you're gonna find that they're not as
well,
lazy
that
as you
would be
think they
great.
are.
I would be happy with that. But that's the only way I'm okay with Zohan Mandami doing a city ran grocery store.
John Mondani.
Yeah, whatever. As long as he makes them work for that free food or that cheaper food, then I'm fine with it. But he has to make them work some way for somehow. They have to work for it. That's all I want is them to work in some kind of way to receive the money.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still for the other social programs, but if you wanted to make like a situation where
Oh,
you know
free
people
healthcare.
get
If you want free healthcare, that's
free
gonna have
healthcare
to
and free
you're
housing
gonna
in
have to
return
work
for
another
working,
20 hours a
that
week for that. I would add a little bit more work, and it's gonna have to be more than 50 hours a week if you want free healthcare. At least 60. At least 60.
six, 60 hours for free healthcare and free housing.
Well, yeah, we'll do nine to
Yeah,
five, 7 days a week.
cool. I'm pretty sure every democratic socialist
Saturday,
in the
Sunday, no
United
days
States would
off.
probably agree with you. So I think we're finding a little bit of common ground, and you're starting to get the point.
Well, it's never
You're
gonna
starting to get the
happen.
point that the point is to help people.
Yeah, I already told you I'm fine with helping them. I'm just not gonna help people that are not gonna contribute anything back to the country or back to me or back to whoever's helping them.
Okay. Well, I think that you're going to find that the people who don't want to help, the lazy, entitled people that you think are just a plague on society, are fewer and far between than you think they are.
Well, but you do recognize they exist. I'm not saying they're the majority, but you do recognize that they
No, but we
exist.
don't. But we don't adjust for the lowest, for the worst people in
Well,
society.
we do for everything else. We
We do
make
we
our
do
speed limit for the
we do what's
stupidest
best for the
drivers.
majority of people.
No, we make pretty much all of our laws based on the stupidest people in society. Like the speed limit. The speed limit
Right,
isn't
but
40 miles per hour because I don't know how to drive. It's 40 miles per hour because the next idiot on the road doesn't know how to
no, it's
drive.
40 miles per hour because scientific research says that 40 miles per hour in that particular
What
area
scientific
uh,
research?
you understand that they don't just throw numbers onto speed limit
They
signs
do some
willy nilly.
research,
Like
I agree.
they don't just make, yeah. No, they do studies.
Well, it took them a long time to finally raise the speed limit over here. They raised it by 10 miles per hour, and that took like 20 years
Right,
of
because they
them
have to do a
finally
survey.
realizing the
They have
flow
to
of
do a
traffic
survey of
was
the
much
average speed
faster.
that cars are driving along a freeway. So
Yeah, I agree.
they, yeah, so just like with every other situation, they're accounting for the broad majority of society and looking at what is the broad majority of society, what is their lived experience, and then they create a policy based around that.
Well, here we go. We have
So your speed limit thing is
my speed
just
limit thing
going
is
in my head.
perfect. That's exactly what's made
Yeah,
for the dumbest
it is perfect for
drivers.
me.
The dumbest drivers. That's why they.
It's not based on the dumbest
Yes,
drivers
it
though.
is. Why do you think we have all these fucking
It's
rules? Because of
based
the
on an
dumbest of the
aggregation of
dumbest.
statistics that they
So you're telling
do
me
when
I
they
can't drive at 120 miles per hour flawlessly?
depends on the road. If it's like a winding, curving road, like on a cliffside, then I would say
I
you
agree,
probably
but
can
these
get up
rules
to
aren't
20
for
miles
the
per hour.
safety of me. They're for the safety of the worst drivers because the best
No,
drivers
they're
don't
for the
make any
safety of you
mistakes.
and everyone around you.
No, they're not for my safety at all because I've driven 120 miles per hour plenty of times and I never crashed. So it's obviously not for my safety.
Brother, you are not driving down a winding road on a cliffside at 120 miles an
You
hour
could, depends what
without
kind of car you're in, but I
you.
never said a cliffside. You're just adding stuff to
Dude,
my
watch
story.
this conversation back.
I
Some of the
never
shit
said
that you say
cliffside. Who
is
mentioned
crazy.
cliffside? I live in Florida. There's
I
no
mentioned
cliffsides.
Cliffside. I mentioned it.
I don't remember it. I was reading this
Yeah.
chat to be fair. He responded
Okay,
to
go
your
ahead with the chat.
911 comment. He said, "When I pay for
Yeah.
911, it's something I can benefit from and makes a net positive impact. That's different from than giving illegal alien immigrants hotel rooms and money because those things aren't a net positive."
I'm really curious how, if I call 911 when somebody breaks into my house, how that chatter benefits
Because it
from
takes another
police.
criminal off the street that he's not going to have to deal with. That's a really simple, easy
If
question to
he's across the
answer.
country, like
Yes, that criminal
there's
across the
911
country
calls
can
happening
easily come
all
across
across
the
the country.
country. Yes, yes. Because people travel, every single day, people are going to different cities, different states, everywhere. So yes, one removing one criminal out of our country or putting him in prison is a betterment for our society as a whole.
Yeah. And do you think
Silence.
that in
Go ahead.
go ahead with the chat
No, this guy's name is
question?
Silence. He says, Graham, that's a great idea. People want to work. I know you want to work. I know some people want to work, but that's what I
Most
would
people
do
want to work.
if you wanted these social programs so
I think
badly.
most people are like you and me, they want to work.
Someone said Zohan Mandami is Epstein's son.
That's weird.
I don't,
That's
I
crazy
don't
weird.
see any evidence for
Especially
that,
that's weird.
but that is a rumor.
Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. If we want to talk about Epstein's son, I mean, there's only one person that's been named in the Epstein files a million
And
times.
that's
So
Hakeem Jeffries and him receiving a
that's
quarter million dollars from.
That's Donald John Trump.
Did Jeffrey Epstein fund Donald Trump's campaign, or was that Hakeem Jeffries?
Uh,
That was
so if
Hakeem
you're
Jeffries.
talking
Okay.
about the Epstein files, like if we're talking about you're talking about Hakeem Jeffries and the
Who's?
Epstein files.
Yeah, he's in the Epstein files. Google search it right
Yeah,
now.
that's totally fine. By the way,
Is it totally fine that he
I
received a
think
$250,000 in 2019? Do you
if
like Hakeem
anyone
Jeffries? Let's start there.
if anyone is implicated in the
Why
Epstein
wouldn't it
files,
be the guy that received money after he was
including
convicted?
Hakeem Jeffries, including Bill Clinton, including Hillary
No,
Clinton,
obviously it's the person
anybody,
that
I
did
don't care
business.
who they are, I am honest enough to say I would bury them under the fucking jail.
Well, you shouldn't unless
I
you
would
have evidence of a
bury
crime.
them under the jail. The difference between you and me is like who I don't think that somebody who I couldn't trust my children around should be the president of the United States.
The difference between me and you is I don't make allegations or come to conclusions without facts or evidence first.
I have facts and evidence,
What
so if
facts?
you
What
want it,
evidence? Send it over.
okay. So
Where's the
is it
videos
true
of
or is
Trump? Where's the videos and pictures of Trump in the act? Do you have those? Send them over.
he admitted to sexual
No, he didn't.
deviancy himself?
No, he didn't. He would be
Okay,
in jail if he did.
so Okay, no, well, he's not,
That's
unfortunately.
because he didn't admit to
Um,
it. But we
okay,
got
so
130
no,
likes in here. Let's get them up a little bit. Let's get to 150.
hit the like button, team. So is it true or is it not true that Donald Trump went on Howard Stern and said that he would go into the dressing rooms
Of a business that he
of
owned to make sure that no one was getting
yeah
abused or
of a
harmed. Yeah,
teenage
yeah.
pageant and inspect it. He said in air quotes, inspect it, and there's all of these incredible looking women. Some of them are as young as 14 years old. Would you, let me ask you this, would you want your daughter to have been in that dressing room when he went in there?
I mean, if you have you ever been to a beauty pageant before?
Would you want your
Have
daughter
you
to
ever
have
been to
been
a
in
beauty
that?
pageant
Would you have
before?
I'll answer your question, but answer my question first. Would you have wanted your daughter to be naked in that dressing room when Donald Trump went in there and inspected it and then later said that their bodies were incredible?
That would be sending your daughter to any beauty pageant because that's what happens at every single beauty
Yeah,
pageant.
no, it's
That's
not.
why.
Not
What
not
a
every beauty
beauty
pageant
pageant is
organizer
about
says
a
that the
woman's beauty.
bodies
You're telling me
of
there's
their
not women.
naked
You're
pageant
telling me there's
goers
not
are
14
incredible.
year. You're telling me there's not 14 and 15-year-old girls
I
being
dude,
looked at
never
by
have
grown
kids. Never
men,
have kids.
huh?
I truly hope you never have kids.
Are you ever gonna have kids? Are
I have kids.
do you have kids?
Yeah.
You don't know if I have kids, and I wouldn't
I have
disclose if I did,
okay,
huh?
okay. Well,
And it
I'm
wasn't in a
assuming
dressing
I mean
room. It
you
was
look
in the
pretty young.
backstage.
You look
Look it
pretty young.
up.
I'm assuming you
It
don't,
wasn't
but
in
I
the
mean
dressing rooms, by the way. It was backstage. But go ahead.
he
Look it
said
up. It was in the
he said in
backstage,
the
not in the
dressing rooms,
dressing
and he said,
rooms.
"Wait, you want to look up
That's what the chatter
the
said. He
quote
paid
design?"
$5 to tell you that, so I believe it.
He okay, so he paid $5. It's the internet is at your fingertips. He literally said
That he
that he
told you to
went
look it
in
up himself. He
and
told you to look it up.
he inspected the dressing rooms and that these
Well,
women were
according to
naked,
them,
some of them as
he
young
was
as
in the
14 years old.
backstage, and they were there.
Why is Donald Trump looking at the naked bodies of 14-year-old girls
He
and then later
wasn't.
going on Howard
He
Stern and
wasn't.
saying that they have incredible bodies?
He wasn't. Once again, you're just making shit up from thin air.
I genuinely am not.
You're
That
genuinely not.
I'm genuinely not. And in
You
fact,
are.
now, yeah,
You
now we're gonna look
100%
at it.
are. You
Okay, well
100%
now
are.
we're
And
gonna
you're
look it
telling
up.
me that Ashley Biden didn't shower with her dad at 15 and 16 years old and report sexual abuse? You're telling me Joe Biden doesn't have multiple people, women accusing him of rape? You're telling me that
I'm
Hakeem
going
Jeffries
to
didn't receive $250,000? You're telling me that Democrats don't pass bills in the state of California the transgender minor children cut their penises off? You're telling me Democrats don't pass laws in states for abortion so they can abort those babies and use those babies' blood in their body for whatever scientific purposes they want? For drinking the
bro,
blood or blood
okay, I was looking
infusions
this
or
up and you just went
any of
on like
that
a whole
stuff. And you
you just
think
went on
all
a
that's
whole
okay. That's actually proven with actual fucking evidence and not a single word out of your mouth about Democrats cutting
because
off
yeah, because I was
11 and
looking up
12-year-old penises.
because I was looking up Donald Trump's Howard
So you
Stern
were too busy looking at some interview that was all laugh and jokes to actually notice the Democrats were cutting off
okay, so
11
do
and
you make
12-year-old
jokes about looking at
penises.
naked underage girls
No, he
yourself?
never said that. Is it
Is that a
laughing
joke?
jokes when
Is that a
Democrats
joke?
kill
It
unborn babies?
100%
Is it
is.
laughing jokes when the Democrats have aborted of
Anybody in
Generation
chat will tell
Z?
you that that is 100% what happened. He went on
Someone
Howard
just paid
Stern. He said
$5
that
to
he
tell
went
you
into
you
the
were
changing
wrong. What
room,
do you mean anyone in
inspecting the
chat will
changing
tell you
room,
you're
and that
wrong?
he can get away with
How
that
do you feel about abortion? Do
because
you think
he's
it's
the owner
okay
of
to
the
kill
pageant.
children? Do you think it's okay to kill
Why do you think
babies?
he said that he would get away with it?
Well, Democrats kill babies every day and they get
Why,
away
dude?
with it.
Stop changing the subject.
Democrats
Answer
kill
the question
babies
because
every
you don't
day
want
and
to
they
answer
get
the
away with it.
question
And they have a
because it's
smile on their face,
devastating.
just like the smile
Because
you have on your
you're
face
covering
now.
up for a pedophile now.
No, because your whole party is the pedophile party. You cut off 11 and 12-year-old penises, you kill babies, you have Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton drinking aborted baby blood. You have Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton going to court for the Jeffrey Epstein trial. The
I
Democrats
love
refuse to
this. I
prosecute
am
them.
so glad you went completely off the
Multiple,
rails there.
multiple convicted PDF files you're
Yes, dude.
supporting.
Vladimir Clinton. It's Count Dracula, but Count Clinton.
Oh, so you admit it?
Just
Your Democrat Party is
drinking
full of
blood, bro. Yeah,
baby
just
murdering,
drinking the
blood
blood of
sucking
babies.
vampires. So you admit to it then. You admit to it, and you even think it's
That's great.
funny. You even admit
No,
to it. You
I
think
do
it's
think it's
funny that
funny
your
because
whole. You think it's funny
dude,
that Democrats kill
you might
babies.
as well put on like a
This guy
tinfoil
thinks
hat and
that
go
it's
watch
funny
Alex
that
Jones,
Democrats
man.
abort babies
You
and
might as
kill
well put
them.
on a
He
tinfoil
thinks
hat
it's
and go watch
funny.
Alex Jones.
He thinks it's funny. It's
Well,
not
I
Alex
do think
Jones.
it's
It's the
funny
truth.
because
Are babies not being
you're
aborted?
saying that Bill Clinton in the year of our Lord 26, you're saying that Bill Clinton drinks the blood of
Well,
babies.
that's according to the Epstein files. I thought we are supposed to believe everything in there.
Show me where it says that. Show
Look
me
up
where
the
in the
drinking of
Epstein files where
children
it
blood
says
in the
that
Epstein
Bill
files.
Clinton
Take a
drinks the
long
blood
look
of
at that.
babies.
Take a
What?
quick Google search. Look up drinking blood Epstein files. You'll see
Brother,
that
why
that's
am
what
I
they
gonna
were
look that up
doing.
when you want to talk over me when I took 2 seconds to look up a very basic fact about Donald Trump in the
What
dressing
very
room?
basic fact that he doesn't
The
support
very
killing
basic
babies and
fact that he
aborting them
admitted to
like
going
you?
into the dressing rooms with underage naked
At
girls
his
and calling their
business.
bodies incredible.
He did not call their bodies incredible.
He literally used
You're
the
just
word
making shit
incredible
up now.
verbatim.
Okay, and Barack Hussein
Verbatim.
Obama said that he likes 13-year-old
Hussein
penis.
Obama.
Barack Hussein Obama admitted on camera that he likes 13-year-old penis. I mean, if we're just gonna make
Really,
shit up
like
now, then
dude,
let's just make
I would
shit
love to
up.
see, I would
We
love to see a
can if you
video of that.
like. If that's what
Yeah,
you enjoy,
show me, dude.
sure.
I will change my mind on Obama right now if you show me a video where Obama says, "Hey, I like
I will change
13-year-old
my
penis."
mind on Trump right now if you can show me a video of him talking about how
Okay,
amazing
we'll
a
trade.
naked 14-year-old's
I'll show
body
you
is.
yours
You
if you
can't.
show.
You're full of fucking
I'll show you mine
shit.
if you show me yours, man.
No, I'm not homosexual. I don't participate in those kinds of activities.
Okay. Anyway, fine. Look for the video.
All illegal immigrants cross our border illegally. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. That was straight from the comment section.
Oh, okay. Fantastic, Cheddar.
But what do you think about abortion in general? Is that something that you support? Or are you
Uh,
more of a guy that only supports it if it's grape?
uh. So I'm not for all abortions.
Only for grape.
Uh, I would say that would be one of the exceptions, and I think there are some other exceptions.
Like what, to save a woman's life?
To save a woman's life. If they
Okay, so
have,
86% of abortions are done for convenience.
are you for abortions in the case of like an ectopic pregnancy?
An ectopic pregnancy, is that when a woman's gonna die?
That is when the birth is taking place outside of the uterus.
No. I'm not against aborting it. I mean,
Oh,
I'm
you're
against
not against
aborting it. No, I'm against aborting it because
You're
there's
against
synthetic
aborting
wombs.
an
Yes,
ectopic pregnancy
yes, because there's synthetic
in
wombs
front
now.
of everybody.
Yes, there's synthetic wombs now. Have you not seen them? That's one way they've been keeping the babies alive that these mothers have been ripping out of their uterus. They've been putting
So
them in fake uteruses, and it turns out all fucked up. It's some kind of evil fucking science, truly. I don't know if
you're
it's actually
against
been done scientifically or not, but that's what I
it's
saw.
I can almost assure you that that is science fiction.
You're telling me they didn't try to use an artificial uterus to make aborted babies survive?
In the case of an ectopic pregnancy, I'm quite sure that the answer is no.
Here, let me Google search it. Ectopic pregnancy. Either way, less than 20 women a year die. An ectopic pregnancy
Just a
occurs
toss
when
of
a
business, right?
fertilized egg implants outside the uterus. Let's see, is there any way they can fix it? Let's see. Is there any medical solutions for it? Medical solutions. Maybe there are some medical solutions. I don't know too much about it, so it's probably not something I can speak on.
But your immediate answer
Oh,
before
here we
even
go.
searching
Here's
it
some
was
here's
just to
some
say no.
I don't really know too much about this, but here's something from an actual woman. She says, "Dude, an atopic pregnancy is not considered an abortion, you fucking moron." That's what she said.
Wait, what?
She says it's considered an abortion when it's a topic pregnancy, not when it's an atopic pregnancy. And she's calling you a fucking idiot.
I would have to see the chat. It seems like she's
Well,
splitting hairs.
apparently
I'm
an
talking.
atopic
I
pregnancy isn't an abortion because it's like a birth defect or something. It's like something that happens naturally and the baby dies. Apparently, I don't know too much about it.
Right, but there are people who are against medical procedures to prevent those kinds of pregnancies because they view it as
If
an
the
abortion
baby's
because
gonna,
they're
that's
ignorant.
not a, huh? That's not an abortion. The baby would have
I
died
I
anyway.
agree. I agree with you. I
So how
agree.
does this have anything to do with abortion? It literally doesn't. It's not an abortion. It has nothing to do with abortion.
I agree with
Other
you,
than,
but there are people in the goddamn Senate and in the goddamn House who would disagree with both of us, who would disagree with you, me, and the chatter.
well, I don't know
And
if
you
those
guys
people. I
vote
don't
for
care if
them.
those people are Republican or Democrat. They're wrong.
They're Republican.
Well, they're wrong. It doesn't matter. They're wrong.
Okay, well, I'm glad we agree.
In 2016, in New York City in 2016 or around that year, a black woman aborted thousands of more babies than they gave birth. Abortion should be treated as or, abortion shouldn't be treated as a contraceptive. I agree.
Yeah, it should. I agree with that.
You can't carry it to term, so it's not an abortion because an atopic pregnancy, literally you can't carry it to term. So
Yeah, I agree with that. So okay, so you should lobby some of your like maybe your senator or whoever it is in the Senate or the House of Representatives who disagrees with you, because most of the people who are disagreeing with that are on the right.
I've never really heard any videos in Congress about atopic pregnancy, but if you could send me some, I'll watch them. But it's
Where
not
do you
really
think where do you think the cutoff is?
for abortion.
Yeah,
It shouldn't happen at all.
it shouldn't happen at all.
No, not even if the woman's
Okay.
graped.
Oh,
Because just because
wow.
you're graped, it doesn't mean that baby's life. It doesn't mean the baby's evil. It doesn't mean the baby's bad. It doesn't mean that the baby's evil.
Yeah.
But I do
Uh,
understand why people do it. I just don't agree with it.
yeah. So
But a baby that was
I'm a big I
contracepted with rape is
personally I'm a big fan of consent. And so I think that if you don't give somebody consent to have sex with you, then you haven't consented to anything that comes afterward.
okay. Did the baby consent to you killing it?
The baby isn't the baby has no consciousness at that stage of pregnancy.
So it can't consent,
The
just
baby
like the
has no
woman couldn't
conscious
consent.
yes,
So the
it
baby
has no
couldn't
conscious
consent,
experience.
just like the woman couldn't consent. So what's
There
the
is no
difference? The
conscious
woman didn't
experience
have the
there.
opportunity to consent, and neither
It
did the
is a pile
baby.
of cells until such time that there's a conscious experience, I could care less.
But science disagrees with
I
you.
couldn't care
Life
less.
starts at conception, according to John Hopkins and many other medical professionals.
Uh, good for them.
When
That's
the
where
sperm
life
cell
starts.
enters,
That's 100% when life starts, but that is not when conscious experience starts.
so you're saying it only matters the well, conscious experience starts in the womb.
Yeah, conscious experience starts in the
So
womb
you
and it
think it's
doesn't happen for a good amount of time into the pregnancy.
how many weeks?
I think it's like 6 weeks.
So no abortions after
I
six
think
weeks.
it's six
That's your
weeks. It might be later
perspective.
than that. I don't know. I have to look into the specifics. I don't want to pretend that I know something that I don't. But it's well into the pregnancy before there's a conscious
Well,
experience.
6 weeks isn't really well into the pregnancy. That's you're not even into your second
Right,
trimester.
right. So that okay. So even further.
So what do you think about like transgender women going into women's bathrooms?
What I think is that
That
I
women should be
wouldn't.
comfortable with men in their spaces?
Uh, well, let's get into that. But what do you think about trans people in general first? Let's just start
I
there.
don't care if you're trans as long as you're not doing it to women and children. You can do whatever you want. You have your own free right.
So,
You
are
have
you
your own
okay with
freedoms.
people? Are you okay? So you're okay with people identifying how they want
You
to,
can do
as long
whatever
as
you
they're not
want as
as
long as
long
you keep
as
your
long as
sex
people
shit
aren't
in the
like
bedroom.
and they're not making you pay for it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
fine with that. They can
cool.
be trans if they want to be trans, but I'm not. It doesn't mean I'm going to support them or believe in their ideology.
Okay. So Let me ask you this: if somebody, because there are some there are some trans men who were born female, but they look just as male as I do. Which restroom would you want your kid to be in alone with
Which
them?
woman
The
is this?
men's.
They can go to the
Uh,
woman's restroom. If you're a born woman and you look like a man, you
so you
probably just
want
look like a
somebody
lesbian.
that presents like me. Like if I looked just like I do right now in front of your camera, you would want me to go
Show me a natural
into.
born woman that looks like you.
You don't think that there are trans women that present entirely
Trans
male
women are not natural
or
born
trans
women. Natural born
or
women do not look like men. They don't even have the same bone
there,
density. How
dude.
the
There,
fuck are they gonna look like
I
me?
don't think that you've looked. I don't think that you've looked at a lot of trans people because there are a
Trans
lot of
pe-
them.
trans women are not
You
women.
can't
I'm
you
talking about
can't
natural born women.
you quite literally can't tell a lot of the time.
Well, no,
Or even if
90%
you
of the time
can,
you can tell.
you wouldn't like. I wouldn't want
You 90% of
a.
the time you can tell. The only way you can't tell is if they spent like $200,000. Then
I
you
wouldn't want a trans man who was born a woman but presents as a guy to be alone in the restroom with a young girl.
why?
I mean, a lot of them have beards,
Then maybe they shouldn't
beards,
go
such as
beards. I mean, if they're
so
growing beards, then they shouldn't go to the bathroom at
which
all.
restroom should they go
Go
into?
into a family bathroom that's a one stall and lock it, or don't go in at all.
What if there's only a men's and women's
I
restroom?
guess you're out of luck then.
Oh, so you just don't get to pee.
Well, you should go to your bathroom, your
Oh,
woman's
you heard it here
bathroom.
first, guys.
Your
You're
woman's
trans, so you just
bathroom.
don't get to pee anymore.
And trans men are a bad example because let's be honest here. The main
Yeah,
people
but
that
either way, I wouldn't want a trans female who was born as a male in the men's restroom either.
I would because men have higher.
I'm sure you fucking
Okay,
would.
answer this. And this is very,
I'm
very
sure you
fucking
fucking
simple.
would.
Who does most of the raping? Is it men?
Who
So
doesn't?
why should we let men into women's bathrooms when trans women have the same crime statistics as natural born men? They have the same rates of rape. They have the same rates of violence. Everything is the fucking same. I can list you off 100 different articles right now of trans women assaulting actual women
So
in the
let me
bathroom.
get this
Does
straight.
any of
Let
that matter to you? Do you care that women get sexually assaulted in the bathroom by men that are
I
pretending to
do.
be women?
Yeah, I do. Let me get this straight. You think that somebody is going to go through years of hormone therapy,
They've done it before. They sexually assaulted people.
surgery. Let me
Yes.
finish my point.
Yes.
Do you think that somebody is going to go through years and years of
Yes.
hormone therapy, surgery, just to go in
Yes.
to the opposite
And rape somebody.
bathroom to
Yes.
do something
Yes.
that
Just
they
to
could
go in
have
there and
done?
fucking rape a
They could
woman.
have done it.
Yes.
They could have done it without even doing any of that,
But
bro.
they are sexual
You
fucking
don't have
deviant.
to
They
do
wanted to
the
cut off their
years of
penis
hormone
and then they wanted
therapy
to rape a woman.
just to grape somebody.
They're a sexual fucking deviant. When you cut off your penis, are you not a sexual fucking deviant?
No.
Yes, you are. That's a sexual deviant
Let me ask you
fucking
this.
act. That is mutilation. That is
If
mutilation.
can I ask you a hypothetical?
What? Sure.
If if you took your brain, if you took your brain and just transplanted it into the body of a female, so you have all of your lived experience and you feel like you're a guy, but you're in the body of a female, would you say you wake up, you look down, and you'd be like, "Wow, something's
There's
wrong
no
with me. I
medical
believe it."
evidence that even exists.
I'm I'm asking you a hypothetical. I think that you know how to answer hypothetical
No, I
questions.
don't. There's no
Put
there's
yourself
no
in
medical diagnosis that says that it
because
exists. Trans women have the brain of men.
you can answer. So you're saying that you can't
Scientifically,
answer.
they
You're
have the
saying that
brain
you
of
can't
men.
answer a hypothetical question. Is what you're saying.
Hypothetically, that person would be a man or a woman. You cannot make some kind of alien hybrid species and ask me to, give you my opinion on it.
I'm just asking you what your lived
The
experience would be
only
in that
problem
case.
with that is trans women have the brain of men. Because when you're born with a man's brain or you're born with a woman's brain. And most
Right, but there
most
are some
people
people who
transition
have the
after they
lived
turn
experience
18
of a
anyway, and
man
their
who are
brain has already
born into a
developed.
female body.
Huh?
There are some people who have the lived experience of being a man, but they are born into a woman's
No,
body.
they don't. They don't have the
The
lived
fact, okay,
experience.
okay,
How do they have
okay.
the
So you're
lived
saying
experience of being a man?
you
They don't
as
have
somebody
any
who has
experience
not
being
lived
a
that are
man.
saying
Wait, wait,
that
wait,
you
wait,
know
wait,
more
wait,
about their
wait,
lived
wait.
experience than they
How
do.
would they have lived experience of being a man when they've never been a man?
the same way that you would. That's why I was trying to build that hypothetical for you. I'm trying to get you to expand the
No,
way that
that
you
doesn't
think about
happen.
this.
You're just making shit up from thin air. There is no woman that has lived experience as a man. Even when you become a trans man, you'll
I'm
still
talking
never be
about what
treated
you
like a
I'm talking
man.
about what you feel. I'm talking about what you feel in your brain.
There is no lived experience. There is no feeling in your brain. The only feeling in a man's brain is
Okay,
testosterone.
so you heard it here first. This straight white cis guy knows more about what trans people feel than they do.
I'm sure they feel like that. It doesn't mean it's true.
Okay,
Just because I
okay,
feel like I'm a
yeah,
billionaire doesn't mean
you
I'm a
said I'm
billionaire,
sure
does
they
it?
feel like that.
Just because
I'm
I feel
sure
like
they
I'm a
feel like that.
billionaire, it doesn't mean I'm a billionaire, does it?
Yeah, one of those things is
I'm trapped in
objective.
the
The other
wrong
is subjective.
body. I'm supposed to be in Jeff Bezos's body.
Okay, but
I
why
need a,
don't you
I
just
need you to
answer
give
the
me $1 billion
hypothetical?
so
Why
I can identify how
the
I was
reason you didn't
born. A
answer the
billionaire.
hypothetical
Can you
question
give
is
me a
because you
billion
know
dollars
what's
so I
going to
can
happen.
identify with what I was
You
always supposed
know
to
what's
be, a
going to happen as soon
billionaire?
as you answer the hypothetical question.
No, this is not a hypothetical question. I identify as a
No, I
billionaire.
asked you a
When are you going to give
hypothetical
me a
question that
billion
you refused to
dollars?
answer.
No, you have to do what I say because otherwise you're a cis straight man that's a bigot. So you have to accept my identity as a billionaire and you have to go and find me my billions and give me my money. Because I identify as a billionaire and you have to accept that. Don't call me Euro, don't call me Graham, call me billionaire.
That's just dumb, dude. That's
That's
just dumb
bigoted.
and
Where are my
reductive. That's no
pronouns?
better. That's no better than saying,
That's
I
no better than
identify
them, right? That's
as
no
an
better
attack
than them.
helicopter.
That's
Like
my point.
that's the same dumb argument that you guys have been making for so long, and it has nothing to do
It
with the
does.
argument or
Because it's a
the
gender
experience that
identity.
people are
Gender
having.
identity is just something that you make up out of thin
Nobody
air.
is identifying as a billionaire. Nobody is identifying as a
I am.
helicopter.
I'm
Nobody is
identifying as a
identifying
billionaire
as
for the
something
rest of
other
my
than
life
human.
until I
They're telling you
confirm with my
what their
surgery that
experience
that
is within
surgery
themselves,
transferred a
and they're
billion
just
dollars into
pretending
my bank
that that's
account.
what.
Yeah, I identify as a billionaire. You can't tell me how I identify as, and I'm waiting for that $1 billion
What did I
transfer.
just say? Did you even hear what I just
You
said?
said no one identifies as a billionaire. Wrong. I identify as a billionaire.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. You can't tell me
No, but
how
you're
I
doing it
identify.
facetiously. But nobody identifies as a billionaire unless they're doing it facetiously, which
No,
is
I'm not
exactly
doing
what
it
you're
facetiously. I'm identifying as a
doing. Oh, so
billionaire
you're
because I
identifying
believe
as
I'm
you're
gonna be a
actually
billionaire.
identifying as a billionaire. Okay,
I
guys,
identify
this
as a billionaire because I believe
you
I'm
heard it
gonna
here
be a
first.
billionaire.
Euro and Travel YouTube is a billionaire now.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. But I'm still waiting for my paycheck to get
Congratulations.
transferred. Where's my
Yeah,
billion dollars?
where it? Oh, well, I thought you were a billionaire.
Well, I identify as a billionaire, but I haven't had my billionaire surgery yet. A part of that surgery is they bring me in a surgical gown and they hand me $1 billion.
This is
So
dense
I'm still
dumb.
waiting for my
This is
my
dense. This is
gender
dense on
reassignment
purpose, Trevor.
surgery. I'm still waiting for my gender reassignment surgery when they bring me in a robe and a gown, my surgery robe and my gown, and they put $1 billion in front of me and say, "Here you go. This is your surgery. Surgery's
Yeah,
done. Your billions of
that's such
dollars."
a good argument. Let's just conflate gender with things that are actually tangible in real life.
What's being a man and what's being a woman?
Uh, I would I would say that being a man or being a woman is part of your anatomical traits mapped onto the social norms of being a man or the social norms
So
of
you have
being
to
a
have
woman.
anatomical traits. Like you have to have an Adam's apple, you have to have testicles, you have to have balls because trans men have none of those.
So let me ask you this: do you think that all men have a penis?
Well, unless you're born with an abnormality or you're in some kind of war, yeah.
Okay, so
Abnormalities don't change the
somebody that
rules.
doesn't have
Outliers
somebody that
don't
doesn't have a
change the
penis.
rules. When I say the sky is blue, just because sometimes it's purple and green doesn't change the fact that most people say the sky is blue and that's relatively true, right?
Perfect.
So you can't. So what a
You've
man and a
reached the
woman
point. You
is.
reached the point. If
So
I
a
went
man is
into a
always a
field,
man, just like the sky is always blue, even if it's
if I
purple. The
went into
sky
a
is
field,
blue because it's always blue. But a man is always
if
a
I went
man
into
no
a
matter
field
what. So
full
if you tear
of
his dick off and
wait,
he's still a man, nothing can make him a woman.
if I went into a field full of red flowers and blue flowers, and it's just red flowers and blue flowers as far as I can see, but every once in a while there was a purple flower, would it be accurate to say that it's only red and blue flowers? Or
Uh,
would it
uh,
be accurate to say that it's a red and blue flower field
I
with
like
some
this
purple flowers?
analogy. There would only be red and blue flowers if the purple flower was dyed purple, because the transgender is dyed,
Oh,
is
I'm just saying that
man-made
there
and
are purple
created.
flowers. What are you
Yes,
talking
the
about?
flowers happen in nature. If they're natural
No, I'm
colors,
talking
then
about
they're
I'm talking
real.
about
If they're man-made, they're not really purple. Just like a
oh, so
transgender
there just
woman cut
are
off
no
his
there
penis,
just
so he's
aren't
not really a woman. Just like a
guys.
flower
No,
dyed
Karen,
purple is not
you just
really
don't
a
want to
purple
answer the
flower.
question. Is
Perfect analogy. I
are there
really like
purple
that
flowers?
analogy.
Are there purple flowers in the field or not?
Was it dyed by a human?
No.
Then that's a real purple
It's a
flower.
purple flower that
Then
wasn't
that's
dyed
a
by a
real
human.
purple flower. Just like a
Yeah, it's a
trans
real
woman,
purple
if
flower.
she came out of
Perfect. So
a
when
uterus
then
as
they're
a
a
woman,
real
it's a real
trans
woman,
people.
not a trans
Okay.
woman.
It's a real purple flower. You said it yourself. Thank you.
Yeah. But in this case, it's not real because
Perfect.
it's
We agree.
man-made. It's
There.
not
Thank
natural.
you. Trans ally. Trans allies in the chat.
I'm sure there are. So you don't
Jesus.
care about women and children feeling uncomfortable when men come in their bathrooms.
I do, and that's why I don't want people who present as men to be in the women's restroom, and I don't want
Well,
people who
so it's
present.
okay if you just wear a dress and you present as a woman, but you're really just a PDF file wearing a dress saying you're a woman. Okay, I understand. I understand. You heard it here
That,
first. All you pedos out there,
that
if you
just
want to get into
doesn't.
his daughter's restroom, all you gotta do is say that
Every
you're a
single
woman and put
time
on a dress, and he will
you
let you
go
enter
to
her
the
restroom.
absolute extreme.
Huh?
Nobody's putting on a dress to go in and grape
They
kids.
are. I
You,
have
by the
over
way,
50 cases I can send you.
you
Do you want
shouldn't
me to
even
send
be
them to you
letting
now?
your
I
children
have
into
over
a
50
restroom on
cases,
their
and
own.
there's been thousands, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands. But I can send you 50 right now. I will.
No, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but I'm
Okay, then
saying
what are
that
we arguing?
nobody is putting on a dress just to go and do that.
They are because it's happened over 50 times.
Oh, show me 50 examples.
I just told you I would send you the sources, and you just said you agree it probably happens. Okay, I'll send
He's
it
gonna
to you
show me
then.
50 examples of this happening.
Easily.
Okay,
Easily. Hold
perfect.
on, let me pull it up right now
Let's get
because
the
I know
let's
it's
get the
saved
names.
in this other
Let's
chat.
get the,
Huh?
let's get the names and dates
Okay, I'll
of these
send it
things.
to you right now. Well, here's one that happened recently. Well, this isn't really specifically someone doing that, but this is a drag queen LGBTQ activist that was in school that was arrested for sex crimes for having same-sex children kissing or for having same-sex children practice kissing each other because they were, you know, gay or trans or whatever.
I'm not for
But
it.
here is a New Jersey trans prisoner impregnated two inmates. That's a whole nother issue, but I'm just scrolling through these
Not what we're talking.
statistics. Here you go. I'll send you this as well. It says trans women have the same crime pattern as men, which we know men grape a lot.
He is stalling,
Huh?
just so Chad is
No,
aware.
I'm just
He is
going through the articles that I have.
you're just stalling.
No, that
We're
was one of the
talking about
first sources
show
I
me
brought
50
up.
examples of men putting on dresses to grape
I'm
children in
sending it to you.
restrooms.
Hold on one time. One article at a time. I like to back up all my sources and all my statistics.
All I want is those examples. You don't have to send me anything else.
I'm sending you those examples. Hold on, hold on.
Hold on. Then
Here we
it's gonna be
go.
a while.
I'm even going to show you on screen because I have it right here. Case by case, there's like a couple cases right here. So I'm going to go ahead and send these over to you.
Yeah, send it over to me because I don't have the stream open.
Let's see, let's see, let's see. Here you go. There you are. Sending, loading. It's sent.
Okay.
Those are. There's
This
32
is
cases there.
this is
Oh, here, let me see
keeping.
the whole link. That's just a screenshot. Hold on. Let me send the whole link. But you got a couple cases right there to start off with.
For alleged sexual assault. That's not a restroom.
Yes, it
Transgender.
is. First
Not.
case right here. Sexual assault victims speak out against Washington's transgender policies. This is some of the victims that got abused by a trans woman. Man dressed like a woman goes and peeps in restrooms in mall arrested. Prince William County, Virginia,
Where?
November 7th. Transgender female charged with rape, San Francisco,
Yeah.
California.
So
Man who portrayed
This
himself
kind of
as a
things happen.
cross-dresser, arrested for
These kinds of
allegedly
things happen
sexual
with straight white
assault.
males too. In
Uh,
fact, it happens more often
yeah,
with
they
straight
are
white
white
men
males. They're
than with
white males putting
transgender
on
people.
dresses saying they're trans. A man dressed in woman's
So
clothing videotaping in Macy's bathrooms.
really ironically, you're
Cross-dresser
coming at me
found
saying
guilty
that
on
you have
sex
a
crimes.
problem with
Transgender
people going
exposes
and
himself in woman's
changing
locker
women
room.
into the
Should we
bathrooms of
keep
other
going?
people, and
I
Donald
thought you said
Trump
it doesn't happen.
literally
I
bragged
thought you
about
told me it
doing
doesn't
this
happen.
exact same thing on
What?
Howard Stern,
What
and you
happened? It doesn't
defended him.
happen?
You quite literally just defended Donald Trump for
There
doing the
wasn't a
exact same thing.
transgender female that was charged with rape in
It
San
was
Francisco?
literally an old 50-year-old
Oh,
Donald
so
Trump
now you're pivoting
looking at a
because you
14-year-old
found out
girl,
that
and
there
you
are
defended
transgender
him
women
for
that are
it.
putting on dresses, fucking
You
raping
defended
women.
him for
Now you
looking at
gotta
these
pivot because
beautiful
you know the
14-year-old girls
people
going, "Oh
you
my
are
God, isn't
supporting
that
are
great?"
rapists. You are actively supporting rapists. You're deflecting
No, I'm
and
not.
supporting
I think
rapists.
any rapist, any
Okay,
sexual
then why
offender
won't
should
you
be buried under
condemn
the
them?
jail,
Why won't you
including
condemn them?
everybody that's in these
Sit here
cases.
with a
But
straight
this
face and say
isn't
you
what we're
condemn
talking
them. Tell me you condemn trans
about. I
women
condemn
raping
any.
women in women's bathrooms. Say it. Say
Perfect,
it.
perfect, perfect.
Say it.
I condemn them. Now you say
You
that you
can't
condemn
even
Donald
say
Trump for
trans
calling
women.
these
You can't even say
15-year-old
you
girls white.
condemn trans women raping people. Say the
I
full
just
thing.
condemned them
No, say
in
you say
front of.
this. Repeat
I
after
literally
me.
just
I condemn trans women raping real women.
I condemn trans women raping
Okay,
men.
thank you. Was it that hard?
But by the way, that's
Pretending like
always been the
women
case.
aren't getting
Now you
raped
turn
is
around and
fucking
tell me
sad and
that you
disgusting.
condemn.
You looked at me with a
You
straight
tell me
face
that
and
you
you said,
condemn. You
"Oh,
condemn
trans
Donald
women
Trump
aren't
for
raping
raping
anyone in any
15-year-old
bathrooms."
girls
And
and
then two
putting them
seconds
in
later, you
women's
pivoted to
bathrooms.
Trump when he's never been convicted of raping anybody. But you have
So
over
I'm going to be
50
very specific
convictions
about
right here
that
listed in
because
front of
I'm
you
not
of
going
trans
to
women raping people and
sexual
getting
people.
convicted of it.
But
And you didn't
as soon as
care. It's not
somebody
all
else
of
said,
them. It's
doesn't
not
mean you
all
have to
trans
defend
women. It's a
Donald Trump.
small
But all it
minority of them.
comes
But
down to
guess what? That
happen
small
and say, "Oh,
minority
dude,
makes it
that
so
that
we should
one's fine.
never
That
have
one's fine."
these trans
You know,
women in women's
sure,
bathrooms.
she was naked, but she no harm came from that. Even though he went on Howard Stern and bragged about his
No harm
laser,
came from it
showing
because no victim ever
her
sued
naked
him. And
14-year-old
all these
body with a
statements
bikini.
you're making, none of them are true. Was
It's
there any
literally
harm? What
you
about
can
these
see for
50
yourself.
women that got raped by trans women? Was there any harm done
He
there?
has 25 plus sexual assault allegations, and he was civilly held liable
Over
for
50 just in this
for the
one article.
penetrating
Zero
a naked
convictions.
girl in
So
his
why are
bed.
you pivoting? You were the one earlier telling me to stay on topic, but now you can't see
No,
the
but I
you can
just
never
condemned
stay on topic when
I
you're
just
confronted for
condemned
your
all of this
bullshit
when you said pivot.
lies.
I literally condemned it with my whole chest. And then I put
After
the
I
shoe on the other
condemned
foot
you
and you
for
went to
not
listen to it.
condemning it, you condemned it. Let's clarify so everyone knows.
I did I not condemn it?
No, the first thing you said was Trump, 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 and then I called you out for not condemning it, and then you
I
condemned
literally
it.
said verbatim what you asked me to say.
Yeah, I
You can go
did.
back and watch the video.
I'm glad that you
I
did, because if
literally
you
said
didn't, that would have been
word
a
for
bad
word
look
what
for
you wanted me
you.
to say. What?
Hmm. There's nothing else you gotta
I
say
literally
other
told
than
you
just talk
what
about the
you wanted me to
topic.
say, and then I put the shoe on the other foot, and now you want to defend Donald Trump
Well,
for
this is
being an
about
actual
trans. Are we
hypocrite.
debating about Trump again, or are we debating about the trans topic?
You're the one wearing the Trump 2028 hat.
Okay, so you want to talk about Trump instead of trans. Okay,
And I
so let's
told
talk
you
about
before
how we
this
created
call that I wanted to talk about
180,000
Howard
jobs
Stern stuff.
last year. Let's create about how we've had the most the booming, the best stock market in probably the last 10 years.
Really? So, under which administration did the stock market improve more? Joe
Well,
Biden or Donald
well,
Trump?
so far Trump. If we count 2 years,
No.
his first 2 years,
You're under
yes,
so
yes.
The
Yeah, I can
S
show
and
you the
P
S&P.
and
I
the Dow
looked at the
Jones.
numbers yesterday. I already
The
had
S
this
and P and
debate.
the Dow Jones has had slower
Let's see. Joe
growth
Biden's
under
first two
Trump than
years,
it did
S&P
under Biden.
500. Joe Biden, first 2 years, S&P 500. Let's pull it up. Let's take a look. Um, Joe Biden received. Let's see. The stock market dropped around 20%. So he had 6% S&P 500 gain between 2020 and 2021 and 2022 combined. If you Because in 2021 we had a gain of 26% in the stock market. That was a great job, Joe Biden. Good job in 2021 when the everything was
So
closed down.
who had more?
And
Who
then in
had more?
2022 you have the market plunging nearly 20%. So you lost 20% of those gains. So you only left with about 7% gains at the end of Joe Biden's second year. So no, that's wrong. The stock market's, let's see, the S&P 500 since Trump got into office.
We'll let
I
him
think it's
finish.
around 40 something percent up. So no, that's not right. Let's see. 1 year we have around 20%, and for since he got into office we have like probably 35-40%
Yeah. So the increase
is better under
in the
Donald J.
stock
Trump.
market is not better under Trump.
How? Biden's first year he had a 26% increase. His second year he had a 28% decrease. Like what?
Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and look all.
2021.
I
I
would
looked it
love.
up.
I
You
would
don't want
love.
to look at the facts?
We
In
could.
2021, the stock market went up 26%. The second year for Biden, the stock market plunged 20%. How did he have more of a growth? The numbers don't add up. 26% versus, 45 plus percent. And he lost all of the growth he made in the first year and the second year because the stock market plunged 20% in 2022. We are
So
comparing Biden's first
Biden
two
led.
years to Trump's first
Biden,
2
White
years
House with the
now.
S&P 500 up 55%, the Nasdaq Composite up about 46%.
You're looking at his 4 year gain. I'm looking at his 2 year gain. His first 2 years versus Trump's first 2 years so far. Or if you want to compare Trump's first term to Biden's first term, we can. It's really up to you. But any way you look at this data, if you're
I,
looking at it in an honest.
I'm okay with Biden's first term versus Trump's first term,
Okay, then
but
let me
I
pull up
guarantee.
Trump's first term then. Trump's first term. I mean, it might be lower. Stock market growth total versus Biden. Let's take a look. Um, loading. Okay, so Trump's first term, 2017 to 2021, the stock market went up about 68%. In Biden's term, the stock market went up 55%. So Trump was 68%, Biden was 55%. So the stock market went up a lot more under Donald J. Trump. It doesn't really matter what years you look at. And this is all coming from Yahoo Finance, by the way. I can screenshot you
Yeah,
it.
I would love to. I would love to uh, do a little bit more research on this and have a conversation with you again because
Sure.
yeah, I 100% feel like uh, there's a lot more. So, there's a lot more that goes into that than just googling it on the spot and pretending like.
Well, not really. It's just a percentage here. I'll show it on the screen so everyone can see it. I mean, the numbers are the numbers. There's not really much more intricacy that really goes into it.
Do you think that there's not more intricacy that goes
We're all we're
into
looking at is
the
stock
stock
market gains. We're
market?
looking at percentages. We're looking at how much did the stock market gain? Was it 55% or was it 78% like Donald J. Trump?
But honest. So the greater thing is we're talking about the economy.
Mm-hmm.
So Trump promised that electricity prices would be cut in half in his first
Well,
what like 100. So
in the first 100 days, yeah, in the first hundred
what's happened to
days,
electricity prices?
in the
What's
first
happened to
hundred.
electricity prices?
Well, I liked your initial quote when you said he promised the electricity prices were going to get cut in half in the first 100 days.
What happened to electricity prices?
They lowered in the first 100 days.
Electricity prices did not go down in the first 100 days.
Yes, they did. Gas prices went down in the first 100 days. What happens when gas prices go down? Does electricity also go down or does it go up? Does gas not have a direct
Has
effect for
gas prices
electricity?
gone? What when were gas prices lower? When
How do
Donald
you
Trump
think
took office,
electricity
or
is
now?
created?
Was were
Electricity is
gas
created with
prices
gas and
lower when
coal.
Donald Trump took office, or are they lower now?
What?
Were gas prices lower when Donald Trump took office, or are they lower now?
Well, they were lower before we initiated in a war, but they're still lower than the
Oh
average
yeah,
of Joe
so
Biden's
yeah,
4 year term.
so he said lower gas prices. We now have higher gas prices. He said no new wars. We're now in a new war.
Well, he said no new forever
He said lower
wars, but this is
electricity,
not a new war,
lower
by the
electricity
way.
prices.
Wait. This is not a new war. You want to debate about the war? We can. Joe Biden struck Iran 20 different times with rockets. Literally 2 years ago, he pulled our Navy and our Marines and
No,
stationed them in the Strait of
he,
Hormuz. So, did
no,
Joe
he did.
Biden start this war,
No,
or is
no,
this war
no,
just
no, he
47
did
years
not.
old?
Joe Biden did not initiate a military strike
He
in
did. He struck Iran 20 times with rockets. He pulled the
in
Marines and the
Iraq.
Navy over to the Strait of Hormuz. Just use Google. Just use
Brother,
Google.
it was not the United States military.
It was. It
This
was the
time it is
United.
the United
It
States
was the
military. It was
Marines and it
not
was
the
the
United States
Navy.
military.
Are you telling me with a straight face that Joe Biden did not move that he did not move the Marines and the Navy over to the Strait of Hormuz and fire rockets at Iran?
Um, I want to make sure that I get this right because I don't like
You
making
don't
shit up off
know.
the
You're
fly.
just looking it
No,
up. I'm telling you, this is a 47-year-old
brother,
war.
I no, no. You're telling me because
I'm telling you
you
because I talk
don't
about this
have
stuff all
any
day, every
you
day,
don't
and I
care
know that's
about
for
whether
a
or not you're
fact.
telling the truth, and I want to make sure that what I'm saying is true. But
I respect
under
that. That's
Biden,
good that you're.
under Biden, there were military groups that struck Iran, but they were not U.S. military
Yes, they were
groups,
U.S. military.
and they were funded by the United States, just like Israel is funded by the United States. So I guess you could say that is like by the same token, you could say Israel is or the United States is committing a genocide in
Well,
Palestine,
there is no genocide
but
in
they're not
Palestine. Define genocide.
a genocide.
Yeah,
I
define
would use
genocide.
I would use the same. I would say a genocide is the ethnic cleansing of a population for uh, whatever
So
it's
yeah, that's correct. I'll go ahead and give you that. So hypothetically, if you were trying to get rid of your enemies and you were trying to commit a genocide, would you drop pamphlets and knock door to door to tell people to evacuate, or would you just wipe everything to the ground and tell nobody and warn nobody?
You know what I would do
Hypothetically, if it was a
if
genocide, would you wipe them off the face of the planet, or would you drop pamphlets and knock door to door and send text messages to people's phones telling them to evacuate? What would you do in a genocide?
I'll tell you what I would do. I'll tell you what I would do.
A
If I
genocide does
was,
not occur when you're actively trying to evacuate civilian, populations and actively trying to
I don't think
save
you
civilian
understand
lives. That's not a genocide.
what the situation on the ground is
Hmm?
in Palestine, and I'll tell you why. Um, so so when I say that there's a genocide, and you ask me what I would do if I was trying to commit a genocide, what I would do is I would tell somebody to stand on top of a roof, and then as children walk out of a school, I would say, hey, like shoot them in the head as they walk out of the school, because that's exactly what Israel's doing.
That's never happened.
Let me
Show me a single
there's
article.
literally
Funny thing is, you mention is there's never
there
been any single articles about that. Send me one
how
source.
many
Show
children
me one article.
how
Show
many
me one
Palestinian
article of that happening. That's 100% propaganda. You just
how
made that
many
up off the top of your head. What year?
how
What
many
date? When did that
Palestinian
happen?
children have been
You can't
killed
just say shit without
since
having sources.
October
I don't
7th?
think I've received a single source so far. You don't have a source for that?
No, because
Because
every
it
time
didn't
I bring up
happen.
something
You're
else,
right. It didn't happen.
how many Palestinian look it up yourself. How many Palestinian children have been killed since October 7th?
Around 30,000?
That's a fucking ton of children. That's
Not
kind
really
of
in an area
genocide.
populated with
That's
millions of
that's
people.
kind
What's the what's
30,000
the
children is
population
kind of
of Gaza?
genocide, don't you
What's
think?
the population of Gaza?
Oh, so because you think that it's a small amount
I'm telling you
compared.
because they evacuated
So
millions of
as long
people.
as the
They saved
children per
millions of
capita isn't too
lives.
high, then we're okay with it.
What?
We're okay with the deaths of 30,000 children as long as the death per capita isn't too high.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying for it to be a
You
genocide, it
asked me
has to
what the
be the
population of
massacre. It has to be
Palestine is.
ethnic cleansing. There's 2 million. There's 2 million Palestinians that live inside of Israel. Why aren't they being ethnically cleansed if a genocide is occurring?
Is there a famine occurring in Palestine?
A famine? No, there's no famine being occurring
There's no
anymore.
famine.
Not according to
So
the
okay,
UN, not
so so
anymore.
so so aid is being
How many metric tons of food has been delivered to Palestine?
there are literally boats. There are literally Israeli military boats that are stopping aid going into Gaza.
No, there's Israeli military boats that are stopping foreign invaders from Europe and all these other places from literally jumping over the border of Israel, entering a country they have nothing to do with, and bringing whatever they bring.
And you and I just disagree
The aid that
on
you're talking
basic.
about is coming from random people that are coming from Europe on little floaty boats. You just can't enter a country
So you
whenever you
really
want
think
to,
that
huh?
you genuinely think that 30,000 children died, but it's not because of a genocide and it's not because of famine.
What do you think it was a genocide
Like,
during the
but
Civil
30
War?
30,000
Do you
children.
think it was a
30
do you think it was a
30,000 children, and
genocide when
it's not a
30,000 of our
genocide and it's
soldiers
not famine.
died in whatever war that were 14 and 15 years old in
Just
World War
listen.
II and World War One?
They
Was that a
literally
genocide?
bombed a
Was
hospital.
World War One and World War Two a genocide?
On Nazi Germany's part, like the Holocaust, yeah,
Well,
that
I'm
was
not
that was
talking
the
about the
ethnic
Holocaust. I'm talking about for American soldiers. Was
genocide.
that a genocide for our soldiers since, you know, tens of thousands of children that were 15 years old serving in the army died? Was that a genocide?
Oh, I don't think that 15-year-olds should ever be enlisted into the
So was
army.
it a genocide that happened that occurred?
So those people went in to the fight, presumably willingly, but I would say if they were drafted and they were forced to fight, and it was a ton of people who died, then uh, yeah, I would say like there's it's kind of like it's an off genocide. I wouldn't really
Okay, so
necessarily
every
call
war and every
I wouldn't necessarily
conflict is
call it
just a
genocide,
genocide. What
but I
about
would
the
say that
Armenian
I would
genocide?
disagree
Was
with
that
that
a
on a very large
genocide?
scale.
1.2 million
What
people died.
1.2 million people? Are we talking underage people or what?
Just everyone. That's the total death population from the
Oh
Armenians.
yeah, that's horrible, but that's war. That's not a genocide.
But it was called the Armenian genocide. I mean, that's what they call
Oh
it
sure.
in their
Oh,
history books.
you're talking about the Armenian genocide. Yeah, that's absolutely a genocide.
Well, some people disagree with you, but I
Okay,
don't know
well,
too much about
do
it.
you
But,
disagree?
huh? Do I
Do you disagree?
disagree? If they were attacking them for being Christian, no, that's probably a genocide. If you attack someone
Okay,
because of their
the
ethnic
same thing
or
is happening in
religion,
Palestine.
yeah,
They're
that's a
attacking them
genocide.
because of the greater Israeli project.
The Greater Israeli
Do
Project is not an actual
do you believe in
project.
the
Do you
greater
know
do you
why?
believe
Do you
in
know
the
what's
greater
happening
Israeli
in
project?
Lebanon?
What?
First off, Greater Israel can't involve Palestine because Palestine's always been a part of Israel. It's always been legally Israel's land. They even pay taxes to the country of Israel because they are the country of Israel.
Oh,
But
so they
nonetheless,
have
we can
the
talk
right
about Lebanon and
to
whatnot, huh?
so they have the right to kill 30,000 children because it's their
Well,
land.
yeah, because of October 7th, they started a war. And because in
Yeah,
1948, 12 Arab armies decided they wanted to
how
invade
many Israelis
Israel and
died on
genocide
October?
all of them and take all of their
How many
lives.
Israelis died on October 7th?
About 1,300 and 30 U.S. citizens, which you don't give a
Wow,
fuck about.
so
Huh?
1,300 on the biggest Israeli casualty day in
Yeah, because
recent
they know how to
history.
fight. They know how to defend
1,300.
theyselves. It's not my fault
Oh,
that they're fighting
so
against the.
because they're better at fighting. No,
Yeah,
it's
because
because
they're fighting
we're
against a
arming
bunch of retarded third
them
worlders.
to
These
kill
people aren't even from Israel.
this guy. Ouch,
These
that's
people
rough,
are from
man.
Egypt, Syria, and Lebanon. These are not
I
Palestinians. Palestinian is not an ethnicity. Do you realize that?
I didn't say that Palestinian is an ethnicity. What I'm
Okay, well,
saying
do you
is that
realize who was there first? The
what I'm saying
Israelis were
is that
there before the
Palestinians shouldn't be
Palestinians. Does that
shocked.
matter to you? Does it matter that that was Israel's
There are
country?
literally multiple reports saying that that IDF is literally targeting civilians
I'm
and
not going to
journalists
make
on
the
purpose.
argument that civilians aren't dying. I'm not going to make the argument that grapes
I would make the
and
argument
war
that they're
crimes are
being
not happening
targeted.
because in every war there's going to be war crimes. So, no, I'm not going to make that argument. But what I can say
Yes,
is
but
it's
okay,
Israel's
in every
land
war
and
there's going
they've
to be
been
war crimes.
defending it for
This
thousands
one
of years. It's not
is
Palestine.
special because of the amount of war crimes that are happening.
What is Chris talking
You
about?
don't
Yet
bomb hospitals, dude.
you do bomb hospitals when there's rockets shooting out of them. Do you bomb churches when a kid is shooting an AK-47 out of a window of a church? Would you blow it up? Because I would. And I'm a
So
Christian.
What kind of, so you just spent a bunch of time arguing abortion with me and saying that you
Yeah,
don't
if a
think
child is sticking an AK-47 at my
yeah,
face, you're gonna get
so
your.
we should protect the most vulnerable people in our
No, not
society.
all children are vulnerable. I'm sorry you grew up
No,
in
I'm
like
saying
a
people in the
first
womb,
world
like
and you've never seen a
people in
second
the
or
womb.
third world
You just
country
spent a bunch
before,
of
but
time
people want to
saying that
kill
people in the
you.
womb should be protected,
Huh?
right? You just spent a bunch of time arguing to me that people in the womb should be protected.
Yes, because they're innocent.
So what
Terrorist
kind of
children are
people do
not
you think
innocent.
are in hospitals?
Huh?
There are sick women, there are sick
There was
children,
barely any
and there
that
are
hospital was
pregnant women.
evacuated. Hamas was literally in the basement of the hospital and it was evacuated.
Do you think that
Anyone
there
that
were
was
no
there that
civilian?
died
Do
that
you
was a
think that there were
civilian
no
probably didn't make
civilian
it out in
casualties
time.
when they bombed that hospital?
Huh?
Do you think that there were no civilian casualties when they
Oh,
bombed
there
that
was
hospital?
civilians because Hamas had
Okay,
hostages.
so you're okay.
Hamas had
Okay, so you're
hostages.
100%
They
okay
said
with
you're
that.
not going to bomb our hospital because this is where we keep our weapons.
And that's where our taxpayer
We have
dollars are
innocent
going.
women and children
Our,
here. We have guns up to them, and if you don't do what we say,
we should be
everyone's gonna die.
spending our money, according to you, we should be spending our taxpayer dollars on bombing hospitals.
Well, Israel actually
On the,
gives us more money than we give them, but we would have to go over a financial breakdown of that because Israel has
well,
purchased over
Israel spends
$200 billion
a
worth of
bunch of
weapons
money
from
on the
us
United
in the
States
last
paying
two
off
years.
politicians.
Huh?
Israel spends more money on the United States because they buy off our politicians through their APAC.
APAC receives zero money from Israel. What are you talking about?
APAC is a massive contributor to a bunch of politicians, and it makes our politicians beholden to Israel. If you don't think that that's
Yeah,
the
but you
case,
just said that Israel sends a bunch of money to APAC. That was not true. That's a fake
you
statement.
just said that Israel spends a bunch of money on the United States. Like what?
They buy $150 million worth of transportation equipment and chemical equipment from the state of Tennessee every
That's
year.
not giving us money. That's trade.
That's trade. That's exactly how we make money from them, from trade.
Okay,
Just
but
like
that's
we
not.
give them
We
money for
literally
trade.
subsidize them. No, we
Huh?
subsidize them for free. We subsidize Israel for free. You
We
understand? We
subsidize them
don't
to
get
give them a discount on our
when we subsidize
guns.
Israel. There is no money coming into the United States from Israel that we don't get something for,
Of course.
or that they don't
And
get
the
something
money
for.
we give them, we get something for it too. Just like they
No,
don't
we
give
don't.
us money for
Not
nothing, we don't give them money for nothing.
how much. How much? I would like to know how much money we spend on Israel.
$3.8 billion a year.
Okay, and what do we get for that?
We profit over $50 billion a year in trade.
No, we would get trade regardless. I'm asking
No,
what
we
we get for
wouldn't.
the
If we
3.8.
weren't allies with Israel, why would they buy so much stuff from us? You only trade with
We're
countries that are your ally, unless you really, really need unless they have a huge
right. So okay.
manufacturing.
So by that logic, we should also be sending $3.8 trillion to Canada and most of the countries that we do trade deals with in Europe.
Well, no, not
Why
if they're
is it
fucking
just
us
that
over.
we spend
That's why we
$3.8
tariffed
trillion dollars
everyone,
on?
because Europe fucks us over. Are we going to talk about tariffs or what we're
No, I'm
talking about
asking you
Israel?
specifically what we're getting for that 3.8 billion dollars
Okay, I'll
that we're
answer you.
not getting from other countries.
We're getting We're getting upgraded Air Force equipment, upgraded fighter jets, upgraded F-15s,
Okay,
upgraded F-22s, upgraded weapons. The Israelis invented multiple guns. They invented our irrigation systems for our farmers. They created a lot of our military equipment. They create bulletproof vests, plate carriers for bulletproof vests that some of our people use in the United States of America. They buy billions of dollars worth of trade from not all 50 states, but most of all
Bear
the
in mind, I am
states.
going to have a conversation with you again, and I am going to fact check all of this. And I swear to God, if you're just fucking shooting off
I'm
the hip
being
right now.
serious. They spend billions of dollars in trade with the United States.
So you say that the 3.8 trillion in subsidies isn't actually subsidies, it's just trade. It's just more trade.
No, it's not more trade. The $3.8 billion is that money has 100% of that money has to be spent on our military equipment.
No, but it's not
Huh?
it's going to Israel.
Yeah, they have to.
It's not
It
being
does
spent
go
on
to
our
Israel. I
if it
agree,
was
but
if it
they
was
have to
that
spend by
3.8
law. They
trillion
have to
dollars,
spend
if it wasn't
100%
going to
of it with
Israel, we
us.
could
We
just
give them
spend it on
money.
the military. Or
Sorry.
better yet, we could just spend it here at home. because Donald Trump said America first. So probably we should take that $3.8 trillion and actually put it America first.
Well, we give $1 billion to Egypt every single year. They do nothing for us.
I
We
would
give
say let's
billions
take.
of dollars to the
I would say
country of
let's take what we do.
Jordan, Egypt, Africa. We give billions of dollars to. We give Europe billions of dollars. We give every single country in the world billions of dollars. So the only country that we're benefiting from is the only country we should cut off.
Or
Because we give
that's not
NATO and we give the UN billions of dollars a year. How is that protecting American lives when it's our
okay.
military and it's our organization? It's protecting
Okay,
them.
yeah, I don't know about that, but 3.8, all I'm saying is $3.8 billion is a massive amount of money that would be better served actually helping people here in the United States with things
Chris
like
is
healthcare.
laughing. He's saying, "Oh, we only trade with countries that we're allied with. Look up where Nike shoes are made." Yes, you like it or not, we are allied with China. It doesn't mean that we have the best relationship with them, but we are allies with China. But in a war, we'd likely fight against them. But we are
We,
allied with China in one way or another. We have an
we,
economic partnership.
we do have trade relations with
Here's a
countries that
better
we're allied.
example of countries that we hated that we didn't trade with. Cuba. We sanctioned Cuba. We sanctioned Russia. All the people that we don't have good relationships with, if you haven't noticed, we sanctioned them throughout history. So to act like we have some kind of shady foreign relationship with China is just completely incorrect. I mean, both Joe Biden, both Barack Obama, both Clintons, Bush, Trump, everyone, they've all been good friends with Xi Jinping and the Chinese government. It's not because we love their country or love their government. It's because we have a good partnership and a good friendship. We are allies with China. It doesn't mean we'd be wartime allies. It doesn't mean we would ally with them on a wartime or a conflict. But we're economic partners. We have an economic partnership and an economic allyship. I think economic partnerships are a little bit different than military partnerships. They're
I
like
don't
two
think that
different
having, by
things.
the way, I don't think that having trade, I don't think that having trade with a country automatically makes you an ally with somebody. But even if it did, I wouldn't say that imposing blanket tariffs on everybody is a good way to improve trade relations with the world.
Well, I don't think on everyone, only on the countries that tariff us back.
Well, okay, well then you should probably have a conversation with Trump and tell him why you disagree with him.
Well, the court already struck them down. I don't disagree with him. I agree with him. He didn't tariff
No,
every
so you,
country.
so you think, well, you just said that there shouldn't be blanket tariffs.
No, I just said there shouldn't be blanket tariffs on every country. There wasn't blanket tariffs on every country.
There was blanket tariffs on almost every country.
How many tariffs were there on how many countries? And
It was a universal tariff, except I think China and Russia, if I
okay,
remember correctly.
first off, you couldn't even tell me how many countries there are, and second off, you don't even know how many countries he tariffed. So you don't know any
It
of
was
the
a u.
numbers. How many countries do you think there
Are you
are?
telling me
How many countries do you
wasn't
think there are?
like 300 and something?
No, there's
Are you
not
saying that
300
there
and something.
wasn't?
There's 196
Are you saying that there
countries.
wasn't? Okay, fantastic. Are you saying that it wasn't a universal tariff?
It wasn't a tariff on every country. No. I mean, I can Google search it right now, but no, it was not a
It was
tariff on every
technically a
country.
universal
What countries didn't get the tariff? Maybe I just remember wrong. I don't know.
you did.
What countries didn't get the tariff? Oh, fuck. It just keeps deleting my message. Hold on. Universal tariffs are good as well. I mean, I'm not 100% against that either, but it depends. Let's see. Okay, so here. Um, we did not tariff Cuba, North Korea, Russia, Belarus. Let's see if I can find the full list here. Here's the full list. Give me 1 second.
On April 2, 2025, President Trump declared a 10% universal tariff on all U.S. imports alongside
Vatican
additional
City,
10.
Somalia, North Korea. Uh, well, initially it wasn't Mexico or Cuba either, but I think
So
we
now you
listed
know
that
that you're
off.
wrong.
Huh?
The universal
No,
tariff.
you were
So now
wrong. You said every country was tariffed, which was not a true
practically
statement.
every country. I told you that
You
there were
didn't
some
say the word
exceptions.
practically. You said every country was
I told
tariffed,
you that there were
which
some
was not a
exceptions.
true
Finish
statement.
the conversation back yourself.
You said every country was tariffed. I don't need to play it back. I
There
know
was
what you
some
said.
exceptions, and I specifically mentioned China
You
and
didn't.
Russia. I'm
Well,
sure
yeah, you
North
said
Korea
that
is left
you
out
corrected
because
yourself
nobody else
after, but
competes
that
with
wasn't
North
your
Korea.
initial statement. That wasn't your initial statement.
Okay, is it true or is it not true that the vast majority
But
of
yes,
countries
universal tariffs
that
are
we have
good.
trade relations with
Huh?
ended up with a tariff under Biden or under Trump?
What'd you say?
Is it true or is it not true that the vast majority of countries that we have trade relationships with ended up being tariffed under Donald Trump?
Yes, and that was a good thing. We brought in over $20 trillion in one single year of foreign investment, the most foreign investment ever brought into America in human history in one single year.
And so, where did that money end up going?
The money I told you earlier, we paid down some of our debt. The first president in history to pay more than just the interest payments on the loan.
Fantastic.
Well,
Who
not in
who
human
pays the
history,
tariffs?
sorry, in the last 20 years or so, since Bill
So
Clinton.
who pays the tariffs?
Who pays the tariffs? It depends on the situation.
No, it doesn't. Who
Yes,
pays
it
the tariffs?
does. Some companies pay the tariffs and eat the costs. That's 100% true.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so it is
yeah,
true.
so when there's an import on raw goods, when there's an import on raw goods,
Sometimes,
and you're a company that has to import, you're going to what's going to happen? You're going to pass that cost on to
no,
consumers.
a lot of them, first off,
What
a
happens
lot of
when you
them
pass
don't.
the cost on to
Okay, where's the
consumers?
$5,000 iPhone then? Because you guys were swearing with their right hand to God that all of our smartphones and computers were going to cost thousands of dollars more. Where is that? You're just
Talk
full of
about
fucking
$5
shit.
iPhone, yeah. Like
Huh?
like you guys
Okay, so you
dropped
don't
this
have
Trump
any of the
phone
evidence that you were
3 months
talking about that
late,
was going
and
to
it's
happen a
literally
year
just
ago. So you got nothing. All you got is a
it's dude.
booming economy, a booming job market, and a booming
You
stock
guys
market.
got a phone. Like we can talk about the Trump phone. Like what happened with that?
What? It's out now. I don't know if you keep
Yeah,
up
it's
with
out. It's
news.
also it was supposed to be made in America, and now guess
Okay,
what? It's
that's
made in
that's
China.
Trump's son's
It's it's
business.
it's being manufactured in China, and guess what? When the
Well,
raw
it's still
materials
creating
get
American
imported into the
jobs, is
United
it
States,
not?
they get
Is,
tariffed.
is, is Zohan Mandami creating any jobs? No,
Yeah. I,
no,
well,
he's
I would
not.
say yes. I would say he's creating the economic conditions for jobs
No, taxing more
because when
people is
I'll,
not. You
I'll,
think
I'll eventually
raising
tell you why.
taxes is an economic position to create more
You want me to tell you
jobs?
why?
You think
I'll tell
raising
you.
taxes creates more jobs? Yes or no?
I'll tell you. So he hasn't raised taxes on the middle class or lower class.
But who
So
creates all the jobs? No middle class people are starting no million
the
dollar
worst of the
companies.
jobs,
Huh?
the jobs are worked by middle and lower class people.
But who creates the jobs?
Who create? So you're saying that they can't create the jobs unless they're not taxed. So
I'm just asking
as
you a
soon as they
question.
receive
Do you
taxes,
think
they just don't.
taxing
They can't
the
receive
one the
taxes. They
upper
can't make
class is
money.
going to create jobs? Answer the question.
Uh, state the question specifically, and I'll give you the answer.
Do you think raising taxes creates jobs?
On who?
Do you think it creates any jobs for anybody?
Do I think raising taxes on who creates jobs?
On anybody?
I think raising
Raising
taxes
taxes on
on.
wealthy people, do you think that creates jobs? Or do you think that destroys jobs?
I think it has a net neutral effect.
No, that's wrong. If you take more
No, it
money from a billionaire, they're going to create less jobs because that's less money that could have gone to growing their business.
no, brother. That's more money that's going to go into their pocket.
No, it's going to be
Why do
more.
you think? Why do you think that there's more and more people that
That's
are
not
becoming
how
obsessed?
billionaires build their wealth. Elon Musk didn't take a salary for years
They're
and
taking
years and
tax
years,
loopholes.
even when
It
his
takes
company was already
tax
worth
loopholes,
a lot
and
of
instead
money.
of actually investing that into their business or paying their workers more, they
They're going
just
to get
end
the
up
money
pocketing that
stolen. You're
money
right.
and
Instead of
becoming a
investing the
trillionaire.
money in their workers or investing in better equipment, the government's
Dude,
going
we
to
have
steal
more
their money.
billionaires and trillionaires now than we ever have.
That is
And
good. That means more
now you're
people
talking
are
about let's
escaping
fix it.
poverty due to the
You
capitalism.
want to make more
Having
billionaires, you
more
want to make more
billionaires than we've
trillionaires.
ever had in
You
history is
want
good. That means more people are escaping poverty.
you
Don't you want
asked me
everyone to escape
originally
poverty, or do you just
you
want
asked me
everyone to make
originally whether
40 grand a
Iran
year and
was
never
creating
succeed?
You asked me originally whether Iran was creating jobs, and I said that he is creating the economic conditions for that because he has put into place social programs like childcare for children who are 2 years or older, where somebody who wouldn't be able to work because they were busy taking care of their child now can afford to have childcare and they can go to work. So if you want to talk about creating jobs, that is creating a job.
Why can't they just put their kid in school and go to work like everyone else does?
You think that kids are just in school 24/7?
Okay, but a woman gets when she's pregnant, she gets a paid time leave.
I'm talking about women with children that are already born, that are of school
Okay,
age.
why can't the woman just go to work and
Or
put her
two years
kid in
old.
school?
What about people that are pre-K? Because
Okay,
that's
drop your
specifically
kid
what you
off
talk
at
about.
pre-K and go to work. What the fuck is the issue?
That costs money.
Okay, pay for it.
Okay,
Pre-K is
just
only for 1 or 2
pull yourself up by
years.
your own bootstraps. You heard it here first, man. Just doesn't matter if even if you can't afford it. Like if you have a kid and you want to work, but you've
Society
got no
has
other
done
way,
it all throughout history.
then
We've been
government
fine. We
government
never
should not
needed
be
to
there
pay
to
for
help
a
you.
nanny now, and all of a sudden,
Instead
all
of
these
instead
snobby
of
ass bitches
instead of
want you to pay
actually
for a
helping
nanny for
children,
them,
instead of
or
actually
they want
helping
to go
children,
to
you should
want
be
you to pay for this or that
being
because they feel
born
like the
bombing
government owes them
hospitals
something.
in Pakistan.
They could raise their own fucking kids, have their own community, their own parents, their own grandparents kick in and watch the kid when
Dude,
they have some time. Why don't they have a community and a
the
family to help them
the
instead of
large
begging the
fundamental
government?
disagreement, the large fundamental disagreement between you and I is
That you
we
think the
both
government
agree
should
that
take care of everything, and I
we no,
think the
yeah,
community and people's
I
families
think
should
that
take
the
care of them.
party that
I'm
actually
more community
wants to
orientated and you're
help
more government
should
orientated.
be
That's the
doing
difference between us. You're more
you
government,
like
give me. I'm more about helping the community and the
the right
community is helping
100%.
others.
We spend way too much money on war. We spend way too much money lining the pockets of CEOs and billionaires,
Well,
and
you're
the
lining the
middle class
pockets of
and the lower
billionaires
class
right
gets left
now. Get
behind.
off YouTube and
It's the same reason
stop lining
why
billionaires'
when
pockets.
my grandparents and when
Get
your
off YouTube,
grandparents
get
were
off
our age,
Discord, throw your
they
phone
had
in the trash. Don't shop with any more billionaires or trillionaires.
I have no problem with corporate. I've already said I have no problem with corporations. I have a
But you
problem with the
think they're
people at the
stealing
top.
money? You
I
just said
think
it 2 seconds
they
ago.
are stealing off from the middle class and lower class. It's not the corporation that's doing that. It's the people at the
I
top of the
just
corporation.
fundamentally disagree. You can't steal someone's money if they're giving it to you.
You can't do anything but give somebody money if they hold all of the power.
If you give Amazon billions, if you give
If
Amazon
you
your
give
money,
Amazon all
name
the
one
power
single
and all of
billion
the
dollar
ability to
corporation that you
launch
have to buy their
politicians,
products. There's no
100% of their
company you
labor
have to buy their
decisions
products,
are
but
you
we've
have
been on
no
here
respect
for
for that.
almost 4 hours, so I'm not going to be able to stay for much longer.
I'll let you go, and I'm gonna watch this back, and we'll have a conversation again pretty soon. But
Okay.
it was awesome talking to you,
It
dude.
was awesome. I appreciate you coming on. I had a lot of fun, even though we didn't agree on everything, but we did find some
For sure.
common ground on some surprising issues.
Oh yeah.
I'll
All
talk to
right.
you though. Have a good
All
evening.
right. See ya. See ya,
Peace
John.
out. All right, guys, like, subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video out there. Much appreciated, everyone. Much love. Adios.